I'm sorry. They are, yeah, you know, Batoon said it. They're the best team in PUBG esports history. I don't really disagree. So you can't count them out. You absolutely cannot. T1 has to take a little bit of a precarious drop thanks to the plane path that is far away from their ideal landing zone.
One guy shooting at range. T1 is so used to like 4 guys in a hot drop.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't even care about that. FN Pochon's going to be in the center of the circle. That's pretty northern set. Begapa is going to be next to him. To the west of that is going to be Asla and T5. Just to the south of T5, we've got Namiga. Falcons going to be playing around San Martin. And then down to the south of Namiga is going to be the Freaks with BB just kind of the northeast of it. Everybody else outside the circle, but not too hard to get into.
So,
yeah.
Match 7
it's a tough plane
ist
path, but not the toughest
angebrochen.
circle off of that plane path. So teams should be relatively comfortable. We saw kind of a similar first circle yesterday. I think it was game 2 yesterday. So it is going to be kind of
It's not a southern circle. I'm happy.
Yeah, no, me too. God, not Southwest. That's the only thing I don't want. No more Southwest circles. But in general, like this is going to be the opportunity for the teams to review some of that tape from yesterday, see what teams are doing, see where they can maybe make a few adjustments to capitalize. We had a weird one on this particular one because it shifted over the east, went over the Death Star Trench, and that kind of becomes a tough fight, right? Because you're stuck on one side or the other, kind of hoping that you get that shift.
It's such a mean circle for the players to have to play, but I love watching it because you see so much decision making. That's one of the things. Whenever we look at PUBG, there's so much strategy that's going on, and I know a lot of times we see the shooty bang bang, but it's all these like small movements and these counter movements that come after it after you get the information that just sets everything up. And Pio,
of course,
is a guy that loves these small movements and going by himself. And opinions are fast as well.
This is just quintessential Pio things. He is the master of these types of situations. He's got breakers dead to rights.
I've missed you, Pio. Does he know through the window? Yes, he does. Catching him on the other side with the wall. And
Damn,
this is
bro.
gonna be an easy flush. Here comes the rest of Begapa.
Einfach mit der Panzerfaust
Yeah, I mean,
weggesprengt.
FN, and this is, again, talking about what you could look at in terms of tape from previous days and similar circles, and that's exactly what Begapa and Pio did there, was they knew what FN was thinking, were able to take advantage of it, and Asla may be looking for something similar on the Fluky.
This is Red Zone summoning a little inner Pio right now. That is very, very close, and also pretty close to Begapa as well, but I think Begapa settled in position. Red Zone has the information, and this is all about the scouting coming out. Fluky spots it, though, and that is going to be Red Zone standing in the open, but he doesn't care. Just going for a firefight. Oh, on the other side of this, Tiggleton finds a knock early onto Lou, and that is going to be a flush to follow.
The Falcons look like they shifted over to camp. Twisted Minds rotate here. They knew they were going to be stuck on edge and wanted to play for kills and points. Again, a lot of teams doing their homework, looking for rotation paths, and we are seeing tons of people capitalizing.
It's all about those coaches, analysts. The VOD review coming up. Big, Twisted, right next to Falcons. This is an interesting skirmish. Perfectix is in a bit of an awkward spot, and H1 looks like he wants a bit more of a piece of it inside the car. That's going to make enough noise to send H1 chasing down after it. Should spot it and just unloads. Can they get the damage out, or can Perfectix get away? Does get up the hillside, and it looks like the Falcons don't want to commit too much on the angle. Yep, they're afraid of example, as they should be.
Yeah, I mean, you could see H1 is being a little bit hesitant because he doesn't want to go too far over the hill there to expose himself to potential players inside of Power Grid proper. And that Murado is in dire straits. It is not long for this lobby, so I think Perfectix is going to have
schon fast am explodieren.
rethink some of his ideas, or at least get enough pressure onto the Falcons that he can get that car away and maybe find another one.
Falcons playing with little fear against Twisted Minds, which a lot of squads will give a much bigger berth to, specifically at this stage. You know, it's very common for Batulans just to get up on high ground, and we talk about like him hopping on a motorcycle and just sending it up to get tons of information to feed it over to a squad. We're starting to see a couple of squads not let that just go free over and over again, and that can throw off a bit of Twisted's game plan.
Exactly. I mean, and for the Falcons, I think this is awesome stuff to do, because not only are you getting a free point out of it so far, we'll see if it continues, but you're also throwing off the best team on the planet, and you're keeping them down early in the day, slowing them up. You're giving yourself a boost it's going to give you that morale boost, that confidence, all of those things going for the Falcons. So this is a great call. Whoever made it, whether it be, you know, Gunnar the coach or H winning the game or both, they deserve a ton of credit because I love this.
Yeah, so well played, and a very proactive Falcons to start with is also going to have easy access to a better position inside the circle. They do manage to get away from Twisted. There was Of course, Perfectix had to get away, so that gave a little bit of two angles of shots where we saw Batulans and Perfectix kind of dinging up the vehicles for Falcons, but they do manage to make it safe and away. Irina over into the east are going to be ramping in pretty close to where we might be seeing Na'Vi or the Expendables. BP doing a regroup.
Oh, they even blew up the chip?
Oh.
I was wondering for a second if Twisted was going to just wait and grab the chip, but the Falcons aren't even going to give him the chance.
That's a message in and of itself. Now Twisted right up against the zone wall early. Minimal information, minimal stretch that they've been able to do, and now T1 could be wrapping behind them.
That's amazing. Poking the bear a little bit maybe, but we'll see. I mean, for the Falcons now, confidence early. See if it continues to pay off. They've, garnered a lot of space for themselves as well north of San Martin. So this should be A-okay, especially if you get a Western shift. A lot of teams aren't going to go north of the circle because the circles don't like to go that way on Miramar. So everybody just going to be lining up center, south. Delwyn tagged up just a bit. A little bit of damage into the car. Tires looked okay there, as it looks like BB team just kind of keeping Delwyn honest. Don't want to let him get anywhere near you because he is a sneaky snake.
Full stacked BB team right on top of each other, and I think this is just a symptom of the circle. The Expendables did go more north than where we saw them just a little while ago, so that opened up space for the Irina to get inside the circle pretty free and clear. Batulin still pretty much where we saw him a while ago. Type's going to be getting pretty close to Twisted, so keep an eye on if anything happens out of that. The Expendables now pretty comfortable. Nobody really more to their north for quite a ways or back behind them to the east. They've got a great way just to kind of force themselves into the circle if they want.
Yeah, absolutely. This is kind of an interesting game, a big one for Full Sense. Again, the DMRs have been really, really good for them in terms of finding that damage, clearing the space, and that's going to be something they're going to be called upon to do here once again as an edge team to start. Looking for a little bit of entry. They do have some space at Graveyard, but if they keep going on that path that we saw on the map they had marked, they will run into one of the 2-2 splits of VP, so going to take a little bit of scouting. I like this from Tigger. Make sure that you are going to be aware of what's going on around you.
Yeah, and it's not a lot going on around you as you're talking about. It's just Graveyard open all of the way. Type is getting closer and closer to Batulins. This is what I was getting a bit scared of. Everybody knows that this is where Batulins likes to go and get that information, and Type could be right next to him. I'm assuming that Type might think that Twisted's already left because they saw Lou go down, and so maybe a regroup, but Batulin's going to stick to the game plan.
It's a butterfly effect, right, of what the Falcons did early. Is T1 going to be able to, EN in particular, I think you'd be looking at his veteran experience to kind of figure this out, but it doesn't look like it. I mean, Type should probably just be dead if Batulins feels like it.
Well, it's also kind of a hard angle for Batulins to hit, right? That's pretty vertical over there, and Batulins is going to get enough information on the cars, but I think he's also suspecting that somebody is right down below him. But see how hard it is to get that angle. You really have to peek for it, but Type isn't even looking. That's going to be Batulins picking off Type real early.
Yep, this is a nice pickup for Twisted after a rough start. Not good for T1, who is sitting in third place right now coming into today, and that's not going to help him either. Way over towards the east. Not a lot of Death Star trenching just yet, but very likely could end up shifting that way again, Matt.
This is a scary circle for everybody else, though, except for the Expendables. This is a lot of foot push potential where they've already got themselves fairly centered, so the Expendables could be a big factor in what we're going to be looking at comes out of this, because a lot of these squads are going to try playing this upper area in between the northern section of Death Star Trench all the way into Cruda Valle. So BB already in position early, going to feel comfortable. But to the west, man, Azla's going to have to do a long wrap. T1, probably Twisted. Twisted might go south instead of north like the other two squads. Looks like Falcon's just going to follow in back behind Namiga, but VP needs to regroup. Full Sense needs to regroup. And, I mean, wrapping to the south just feels bad in the circle, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely it does. Because it's going to be congested. That's the worst part of it all.
Yeah.
And there isn't a ton to work with in terms of compounds, because a lot of it on the south side is south of, so much of Death Star Trench is already in the bottom part of this circle that there's very little surface area to work with underneath it in the south. So you're talking about a situation where teams are going to have to play in those hillsides, play in those mountains, and that can be tricky because it slopes pretty steeply at some points, and it really opens up.
And you're kind of trapped right now if you're somebody like the Freaks, who's playing in the lower section of Death Star Trench already. They've got Na'Vi on top of them, 17 running a 2-2 split as well. That's kind of led to a couple of small altercations, no big fight yet. But unless the circle pops to the south, this is going to be really brutal for these guys to have to go up the other side of Death Star Trench into so many squads, most notably BB and the Expendables, waiting for a firefight.
Yeah, it's now about zone control for those teams that have already claimed some real estate inside of the current circle. Try to thwart anybody from getting into any advantageous positions behind or around you as best as possible. It's VP slamming in to the stalls. 17 slamming away because they're like, nope, we're not in a good position to take this fight. VP's got the numbers. Let's try and get out.
Just a couple of stray shots coming up from Perfectix. Namiga is going to let 17 regroup because they were caught taking shots from the Falcons. That's going to allow 17 a little bit more breathing room, and they're not going to just go for a full regroup. Instead, they're going to go for more of a 2-2 split, and they're going to go where the crossroads come out of Death Star Trench. They're going to be playing right on the edge of both sides of it. So if the circle does go that way, it is really strong there, but there's not a big mathematical chance it'll do that.
Yeah, it's probably going to end pretty similar to the circle yesterday, to be honest. But we'll have to wait and see as T5 trying to cut in between Begopa and Namiga, who are in 2-2 splits. So they've got space. There's a revive station right there as well, of course, but I think they're looking for something a little bit further through as they continue on their merry way. The team I really want to give a quick point out to, a quick shout out, is going to be the Freaks, who immediately collapsed into their 4-man, into a compound on the road.
Yeah,
I really like that from them because they normally don't do that.
yeah, but that's a really hazardous place to play from.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is.
You don't really get to participate in too much.
You get crashed.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to defend it well. It is safe for now, and you will manage to make it in later stages if we stay around Death Star Trench.
Somebody's got to go hit E-end here.
Oh, don't worry. This isn't the end for E-end. Somebody will save him.
But if the circle goes towards the trench itself, other side, bro. Oh, okay.
Okay, never mind. You just know better than I do. Science.
Yeah, I guess the wheels were spinning enough they caught some traction.
I love our car physics.
Oh, but we're going away, so this is no longer very good for the Freaks. They have to fight their way out most likely, and shooting on the run is the Falcons.
This is what I was expecting. That means Asla and the Expendables, early position. They're going to be maybe fighting for it. Two different squads going for a very strong compound, very centered. Well, it's going to be good shots coming up again from Tiggleton. Falcons, do you continue on your path, or do you want to kickstart, though? Takes damage. That's going to slow down any form of movement. Now, both squads kind of trapped here.
That's a huge response for Namiga. They were in a much worse position. That at least takes an extra gun out of the equation to get the smoke, get the res in. Falcons as well should be okay, I believe, on this revive. Nobody else
ist
really
ja
involved
einfach
in this
brutal unterwegs.
I mean,
Digga,
they've
du
got
bist einfach
17
crazy
right
mit
next to them, so
Minifits.
they're kind of caught off over here. They're going to be going way closer to Namiga than they want to. Oh, a lot of squads taking off pieces, and Tiggleton is going to thank Fluky for that one, picking up another kill. Now Namiga trying to make a run, but it's going to be a lot of crossfire shots coming as VP is starting to get into a good point. We're very close to them. Falcons now kind of caught outside the circle.
So.
Yeah, tire got popped there for
Wie
Ferris.
Streifen geplatzt.
That's not the best situation to be in for him. Has to prone down and pray that nobody's got an angle on him. Too bad, so sad. Opans does.
This is bad stuff.
Bro, that
They're
Navi
way too close to Asla. The Expendables. Arena has a sight line. This is just full salvage right now. It's damage control while 4 different squads are taking pot shots at him, including BB.
Yeah, I mean, Navi was on the southern side of the trench, so they wanted to get across and try to find some kind of center circle to lock things down on the hillside or the mountainside of Cruz de Valle. There is a bit to play there, but they couldn't get there really cleanly. Some good shooting from the other teams. Pop tires, forced them into tricky spots. Looks like Laz is going to be the one to take Ferris down. So Azla going to get 2 kills out of that situation. They've got the Expendables right above them, and that is not comfortable.
Navi hat 2 Leute bei der Rotation, by the way, verloren.
Contend with the Polar Bears themselves and VP very close. Namiga, other side. They got stalled out by the Falcons. We saw
Eine
just
heavy game für
17
Navi
has
die
some high
Runde.
vision in this as well. So this is going to be pretty awkward as neither VP nor T5 in the circle just quite yet. But in Cruz de Valle, we still have T1 and Begapa. So it's E-end as well as Pio right next to each other.
I think this is an attempt potentially at a revive for T1 if they were able to scoop up Type's blue chip. And meanwhile, Pio he's trying to do his thing, and I think E-end at least aware of it out here in the open.
This is what I was expecting. Beamy on one side, crossfire position, just beautiful. Here come the nades.
Und
T5 in some trouble, and they
Granat.
can't even get
Boom,
into the circle because
Junge.
Namiga is gatekeeping that side of it. VP wants to clean this out. They want the space to work with, but no clean sight lines coming up for Namiga just yet.
Yeah, ideally, VP just wanted to claim whatever points they could, and then, they do have the option to peel back and try to find another route in. Wow, we are actually going up north. Pretty rare for Circle.
Falcons haben so gute Position im Norden. Die sind erstmal richtig alleine da oben. Können sich ihren Space holen. Und alle Teams müssen noch aus dem Süden in den Circle rein, aber werden natürlich gegatekeept von den ganzen anderen Teams. Das ist super schwer, aber Falcons haben es gerade richtig gut. Kann sein, dass das ein Game für Falcons wird auch, denn Position ist halt auch A&O in diesem Game. Bro, ey. Da werden alle Teams da im Süden gegatekeept von mindestens 3 Teams. Ist das crazy.
Jalbei's just trapped here. There's nowhere to go. I mean, he's got Star-Lord, other side of it, a couple of rocks, maybe a hillside providing some safety. But if anything, this stalls out E-Arena as well.
Yeah, E-Arena busy trying to keep a few teams in check around them, including Twisted Minds and maybe the Freaks as well. Goodbye, VP. In the long run, yeah, T5 and Amiga all getting involved there. They just couldn't
VP
find a
mit
way
einem Punkt die Runde ist raus. Crazy.
Content to stay. They want whatever points that they can find over here. Presently sitting in 9th place. Wiping a squad makes them feel a little bit more comfortable. And it's time to bring in some mortars. Jalbei still alive, but that rock not feeling near as safe as it did a second ago.
Yeah, that's the expendables there. Loading up with the mortars. Oh, Rex has got a Lynx. He's got a
Aber wenn man mit dem Gerät überhaupt was trifft, ist schon
Hello, my bad. Gets taken out by Ranger X.
crazy.
This is out in the blue. This is a scrappy battle.
I mean, this is just Amiga going after whatever points they can find. They're tied up with the expendables right now, so just a kill or two would be big. Okay, now it's time for the Freaks to make their run. They're going to be following in right back behind Jacob. So the other members for E-Arena, still some minute in position, are going to spot this, but Freaks kind of steal this away, and that's going to be so close to Asla as well as the Expendables.
Yeah, they find a timing here where a lot of teams took a bunch of damage cutting through a very similar path. The Freaks are going to get there. The problem is Asla doesn't want to share this space. That grenade from Glaz, if it's on point, it comes up short.
Oh, but got the vision, just gets the knock. Now
Ja,
he just has to figure out how much they want to commit in. They don't want to be too vulnerable. There's a lot of people trying to get inside
Ja,
the
als
circle.
würde der Wallhacken, was? Bruder, kann einfach mal hier von Glatz den PC kontrollieren? Was ist denn da los?
He's got Hammer with him, but there's so much territory to control up here, and this high ground is so hazardous.
Yeah, the smokes were a bit late to come out from the Freaks, so that opened up an angle for Bagelpot to get involved in the fight. They were getting some of those knocks, getting some of that damage to make it a little bit easier here for Asla to hold off the Freaks, and they're crumbling. That's 2 down already, and some very weak players.
The position is strong, but it's just so hard to stay alive from this angle as Asla still has to keep focused down onto the Expendables. And
Falcons immer noch richtig gute Position. Ist auch allein unterwegs.
BB team caught up in their own firefight. Hammer, Hal in a little bit of trouble over here. Delwyn doesn't want to commit too much. He retreats back down and see if he can get the reses.
It's a blessing for the Freaks who need some time to recover. Decent grenades, but just not able to get it all the way up the hill.
Salute.
Here goes the Freaks. Salute. He just sends it, but he's going to pay the price.
I like the idea, though. See if you can backstab at a crucial moment. Now just one member up for the Freaks behind all of this, kind of stuck in the same position Navi's got, but the Expendables are starting to get themselves back together. They have very close friends in Asla, but Asla can't really get into a good point with this.
Yeah, I mean, look, the good news here for Asla is you've weathered a dangerous storm. And the tides, no, heaven.
That was not the path. Navi was like, we feel you, bro. That's the exact same reason we're here right now. Xiaowu, similar position right next to him.
Yeah, a really tough game for the Freaks. There, 0 points.
Es war gestern nicht ein Game dabei von den 6, was schon jetzt so spannend ist.
Heavy duty weaponry there for Asla to maybe change things today.
Also meines
leaderboard to start, every placement matters.
We don't see the circle a lot, so Begapa's got an extremely strong compound that they're playing from. It's got vertical vision down into Krudavai, but also gives them a couple of hills and ridges that they can play to get around the rest of the circle. There's a road just to the south of them that cuts around just down to the southeast. That's the only real path that you've got through here. Everything else is going to be very rugged. As Xiaowu looks like maybe he wants to go for a point or two of his own. He doesn't like the way he wants. But if we see this
Hätte
go
er
to the
das
north,
Fenster
Vegapa's compound is very
getroffen,
strong. To the south, though, of course,
wäre der
Aslan
so weg gewesen jetzt.
dual positioning is just so crucial to what's going on down there.
Yeah, it's just a matter of can you keep some of these teams on the south from getting through. Twisted Mind still creeping their way in behind E-Arena, who's got Nurens out ahead, found some space, full sense, just playing it out on that eastern edge. We talked about, you know, how they were going to play this edge. Well, they just avoided a ton of the fighting and were able to kind of skirt over around everything and
So,
get themselves into a
Falcons
pretty decent
jetzt
position.
auf jeden Fall
Late game looking
mit
favorable.
T1, ne?
This is a big one for Falcons. Can they get T1 pinned down?
This is a great approach from the Falcons.
Und die
They've got
Teams
the
im
ridge line, so if they
Süden
need to go south,
eliminieren
just
sich eins
adjust
nach dem
around that,
anderen.
gives them some space to move. Twisted Minds, E-Arena
Oh
trying to get in
my
the zone
God,
right
was
next to each other. Twisted Minds just
für
kind
ein
of eyeing it
Chaos.
from outside right now, seeing who's shooting at who. But now with E-Arena just getting into this lower section on the hill, that means that the harassment from Asla, from the Expendables, can come out if Twisted isn't careful.
Yeah, I think Twisted just got spotted.
Oh, that nade.
Oh,
Wait.
yes,
Oh,
finally.
diesmal hat
Xiao Wu
die Nate aber
looking to
getroffen, ne?
take down the top team in the lobby here so far. Tough opponent. He's getting shot by Bagelpaw on the side. Just barely able to get prone to the safe before he gets taken down.
Nothing feels good up on this high ground because everybody in the lower sections just... Two different squads already taking shots. The circle does go this direction, but it is going to be Xiao Wu going down. Hakatori's still alive, but there's going to be the focal point for everything.
Yeah, tough for Xiao Wu there. If he had gotten that first grenade to go, could have been a very different
Xiao Wu
scenario,
aber
or
auch
maybe
von
Full
allen
Sense isn't in a
Seiten
position to capitalize.
Kannst ja
Instead,
gar nichts mehr machen.
it's going to be Xiao Wu out. There's a big knock there for the Falcons.
Oh,
As EN
Falcons
goes
muss
down.
jetzt
Doesn't look like the
gucken,
revive ever got through for T1. As,
wie
the
sie da
Expendables have to
oben
make their move,
auf
in
dem
towards
Berg,
Asla.
aber
Hakatori
eigentlich ganz gute
getting lit up
Position,
by a
können ja
lot.
immer
Oh, look
weiter
at all
ein
these
bisschen in den
grenades.
Süden pushen
Beautiful.
Yeah,
und
just
haben
stacked
immer
right
noch
on top where there's no
einen schönen
form of
Berg
safety
und
to
die
be
Kuhle.
had. Full sense, a lot of control of the circle to the north, E-Arena to the south.
Navi ist
They've got
jetzt
the hillside
raus,
that they're playing
eliminiert
from,
worden,
Asla.
mit
Other
einem
side
Punkt
of the
leider
hill,
nur aus der
pretty
Runde
comfortable,
gegangen.
still with the Expendables like you're talking about. BB, they've
Tja,
got to make a push into the
da
circle.
haben wir auf jeden
Vegapod,
Fall
T1
2
back
bis
behind the
4
Falcons.
ziemlich,
They have eyes to go after where Full Sense is at, but Thanadol's holding one side of it, and Belmoth has got a flank
können
position
jetzt
on the other
ziemlich gut
side.
die Punkte
T1's gonna try
nachholen.
to scoot around Bagopaw's compound here, use that steep cliffside to try to find some advantages. Pio picks up a P90. That is a potent, powerful piece of utility that he's got. EN, be quiet. Gonna try to take a page out of his opponent's playbook and try to get him sneaking. Twisted just says, well,
Yeah.
not much we can do here.
This is why I
Da
love
gehen die-
this circle. This road leading up from Kudavai into this position makes for some really cool firefights. T1's done their homework. They know how to approach it. They know where the vulnerabilities are at. Pio, a bit isolated for now, but it's going to be a great throw coming up from Songjiang onto EN to get the knock onto him.
That was beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. The problem is a Khan steps out, and they're not ready for him. Oh, the jumping shot from Heather!
Oh,
Heather pops off in a big way, keeps his squad in a very strong position, but he's got to stay alive. It's just
Bro.
him versus Vegapod. BB uses the opportunity. Looks like they want to
die nächste
backstab everything that's
Granate.
going on while the Falcons at range
Achtung.
using this firefight as a distraction.
Oh, again, a great nade from Sungjiang that deals with Heather on that backside. The problem is this opens up the window.
Oh,
Tickleton,
Tickleton,
that grenade should get him knocked
richtig im
indeed. He is under
Struggle.
pressure. Full sense is surrounding Falcons here on their backside.
Oh man, Falcons have decided to go after the shadow. We saw Navi playing a second ago. BB team, this is the push that we saw coming a mile away. Vegapod down to just one, but Sungjiang's been playing so well so far today. Just one game in, and he's done so much work to keep his squad in some pivotal points. But BB just got too many members up, and actually it's going to be harassment coming out from Asla to force BB away.
Yeah, it is kind of whoever's making that move is getting punished on the backside. Everybody's so hungry to get involved in these fights. Tanadol, good with the Mark 12 for the knock on to Besto. Can he get the flush there? Indeed, he will.
Full sense, got to be careful. A lot of people starting to get a bit aggro on them if they're not watching their flanks. Irina Nurens, most notably keeping an eye on Tigger, who looks like it's going to be the flank position on one side of it. Expendables got to go, and they've got to go through Asla. They find a way to knock on the door with the Panzerfaust. Delwyn gets a knock on the glass, but it's going to be E-Arena, other side of this high ground, doing the punishment down onto the Expendables. They've got to go, but they don't know exactly where they've got to go to. Nothing feels safe.
That's a great angle that E-Arena finds, but a response from Tanvu to back Jacob off. Maybe can get the res here onto your IGL. No flush onto Glaz. They're able to get the res in before the grenades can do the damage. Red Zone just going to hold the line. We know how dangerous he can be in these spots.
Tanvu goes for the peaks onto E-Arena to see if he can shoo them away. The Expendables know they have to go through Asla, and Asla's trapped on point as well. This is just a matter of who can get the kills this stage. Tanvu going down is going to throw off the timing yet again. This just continues to see like it's about to pop off and then has to immediately pump the brakes yet again. Peaks galore between these two. Calories goes down as well.
Yeah, they're getting exposed here are the Expendables. The fact that Molotov was able to find an angle. Glaz at the Panzer. Duck Juice says, no, sir. I got a barrel. You're going to have to pull the trigger a little bit faster there. And it is going to be a couple players of the Expendables. That's a brutal loss here for Oslo. It looked like it was going to be so solid.
Interesting thing happening. Whenever we saw where the Freaks went a second ago, now it's going to be a bit of a firefight over there. That's going to distract E-Arena and open up more movement for the Expendables to try to jump on. Opan's on top. The Falcons got to a great point, but it feels like this area is cursed. Anybody that goes for it just gets dropped.
Opan's with some nasty business there. Not much that Kick can do, and H-Win about to feel the hurt too, right up on top. It's a great angle, and E-Arena looking good. Just look at Tigger, he has a great gun there.
While that was going on, the Expendables do go down. Asla do keep their defense, but Asla, what do you do now? You've got to walk into E-Arena, into the exact same spot where we've seen two different squads meet their doom.
I mean, if Asla gets out of this with 3 up, they have a real chance because there's going to be damage being done between these two tie teams. 10 kills for Full Sense. What a show they are putting on for the home crowd. Belmoth gets it done on Nurens.
Absolutely popping off in second place right now. 59 points. Full Sense got control over the circle. E-Arena just hunkered down on one section of the hillside. Asla right next to him. Everything's working out exactly the way that Full Sense wants. Belmont's got to keep control on one side of it, while it looks like it's going to be Thanadol on the other.
This is a brilliant setup for Full Sense. You have both of your opponents stuck on the bad side of the circle. Good luck getting out of this. It's going to take some good shooting here from E-Arena or from Asla to really break this open. So for Full Sense right now, the job is don't give up any knocks. Don't give up anything easy. You've got the win condition. Can you capitalize?
It's going to be so hard to force these two squads to fight each other until we get to the road. But with the blue zone back behind them in phase number 8, they know that they're just doing a waiting game. The slower that Full Sense can make this game go, the better for them. That's going to force Asla and E-Arena into this section of the road that's so open and really force them to entangle on each other. Then Full Sense can run out, go for exactly what they want. But Asla keeps spotting out these different angles from Full Sense and just can't get the knock.
Asla has no choice but to try to go towards E-Arena because of Flash's position. Unless they can do something about that and open up a little bit extra space, they're just going to keep getting cut down. Danadol as well, able to peek up over his ridge.
This is just a horrible approach for Asla with so few options to go for. They can at least get the reses. That's just due to the way that these little trenches work, but we're going to start getting into nade range, and Full Sense has been doing a lot of hillside firefighting. I feel like they probably got a bit more utility than what we can see coming out from E-Arena. Angle's now starting to get a bit more vulnerable. Jacob wanted to go for a peek onto Asla. A bit punished. Red Zone just standing out in the open. Belmont on top. Gonna find one, and Asla in a lot of trouble over here. Hammer just running right into E-Arena.
Here we go. They're on the push. Opan gets traded quickly after taking down Hammer. Hammer has no health. He's gone. E-Arena, they are crumbling underneath Full Sense.
Full Sense is finding it all. Thanadol now going for a flank position round. Belmont on top. Just Jacob, the last one up. Still 4 people up for Full Sense, trying to find all the kills, and they get them all.
And that's going to put a tie team on top here at PGC. What an explosive way to start the day. The fans loving it, as they should.
Just great read on the circle coming up from Full Sense. They knew exactly what their win conditions were playing on that eastern area. They knew exactly how to slow back down the game. They knew where everybody was coming in from. And once they won the fight against Falcons, it opened up everything for them just to take control of it.
Yeah, it's beautiful manipulation of space by Full Sense. In the early part of the game as well, being stuck as one of the last teams coming into that first circle, they navigated around everybody where everyone else was struggling.
Just a crazy first game to kick off everything. Miramar always delivers, and I can't wait for the next one.
early ground here for Bangkok, Thailand, as the Thai teams dominate that top spot, as Full Sense will take the victory here with Irina also leading the charge. That is game number 7 in the books here. Full Sense here now finds themselves in number 1.
It's not every day you see a PUBG match end in a tie. It was a guarantee as those two teams went head to head. Irina looking good, but Full Sense, my goodness, coming in cold. We saw the graphic at the start of the day. 6 games deep, now 7. 2 of those are chicken dinners. That's a win rate that is unrivaled.
Yeah, it's amazing to see them step up to this level here. Yeah, coming in cold from it. The big one for me was the control on the Northeast. Basically, I don't know what happened. I think they shot enough bullets and scared Falcons away enough, because otherwise I kind of expected them to have a fight on the north side, right? And that was the biggest question mark for me, where I think Falcons realized, okay, Full Sense has really good control here. Yes. We're not going to take a chance. We're going to try to make a kind of dash further towards the middle and find them on the other side.
It felt like it was also hard for Falcons once they made that north wide rotate, which I think was masterful considering the circle shift. They didn't quite know how many Full Sense members were there with the potential opening firing line that they had, right? The split Full Sense has across that, controlling any rotations from the south as well, means it's really, really stalwart.
And I think it's a good Falcons choice. At the end of the day, sending those 2 forward got them into 4th place position. They ended up picking up 2 placement points that I think they would have lost if they had gone in a head-to-head there. So that's what you want to look for when these PGCs have been differentialed by 2 to 3 points on average, right? Like, you need to make sure that you're finding a way to pick up an extra 2, and I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, again, this situation here where they're taking the control, but it's not a passive win here. Yeah. It's a 16-kill win, guys. True. They are fighting all the way through. They're staying 4 guys alive all the way through and through. And to get 16 with that, that's just a masterful display of exactly how to execute a late game.
Strong opportunistic plays on those third parties, being able to collapse on teams that were embroiled in fights towards the late stages. Really strong by Full Sense. I can't help but feel they've been doing their homework. They've been watching the games studiously here before getting to this stage. Again, there was question marks around how they would fare, and I think that has been completely dispelled. 25 points go their way here. Asla Pentagram with 12, but Irina alongside the Thai brethren here getting the big points.
It was good to see Red Zone back in action again. You're only going to get 10, but that 25 points, a reminder for you guys at home yesterday, Falcons got 26 on that last game, from the very bottom to the very top. These guys already had a chicken dinner in their pocket, so this win is going to astronomically push them into the high point, which could be a world where we see a hometown hero winning this thing, because this propulsion is not going to be something that everybody else can do.
No, definitely. Some of the other teams towards the top, of course, T1 didn't have that many points from that, but now 69 points for Full Sense, and the crowd goes wild here in Bangkok, Thailand, because you know anything. Actually, Full Sense is the team that gets the biggest pop from the crowd here, hands down.
Full Sense holt sich hiermit die Führung vor Navi mit 9 Punkten. Ja. Aber Team Falcons ist auch noch gut dabei. Obwohl die gerade in der Endzone leider nichts gerissen haben. Die wurden bei ihrer Rotation einfach weggehauen. Aber die hatten auch eine komische Taktik tatsächlich. Die wurde ja gar nicht gezeigt, aber irgendwie habe ich so ein bisschen mitgekriegt. Auf der Minimap sind sie 2 mit 2 Leuten separat losgezogen mit dem Auto. Und ja, 2 Leute wurden weggesnackt. Und die anderen 2 sind in die Mitte gefahren mit dem Auto und konnten aber auch nicht lange überleben. Die wurden gar nicht mehr gezeigt, leider. Hätte mich ja schon mal ein bisschen mehr interessiert, was sie da veranstaltet haben. Es war irgendwie ein bisschen schade, weil die hatten ja super viel Space im Midgame und hätten sie da ein bisschen mehr gefightet, hätten sie vielleicht ihre Rolle im Endgame mehr gehabt. Aber so natürlich nicht. Oh, ja, der ist schon tätowiert. Skorpion. Der hat Skorpion.
In that compound, like, it was just a huge stalemate, right? Between Asta, between them, like everything. But the initial send from Freaks into that ditch. It was a send to go in and go passive. It was not a send in to go and get aggro and take control, right? And in that spot, like, you want to take control of the ridge that is kind of overlooking the compound. If you don't do that, the compound is going to come out. They're going to throw nades at you. They're going to try to have a little bit of defensive util at you, and that's going to get punished unless you spread out, unless you get off your shields. They did spread out, but it was straight to the stomach, straight in the prone, straight behind the shields. And when he tried to kind of spread out and kind of get in a different spot, that he got completely shit on, right? It was insane.
I don't like them as a passive team. I'll also say this. In that circle, everyone had a chance. The top 5 teams did not show up in the pop. We can't count on that happening all day today. So those bottom teams really made the most of what they could.
Yeah.
But everyone in the middle needs to push that grind up because it's going to be very tough in the next couple.
I will say, I feel like if Falcons had made that north rotate and maybe somehow dealt with a few components of full sense, I think that could have been a completely different game. Not to be the case, though.
I was like, okay, this ridge line is perfect for them. They could have a fight there.
Let's do it then. It's going to be our second Miramar here of the day as we have full sense leading at number 1. Can they hold on to it here for Thailand? The crowd hopes so as we get into our second Miramar of the day.
Second Miramar of the day. Let's go Miramar.
Since hold it is the question, because just like the desk was talking about, it was Falcons and Full Sense eyes on the
Match number 8.
Look at the leaderboard. It's just going to get crazier as we go.
Yeah, no, this is such a hot start for Full Sense. And again,
Mal gucken, ob jetzt Full Sense das noch mehr ausbauen kann. Ich bin echt
You don't have to
gespannt.
play PGC until now, and you're popping the heck off like this. Like, that is insane stuff for Full Sense. Very tricky to do. No matter, I talked about some teams like it, some don't. Either way, it's still very hard because all these other teams have been playing, they've been grinding, and Full Sense is showing us something special. You know what, though, Matt? You know what? I want to know what Kalaris lost. He said he almost lost his something.
Oh, well.
What do you think he lost? It can't be his mind because he doesn't have one.
Oh, I know the word, but I'm not allowed to say it. I got in trouble last time.
Das ist interessant hier. Navi.
Can't have another
Wir sind alle einzeln solo unterwegs.
That's all I'm allowed.
You've gotten that one.
Haben sich
you
Autos
did your time,
geschnappt.
you had your detention.
I had to work the desk for a year.
Yeah.
Auf jeden Fall
All right. Oh, okay. Another Northern Circle.
bisschen risky play.
Actually pretty similar to that first
Und
one.
tickerten direkt mit der Mini 14.
Again, you got
Noch
a
auf
few minutes
fliegende
here to
Leute
look at
schießen.
rotations to see how things are going to go. What are the adjustments going to be? Look at this already. Twisted Minds as a player out pretty far towards that road. And Beanie,
Tja.
fairest. What is going on with Navi?
Day 2 Navi coming up exactly as I guess the prophecy foretells, right? It's just
Da ist das Risiko natürlich nicht aufgegangen. Was soll man dazu sagen? Sind halt solo unterwegs und haben sich schlechte Spots ausgesucht.
You guys are pretty familiar with it. We just talked about it a little while ago. Death Star Trench, Krutavaye, the hillsides are going to be over there, the fields, of course, around where we see the northern area around Hacienda, San Martin, all that other stuff. It's just a matter of if this goes really far north,
Yes.
then we get some new variables that we need to talk about because there's nothing up there.
Yeah, maybe this time we'll head more towards water treatment or something. I'd like to see the Freaks be a little bit quicker to get deeper into this first circle this time. Last time they had to settle up with those compounds on the Death Star Trench Road. I'd be curious. Breakers?
Yeah, I don't think that this has been fully read yet. Breakers
Gut, er weiß nicht, dass der keine Waffe hat,
Ranger
aber
X south, obviously looking like he's looting. X-Crow's just going to walk right
wenn
into
er
the
gleich da
wrong spot right now.
reinkommt.
This is really, really weird because the other members for FN did manage to get some loot. They've also gotten some vehicles, but it looks like they're going to be regrouping. But at the same time, 2 members for
Und
Amiga are also over here. Very,
bye
very close.
bye.
Pick that one up pretty easy. Well, I say that actually took some damage. Does get the flush. Now then, what do you do with Nemiga so close and now having FN kind of gate kept out on the other side of this?
Yeah, Breakers is in a really awkward position right now. Now, Star-Lord is
right there.
Yeah, Star-Lord is trying to slip the net here, though, to get to Breakers to either, pick him up or bail him out, one of the two. Just have to wait and see if he's able to get there. Full Sense is chilling down in Resort because they are a edge team here in terms of this circle, so they will be patient once again. As we look at some of their numbers, Tanadal, 6 kills, definitely going to be earning that man of the match this time around.
What can you say? They just played so efficiently, understood exactly where they need to play it. I know we kind of hit on this at the end of the last game, but this is a Full Sense that sometimes can feel a bit lost, that we've seen historically, and not know where they need to be to win the game. They know where to go that's going to keep them in the later stages. But now they're going to the areas that are going to win them the game instead, and that makes them so much scarier.
We've seen glimpses of it, you know what I mean? And you're right. We haven't seen the consistency that we'd like out of them. I would say, you know, PGS 10, we saw some of it. Earlier in the year, we saw some of it. Now this may be their moment. Who knows? Just being in Bangkok, being in front of the home crowd may just be what they needed.
Remember that we did kind of see a similar path last PGC with the Expendables and kind of how they started to bloom in the grand finals. They found the games that they really needed to get the momentum underneath of them, and then they just didn't stop. We see that whenever you look down into Southeast Asia and the way they play, they understand once you get a lead, it's not time to start playing safe or doing any of that other stuff. It's time to go. Now you've got some points to play with, so who cares if you get caught a bit earlier? Sure, you don't want to take a 0-point game, but if you're playing aggressive enough, it's going to be really hard to get a 0-point game.
Yeah, I think I'm totally okay with that. But we would like to hear from Salute from the Freaks, see what he has to say about
Stimmt
this.
schon. Also man merkt auf jeden Fall, dass sie jetzt Round 7 und 8 definitiv aggressiver spielen als gestern. Aber ja, so ist das.
정확히 찾진 못했지만 좀 더 킬로그나 그런 구도를 바탕으로 좀 게임을 해야 하는데 좀 그 구도 파악에 있어서 문제점이 있었던 것 같아서 그 부분에서 좀 문제를 찾아야 될 것 같습니다. 일단은 점수 차이가 저희가 좀 선두권 팀들이랑 차이가 나다 보니까 그냥 무조건 치킨 혹은 무조건 상위권 킬 많이 먹는 방식으로 저희가 하던 대로 게임 플레이 할 것 같습니다.
I actually really respect that from Salute. A lot of times we get these interviews and it's just like, oh, everything's fine. Our game plan is working. It's just we made the individual mistakes. And he started that way. But then was like, you know, we actually haven't been able to exactly figure out what's going wrong. So we're still going to try to stick to what we think will work. I enjoy that. I enjoy a little bit more brutal honesty coming up from our players, especially when things are wrong.
Yeah, when I hear that, I appreciate it in the sense of they're being honest, right? You could tell when they say something like that.
You really wish that they weren't saying it.
Exactly. Yeah. I wish that they had answers. I wish that they had ideas. As we take a quick look back at Beamy's Dragunov extravaganza and goodbye Blue Chip, go into the nether realm and goodbye. But I appreciate the honesty, yes, but I also feel like, come on, like, this is the Freaks. Like, you guys have been so good all year. Like, what is going on?
How have we not started calling those Viking funerals yet?
Oh, that's smart.
Because the vehicle's always going to be on fire and explode.
Also ich kann es immer noch nicht glauben, dass Blutchip zerstören erlaubt ist.
Alright, so
Aber ja,
now is Twisted Mind's going to be right next
anscheinend
to Asla. Also, Falcons
ist das alles regelkonform.
close. Variations in the circle, not a ton so far. We already have the Expendables playing from a very strong area where we did see them go earlier, a bit more further north this time. So it's going to make it harder for Full Sense if the circle does go that direction. VP, T1, and Full Sense all outside the circle right now. Everybody else playing a bit south of center around water treatment and the fields around it.
Yeah. It's going to be pretty quiet, I suspect, compared to the last game where, you know, you revealed your trap cards, as we saw in the beginning of that last game, where teams were punishing some of their early splits and rotations. Now everybody's going to be tightening up, you know, off of that last game because we have a pretty similar first circle. So not going to see the same shenanigans as we take a look at some of our teams and who's been doing good. And yeah, it was Full Sense who was doing good in that previous game. A pretty solid game from a lot of teams, though. I think Asla, one of them, Falcons as well.
That's exactly what I was wanting to talk about was Asla. They had to deal with the Expendables trying to push into them multiple times, and yeah, okay, they had some third-party assistance, kind of slowed it all down. But they did a great job in holding what was kind of a very precarious area to play from with a squad that is known for being very aggressive at that stage and really wanted to try and take them down. Asla out-survived them.
Yeah.
That says something.
It does. No, I agree. I mean, I think that shows that Asla is still a formidable team, even though, you know, they had to get here, you know, kicking and screaming in some ways until the last half of that last stage.
Last stage was good for them, but that's the mistake. Like, a lot of times we can look at it and we go, man, Red Zone was really popping off in last stage. Remember, the fact that means that they didn't insta-qualify through the group stage, so...
He was still pretty good during the group stage, but it was Howell and others that also started to come alive for Asla, and some some better decision making. It's in terms of like how they took fights, where they took fights. A lot of that was better. This early 2-2 split, I'm a little bit nervous
Hallo?
about because of Twisted Minds being so
Wie
near
sehen
them
die
on
denn
the
da, die
split,
Leute?
But they've got eyes on it because of this split, so should be, I think, okay. Hammer and Howl are going to be the ones tracking the Twisted Minds movements for Red Zone and Glaz, and we'll just have to see if they're able to survive with that big threat.
Only 4 points right now separate Asla and Twisted. Coming out of the last stage before day number 1, you would have said that would be a great thing, but Twisted just hasn't found the points so far. We know that they can be a bit slow on day 1, but I don't know. It feels like they're a lot of people have started to figure out the Twisted methodology and are starting to exploit it.
Yeah, you can't give them any opportunities. You got to be wary of your back and the high ground behind you, and you got to be really good about making sure that they're going to be under pressure and they're not going to be comfortable to make good decisions.
And that's the thing, is the squad functions so efficiently off of a lot of information. Just right now using their bodies to figure out who's going to be shooting at them as the new circle pops. Do they go for this? They're going very, very close. Hammer is going to take some shots at the very first section of it. A couple of peeks just to make sure that they can keep control and let the tail end of Twisted just try to get by her. Actually, no, they're going to make the commitment. Batulin's going to jump out. Asla in some trouble. Now the other members for Asla have to hop in their vehicles and they have to send it over here fast.
This is a read from Twisted that this is a 2-2 split, and they know that they've got a couple player advantage in this fight, at least initially, but it's taken too long.
Yeah.
Glaz and Red Zone have already arrived to reinforce, so this could just be a full-on fight. By the way, Full Sense, who knows if they get wind of this, might have something to say about it too. They were kind of rotating in this direction.
Falcons fans, don't worry. While Kickstart did run over H1, they're pretty safe. That should be rezzed, no problem. Just a couple of meds going to be burnt there. Asla Red Zone on the outside of this. Perfectix on the other side of the wall. Keep in mind, Glaz still slowly rotating around to see if he can peek back behind all of this. It's going to be a duel between him and Lou on that hillside. Glaz, here's footsteps, but good read from Lou. Doesn't over-peek it, takes the damage, steps away from it. Going to feed that back over the rest of the squad. Now realizing that's pretty much a 3-3, but Glaz gets the knock on Lou, and now Twisted. They're dealing with less information. It's just about the firefight.
Oh, Perfectix wins a big one there against Red Zone. Howell's going to jump up and over and take him down, though. Bails his teammate out. Batulin's trading a little bit of damage with Hammer. Red Zone trying to get somewhere safe, but there are the shots from Full Sense from behind. They have gotten into an angle where they could potentially punish.
The brain and the aim still up for Twisted as Batulin's trying to see where he needs to get into a position to keep his team alive. Example, back behind this, I think that he's been committed onto res duty so that way they can try to get themselves back into a better point, but I don't know. Actually, it looks like it's a bit more of a retreat and a flank around coming up from Batulin's.
Yeah, Asla continues to be pretty formidable in these compound holds, in defensive posturing.
Oh mein Gott, kein Wunder, dass ich da nichts sehe.
Examples expect. So there's still some time that Batulin's
Ihr
just
Schweine!
finally now Example's going for it.
They're getting help from Full Sense. Twisted Minds is got to be thanking their lucky stars right now because some of those shots are preventing Asla from getting aggressive and pushing further forward. And, they're having to do some calculus right now as Asla. Do we want to commit some smokes to cover our backside from Full Sense so we can really take this fight? But, with the storm here, are they going to try to make a go of this, or are they just going to continue to hold the line?
Oh, very awkward. Akatori, though, finds Luca Rux.
Mit der
Doesn't
asozialen
want to overpeak it,
Grenades.
just goes for the nade instead. That's going to force VP to retreat, but very long range. Coming up from Beamy is Hakatori. I think took some damage from his own nade there.
That's okay, though. He's still just fine. And now they've got a little bit of help
Oh
coming in.
mein.
And Beamy, though, has something to say.
Was ist denn mit Navi los?
Hakatori extends the last two up now. VP trying to see how much more control they can get. Hakatori taking a lot of damage. Just a couple of seat swaps. Nixie gets it better, though. Hakatori goes down, just extends up, and he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he just took a headshot, and that makes it all the more difficult. Really nicely done here by VP. Looked like it was going to be the Hakatori show, but Virtus Pro continues to show that, as a whole, they are one of the strongest teams on the planet right now.
Twisted managed to get it all back together and just want to get out. I do like the fact that we were seeing Twisted.
So, das war jetzt das zweite Game.
Reading on to the duo, but
Navi
they don't feel
nix
good about
reißen
this anymore,
konnte.
and that's no surprise. They've got more control to try to get out of here as FS has got
Schwierig.
eyes on control of position. You said you wanted water treatment.
Vielleicht sollten sie nochmal
Thumbs up. Let's go.
in die Lobby
I just
zurück
wanted a
und
different circle, to be honest. That's all I really
vernünftig
cared
Warm-up
about. And
machen.
we got it. So very happy about
I
that.
don't know.
A lot of those hills around water treatment, pretty fun. Some sheer cliffs here and there. to be concerned about, as this fight needs to come to some kind of conclusion sooner or later, because we're in phase 3 blue.
I love this from Batulins, though. He stays behind, stays a distraction, let the other guys on his squad get out. Should be able to get in the circle if they can get
Habt ihr gerade gesehen, wie der
as
spielt?
long as he can stay there, be loud,
Boah.
keep Asla pinned in point. That's going to be great for them. 17, they've got a 2-2 split that's going to make BB's life a bit hard, but the hay bales being enough cover to keep them alive, and I don't know how, as BB is just kind of running this through, throwing out smokes already, expecting this to be a bit scarier of a stop-off, but nobody else is here.
Yeah, this is not too bad at all for BB. A doozy. He's the one I'm worried about with such little health, and Besto's absorbing bullets in front of him. Batulin
What?
springs to life. A couple players of Osla down. Howl. Does
Oh,
he have enough time to get
no.
the heal? Is Batulin's going to give him the chance?
This is pretty much a 1v1 right now, as Glass is around the outside of this. Batulin staying behind when all the other vehicles left. Now it's going to be Example coming back.
Schade, die
Reinforcements,
Granate war
but then
leider
Swiss has to be
nix.
careful. Vegapie is approaching from the north. They are going to lose their position in the circle that they had.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a gamble here from Twisted. They did, in fact, bamboozle Osla, but this may cost them getting a little bit
Wir
deeper
sind
into
doch
the
nicht
game.
hier
Not
bei
that they care
Apex, man.
a ton about that. They
What
just want
the
to get
fuck?
these kills. Hammer being rezzed, does get there, has just enough time, but
Yo.
Batu shuts down Red Zone.
Batu is just farming damage right now. Glaz is regrouped with the rest of the squad. Blue zone becoming more powerful as we go, so it's going to start being a little bit more of an attrition battle. But everybody from Twisted Minds knows where 3 members are. They just don't know where Sneaky Glaz is on the outside.
Yeah, Glaz has got to get something going here if Osla's going to get out of this now, because Twisted very much has the advantage. You know, with those knocks and other things, sure, you're going to be able to get the heals through to keep yourself going for Osla, but for how much longer?
Yeah.
And now maybe a full retreat from Twisted?
Oh, FN, you went into the wrong neighborhood. BP just picks everybody out of their cars. And I mean, Zenith, you're just trapped up next to that tree now and nowhere to really go. And BP's just got so many different angles that they can just take that fast, get back down
Was
the
denn
cover.
hier gerade
Feeling good,
passiert?
very centered in the circle as well.
Habt ihr
It's
gesehen?
just a bad read from FN on, you know, where players could potentially be, and they gambled and paid the price. Didn't help. They got
Junge,
caught on
Junge, da war
here
die
in the
Liste
ground
aber
near that tree.
richtig
Not
lang
sure which.
gewesen.
Sungjong, like you mentioned earlier, Matt, is going to be tracking onto Twisted as they have finally fully disengaged from Osla. Osla going to try to go south and get in between full senses,
Oh.
2-2 split. We've got all of water treatment still in this circle. Let's go.
And Twisted do manage to get inside the circle. Pio puts down Lou. That is a great shot. High ground, tons of information. Sungjong other side of it.
Oh my
Pio
God.
follows it up again and makes it look easy.
God, he is so on point with that. He's got one more to go. Knows they're likely stuck behind the rock. I think at this point, just want to make sure that no one else is stealing these kills. If you can help it, just go for that one. Yeah, absolutely. Get these points.
Oh, Twisted, so many good plays that you were trying to execute. Just going to come apart here as Bagopop finds 3.
Legitimately, the Korean casters right next
I
to us
know.
are smiling.
They're losing their minds.
They are absolutely thrilled. And yeah, I get it. I mean, Pio, you know, the original superstar, getting it done there and making it look easy.
Uh-oh, Irina, there's not a good path over here. 17, other side of the hill, going to be at least some space to work with. BB back behind it. Correxy for VP in front of you. Falcons other side, and Azza also crashed into this point, so a lot of people should be getting on the vision on this pretty fast. The Arena, I don't know where you can go. Freaks, similar idea, falling right back behind this, and everything is now prepped and waiting for it.
Freaks took a ton of damage there. Xiao Wu with some nice sprays. Not able to find knocks, but that's okay. Just open arms for VP, who have welcomed the Freaks with a knock onto Salute. If that grenade is on point, that's going to be the flush as well. Just have to wait and see, but you have E-Arena in there, so Corexy has to turn his attention. He does end up finally claiming Salute in the long run. Now Levante gets DL.
Oh, 17, everybody just running right down the path. Xiao Wu finally goes down. It's gonna be Duck Juice and Xiao Bei. Gets knocked by Tanvu. These guys come in tail end of it and instantly spin back around onto 17, making their life miserable.
And they knew they were there. T1's type maybe going to get involved in this fight as well. Love to steal some points. A lot of T1 maybe thinking about this. 7-7 trying to do what he can to take down Tanvu there. Spots him momentarily outside of the smokes, but can't really find much in the way of damage. He's got Delwyn right in front of him. Immediately gets lit up. That grenade, oh, so close.
Oh,
Was?
17. T1 on the other side of it. They've just got to fight their way into a gate kept position now, finding themselves what they were trying to do to everybody else. But the Expendables, too many open firing lines. Duck Juice is going to go down. BB also has some vision onto where Tanvu's at. Glories is getting called back in, though.
Huh. The Expendables are just a chaotic team, and Tanvu takes down Lil Ghost, but quickly it's Besto who gets him knocked, so they're holding on by just a thread.
Was wurde jemand geritzt?
This is going to allow 17 to get back in. I think the Glories doesn't have anywhere they can really land. Namiga is jockeying up against T5 to the north. T1 still wants to contain in 17. Work's not done for 17 to get in the circle. BB just leapfrogs ahead. Circle pops, and we are staying at water treatment.
Yeah, oh, hello, my bad. Now it's T1's turn to get third party. They're getting shot at from behind. This might force them down in towards BB, who is full sprinting right towards T1. This could be a big 4v4 fight right here.
Right across the hillside. How's the timing? It feels like T1 might be there just a second earlier. Nate's going to be coming out. Peaks pop up at the perfect time. BB, love the aggression, but just a second too
Ja,
late.
wie schnell die
Somehow,
genockt
some way,
worden
T1
sind.
either heard this or saw it coming. They're going to light up some of those
Und
players
noch
a
eine
little bit more
Granate,
with
und
the
noch eine
grenades. There is a
Granate.
return, though.
Sag mal, wie
Dude
viel habt ihr
catches
eigentlich schon
Ian,
dabei?
rating up on point, finds the headshot.
And everything comes back down as the Duke
Oh!
is going to
Yo,
respond, and Rain
BB.
finishes it clean. Now T1 has to get in the
Unlucky
circle. Namiga to the
dudes.
north of them also has to do the same. T5 kind of holding up Namiga, and a firefight is other
Haben
side
sie
of the
gedacht,
circle.
sie
It's
können da
gonna be
welche
Wilson.
snacken,
Singing
aber
back
das
to back.
war's.
Yesterday it was
Sind
Ian for
raus.
T1, who was absolutely fragging out. This
Who
today
wins
it's Raiden
Match
so far.
8?
Has 5 kills in
Vorhersage.
this
Machen wir
match.
doch kurz mit,
In the,
oder?
center circle,
Falcons?
high ground position, full sense, a much trickier
Ich
push
glaub-
this time around. They're the ones on the low end looking up towards their opponents. Sungjan with the off angle here to cover. Gyuyun ahead a little bit of PO. This is not easy for full sense.
This is a beautiful crossfire if Full Sense goes any further north. PO is just waiting to pop the heads of anybody, and Full Sense knows it. They know that this is way too hazardous to walk into. They've left Belmont behind. T1, they've got to go after Namiga. Namiga's got eyes to go north after T5, so Levante is just going to be a bit ahead of T1. Couple of shots to force it, but could also stall out any plan Namiga had. They were trying to get right up underneath T5. No, Levante just sends it in.
They're in trouble. They're getting cut down between two different teams. Already Layash gone. Raining wants to see if he could try to find a little bit more on that off angle. Namiga trying to get somewhere into safety. Look at Bagel Pa Khan showing up.
Yeah, he's running over here to see if he can get involved. High ground's going to be a bigger problem now for T5 as well as Namiga. Both good nade coming up from Fluky. You can tell him I bat down, but Akan, the beneficiary of it all.
Yeah, Akan there is going to claim that point, and he's going to have to back off a little bit. Levante sits him down. EN finishes off Theraton 5. And somehow Namiga's still alive.
So Begapo went to the east after the kills in the firefight. Full Sense is now chasing behind them. Yuyun's already down. Songjung's had to surrender over onto that side of it. Namiga still just fighting for their lives. Gedrox goes down, and T1 continues to push up the hillside as Begapa is on the other side of Namiga.
I mean, T1 is in full form right now in terms of their team fighting. They are going to wipe the floor with another. That's 10 kills for them.
12
Jo,
for VP.
T1
It
ist
is
so
a
aggressiv
very
unterwegs gerade
kill-heavy
und
game for two
so
squads,
stark.
just feasting on everybody else. Bigapa in the lower section of the hill now has to deal with T1 high ground, and it's going to be tight, trying to defend and force PO away.
Tough fight coming up, though. T1, have they kind of gone too far? Have they not? Do they not have enough gas to cross this bridge? Oh my, who cares? Ian, it's a banger grenade. Heather's like, heck yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Ian's on top. Heather bold on top of the hillside. Does not care. That's Begapa going down. Back into water treatment, though. The circle is popped. Favors the Freaks' positioning as well as Full Sense on top. That means Falcons got to move.
Full sense, we're just given a gift because Bagoba's encampment of them got abandoned to go try to third party a fight that they ended up just getting wiped in. So this is now a much tougher situation here for T1 if they were to angle towards Full Sense. There's a big gap between these mountains, and Full Sense has the circle positioning. So T1 probably has to make a different approach or do something absolutely just insane.
Squad 1 on our leaderboard, Full Sense. High ground, getting control over position next to T1, who's presently in third after a massive kill count that they're trying to set up. But T1's got to get into the circle. Falcons presently in that second place position. Low ground are going to have to deal with VP oh so close that are holding down fifth on the overall leaderboard.
My question is, Does Clories have any guns, and if so, what are they?
I don't think so.
I don't know, but I'm genuinely curious. T1 there takes a fair amount of damage on the way out. The good news for them in a way is that it got spread out between a lot of their different players. However, they're going right at the Freaks.
Oh, I mean, there's nowhere better to go. Just send it where you can get it. Good combination coming up. Ian down, Type down. Some cover now coming out, at least for a Heather with the vehicle on the side, but no! Panzer Palace doesn't pop the way they want, and Freaks keep a solid defense.
What in the heck happened with that Panzer, but the Freaks will take it as they were very ready for this. VP as well getting involved. Raining, does he have any more in store for us? Smoke grenade, go around the corner here. As soon as he pops out, he's dead to rights.
Back on the high ground, Full Sense looking down at poor old Clories. Just trapped. Oh, he does have something.
Schade.
Okay. I don't know what he has, but not a lot.
T1 ist raus.
Yeah, remember that Clories did get recalled, so he just
Aber 13 Punkte
I
geholt.
want to say like circle 5 or 6.
Nur
And
durch
this was already
Kills.
just clustered with teams, so didn't manage to
Stark.
get any loot. Falcons managed to get their other player back up, so should be able to run into the circle pretty clean on this side. Plenty of cover, as the only real big problem is going to be Full Sense. Tigger up on top.
This is looking really nice for them. Unless they have to come down that hill into the water treatment, but they might have an opportunity because all these other teams are going to be scraping away at each other. Kind of distracted here. Some smokes have to come down to give Corexi a little bit of breathing room to keep DNF from getting full vision, probably as well, Full Sense. And a headshot connects onto Tiggleton, I believe. Belmoth just doing a little bit of a peek battle. Oh, this is not a pleasant spot for the Falcons.
Yeah, the cover is good on one side, but this angle is going to be hard. Circle does stay on the Freaks. Full Sense has some of their high ground still. The Freaks have no vision on what anything is going on top with Full Sense. They can't get any angles to go for anything without just stepping out into the open. So that's just kind of surrendered control of the North, allow them to get whatever they want. No. Hey, Falcons. Looks like some mortar's going to be landing next to you. Nothing connects, though.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a butt clinch moment. It's
yeah,
fine.
it's fine. There's plenty of concrete in the way. I suspect that I think this is totally. I mean, Danadol's got it dialed in, but I don't think he can actually hit him.
If he can actually get it right into the groove there, he could get a knock. But it has got to be precision on those hits.
That's true. I just can't quite find it. As Clories did go down, so we're into our top 4 teams. As the Falcons, 3 strong, have a bit of a tunnel to work with to get in a little bit and can just hold on. Here's Nixie's attempt.
It's like, I heard you doing this. I'm going to send my own. Why not? Got nothing else to do, so pop 1. Got 2 more to go.
Yeah, it might be about right with 227 because it is uphill, so it's going to be a little bit further than what you would measure on the map due to the high ground. But Full Sense was already thinking other plans. Yeah, really, actually well read in terms of distance there by Nixie.
So Full Sense, you've got the option. You can go into water treatment lower where you've got those like round area wells that you can play from where they store the water at. Or you can go for the assault onto the Freaks' warehouses. This is going to be pretty hard to decide from, but the shots coming out from the Falcons are going to make it to where Tigger doesn't have too many other areas to go except for right next to the Freaks.
Yeah, if you can just put a bunch of hurt down here. Nixie now has an inkling of where Full Sense might have rotated to. It's just, does he have the distance, Red?
I was worried he was right
Oh, just shoots himself?
That, I was like, please, no.
That would be a classic PUBG moment.
Did he get the knock at the right time? Reinforcements for Nixie. Where's the mortar going? How's it going to land?
Ooh.
It gets very, very close. Full Sense has to run away from their down player of Thanadol, and it's just getting dicier and dicier. Freaks starting to eye in this direction, but don't have vision yet.
Yeah, the Freaks would love to get involved in this fight and claim some points, but they just can't really afford to give away any other players at this stage in the game. Another grenade going to bounce wide. Thanadol has to be abandoned here. A parting headshot, some more damage. Look at the Falcons go.
This is so well played from the Falcons. Full Sense, they right as soon as they came down into the avenue that we saw Falcons get some vision in, they wanted revenge for the walk that the Falcons had to do a moment ago. Now Full Sense stacked right on top of the Freaks. It's going to be VP East Side, Falcons West.
This is anybody's game, it feels like. It could really come down to just individual plays. Who's going to hit some shots? Who's going to be able to outduel their opponents and kind of make the decision to last a little bit longer? Again, connecting is Tiggleton. You know, Full Sense, I think maybe just barely some of that fence is in the circle on the outside of the warehouses that they can kind of prone down behind maybe and just try to stay safe, but it's tough.
This is all the Falcons get right here. They've got, what, some tires? They've got the wall that's in front of them. That's not going to feel too good. This is just slim pickings for VP and Falcons both. And Full Sense kind of knows that. That's why they're playing the other side of the wall, hoping that maybe the Freaks might have to contend with it. But really, it's going to be Corexi and the Falcons lined up against each other.
Yeah, Corexi there tagging Tiggleton's head. Curious about the helmet situation. Here goes Full Sense. Their turn for revenge. Belmoth gets the knock on to H-Win. 2 grenades here. Could be devastating. He goes for the left side. I thought he was going to go for the Falcons.
I think it's maybe just to try to shoo anybody away from VP, because Nixie did look like he wanted to go for that. If we can see Full Sense continue throwing enough nades over there, it could keep from VP from having to go onto the angle. But Evan spots out Tigger, a bit of an overstep.
All right. Let's see. That was a nice reposition there from Heaven to get a little bit higher up. Can't find the flush with the first grenade. Belmoth just trying to buy time and buy space with everything that he's got.
But look at this, Human's also playing the other side of the wall. This means that Full Sense is in a lot more trouble than they were just a second ago. Belmoth just caught out, nowhere for him to go. The Freaks, they've got the warehouses on lock, and it's gonna be the Falcons and VP with no cover and a lot of trouble.
And here goes Heaven. He finds Tiggleton on the off angle. Kickstart just trying to stay safe, just trying to get alive, to stay alive a little bit longer. Maybe see if he can outlast VP, who's got 15 kills in this game.
I think that when we hit the top 4 teams still alive, that Freaks were still in that 16th position. So now they've got the chance for a climb in a big way. These are some very needed points. They've got a lot of advantages to work around, but it is VP on the other side, and we know these guys
Falcons einfach
Center circle dot is right
weggrenaded.
in between the warehouses,
Mit
just south of them
Blutzone.
ever so slightly, and Nixie's trying to claim
da
some of
kommen
that
die
space,
nächsten
so a ton of
Blutzones.
smokes having to be used, but Corexi pinned down. If you can get him up there with you, maybe
Yo,
this can go
drei
well. Look at all those blue
Blutzones.
zones.
just stacks him up, denies any peek
Jesus.
back onto this one. Freaks slowing back down the pace.
Chill.
TL going to be the guy that's keeping eyes on Nixie's position. Corexi in the crossfire with Nixie. They want to set up so badly, they just can't get. It's damage upon damage. And remember, these guys are just like Falcons. We did watch a lot of the Falcons movement, but VP had to continue this push under duress time and time again. So they're coming in pretty battered, while the Freaks pretty fresh.
Yeah, but it's all the smokes that had to be used. You have one frag as well left here in Corexi's hands for Virtus Pro. So still could do some damage with that, could turn the tide of the battle. Nixie takes a headshot. That is rough, because he's going to have to back down, go for the heals. That's going to cede over some space for Guman.
That was a very sneaky angle that we saw Nixie playing from. It was trying to use cover as much as he could for the wall itself, but it's just going to collapse down. Guman, one side, having to see if he can sneak around, find some way to control the other side of this. Nixie, I think, already has a read on it. Guman does take some damage, but it's going to be really hard to step back around. Evan holding down the angle just a moment ago. It's just Corexi, the last one up, playing around the smokes. Nothing can happen. The Freaks get it.
That has to be a big sigh of relief there for the Freaks, because like you said, they were at the very bottom of the leaderboard in that game, and they're able to climb out a little bit. Not a big kill count, but a win's a win.
But in the later stages, VP, Falcons, Full Sense, this is going to start getting scary for the squads that are just trying to catch up to those ones that are at the top of the leaderboard.
Don't forget T1 put up a tremendous amount of kills in that game too, so
Crazy kill.
the rich getting richer in that one.
This is an absurd start to the day. We talked about momentum and how important it was to start your day well. Well, these squads at the top don't want to let the pedal off of anything. They just want to keep on going, get as much as they can, and everybody else trying to get scraps.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So, und dann kommt jetzt gleich Runde Number 9. Number 9.
The few AWM knocks, that was awesome to see.
Yeah.
Overall, though, difficult area to get into. Falcons got in there early. They benefited from it. VP fought so hard from that southern side and had to full send in there. They only survived with 2 guys, but what a game from Corexi.
That kind of result from Virtus.pro, they may not have won the game, but that is a scary result to post up when you don't win a game. The fact that Corexi had 9, never mind all the other boys having frags, this was crazy.
So, yes, phenomenal salvage from VP to run in with these 2 to get everything going. What I loved is that there was a double salvage going on. The Falcons were doing the same thing on the other side of water treatment.
Yeah.
And both teams of 2 were basically working through the tunnels, doing everything they could. And optimally, I think VP was able to get as deep as they did because Falcons spent, how many grenades was that, Falcon? I mean, it was an insane amount of ordnance.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I think there's like 6 or 7 nades on that. And then in the end, it ended up with Corexi throwing 1 nade on him, getting the confirmation steal from Freak, and then getting the last as well. Like, he got so many kills with just a little bit of utility.
There's a moment where I feel a little sorry for Falcons in that they were in water treatment so early, and when the circles are shifting like that, Toffees, they know they have to defend the south of water treatment from so many assaults. They'd love to be on the north side.
But they defended, and they defended, and they defended, James, and then a snake. Little Asla comes crawling out of the blue, and pop, 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 no more Shrimsy. And that was devastating for me personally.
I wonder why.
It's fantasy related.
It may be, yeah. I've got Tigleton this time.
You got Tig this time.
But I mean, obviously, right? Like, if they'd have the opportunity to move north, be where DNF is, compared to like having to deal with all those assaults, could have been a different game again. I feel like Falcons is getting a little unfortunate in some of these games.
They are, but still, again, like, this was not a game where it was like, okay, they should have won that. This was based on they got fought out and they maximized the points here, right? So Freaks obviously in a great spot to get out of this. I was like, imagine if we had 1 or 2 more VP players alive there. That was an easy win for them because eventually Freaks had to get out of the warehouse. They had to kind of fight from that ridge, and that's a huge advantage because all the utility that Freaks threw, the 3 blue zones that barely kind of hit the backside of the container that Corexi was hiding on, that didn't really pay off.
Well, here's the points coming in, of course, as we have to talk about T1 in a moment, but it's 23 points going the way of Virtus.pro, even though they didn't technically get the win. DN Freaks found themselves north of water treatment, getting themselves to 16, that's fantastic. But T1, there was a moment where they had 13 kills, there was 17 alive, all 4 of them were alive, and I was terrified they were going to continue on the rampage that they were on.
I mean, to get 2 placement points and 13 kills means that you were an actual wrecking ball for the first quarter of this thing.
Yeah, they were.
And they were. They just rolled downhill. I would have liked to see Type do a little bit more. I felt like he was kind of passive in that battle, but they looked good, and I think those points are going to obviously reflect as they hold on to that 4th position.
Yeah, they're able to obviously get into that 63 now. Our 2nd to 5th place is very, very close. There's a 16-point gap here establishing themselves, gentlemen, between 5th and 6th place. But there's 77 points of full sense here. That's a little bit of a gap too. The tie on 2nd place is cool too. But for me though, let's wrap up the T1 thing. They're fragging out, they're doing good. They had 1 car only and they decided to pull up on a Freaks that actually quite well defended that warehouse on that eastern side, right? So it's a bit of a Hail Mary, and it's mainly due to the fact that they were fighting for so long. It's the last thing they can kind of do.
A Hail Mary, but imagine if it works. Then suddenly T1 is in that winning position after already having 13 kills.
I'm on board with that, boys, but you can't build an entire offensive strategy around Hail Marys, and T1 does that. They love these Hail Marys, especially in the late game, and I don't know that results in championship. It results in highlight moments. I'll also say, Full Sense had me terrified because these guys were so close to winning another one. Back to back, super cool. But man, that's a runaway that nobody wants to chase.
Yeah, no, that would be brutal. Considering it's only 8 games deep here, having that kind of lead, having the crowd behind you as well. Very, very powerful stuff by them. 77 points at the top right now. And with Miramar done here, wildcard maps on the way here, Martin. Could get spicy.
Yeah, after the next one, we're obviously halfway through here. That's where we pass our judgment upon them, right? And I think with here, Freaks being able to step up in a few games, double digits, good to see from Korea. But T1 is that ever-consistent team here. And right now, if this next game, that 16-point gap from 5th to 6th, if those teams on the bottom half, if they don't start jumping in, they're going to be left in the dust.
T1, it's Heather and all the guys stepping up, apart from Type. Imagine if he suddenly turns on. Anyway, we've got to go to a break. When we return, the wildcard maps are on the way here. 8 games done, 10 more to go. PGC 2025.
Fueled by the same passion as esports athletes, Zowie continuously develops tailored products, empowering gamers to bring their best out. Today, we are launching the all-new XL2566X Plus, which uses the newly developed Fast TN panel and upgraded Diac 2 technology. The new monitor series continue to evolve, refining details to ensure players can perform their best consistently in games.
Stay focused.
Oh, nächstes Game. Match 9. Bam, bam. Boop.
Mysterious climate change in Erangel. A handful of gunplay updates. Match and intense battle royale.
All this and more as we dive into the update 39.1 patch report.
First up, due to the crash of several Tithonic satellites used in a climate control experiment, parts of Erangel have been damaged and are now temporarily frozen over and covered in snow. As a result, the blue zone now has an added freezing effect, which can also be triggered with blue zone grenades and the new blue zone grenade launcher. And speaking of weapons and loot, rumor has it the crashed satellites have some as well. Ferries in the red zone have been temporarily disabled, while Battlegrounds officials deal with the satellite problem and repair the damaged bridge. Next, we're adjusting the power of a few guns slightly. The M416, SKS, and SLR are all getting buffs to their recoil, while the AUG and VSS recoil is getting a slight nerf. The VSS's firing sound has also been increased. There are a few more little changes on the list, so make sure you check out the patch notes for full details. For fans of alternate game modes, Team Deathmatch and Intense Battle Royale are getting some updates, including updated care packages for TDM and the recall system added to IBR. We're also bringing back UGC Alpha with some new additions. Add to all that our new rank season and a new Survivor Pass, which you can read all about in the patch notes. Update 39.1 is here, so grab a Blue Zone grenade launcher, seek out a TDM care package, and give your enemies a cold reception on Erangel. We'll see you on the battlegrounds.
Bangkok.
Great game for the Freaks, but I have my eyes on this leaderboard. We're moving into the halfway stage after this game, and we're starting to get a break point that's happening after 5th place. We've got to see these middle pack teams start popping off. It is too close at this point.
Yeah, it's getting really top heavy. And, you know, the teams that are doing well, we're seeing them at the end of the games here already today. So that's scary for everyone who wants to try to make that run, try to make that challenge for the second half of this like you're talking about. So happy for the Freaks. They get a win, but again, a low kill win. And it's nice that it comes on Miramar because it has been a map they have struggled on this year.
So for the Freaks, to give them benefit of the doubt, it's also very hard to deal with anything whenever you've got full sense that's directly above you, right? They're going to be the ones that are actually controlling water treatment in and of itself. I'm just still looking at the Expendables 17, BB, Namiga. It's 20 points now into 5th for these squads already. Yes, that is one big game, but that requires a falter from Full Sense, Falcons, VP, T1, and Na'Vi. And the only one of those teams that feels like there's a bit of a slide going on with is Na'Vi.
Yeah, Na'Vi just really not able to get it done. And, the Falcons are...
He's feeling himself, man.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he is. He definitely is. He has been tremendous throughout all of PGC here. Clearly, the Falcons have had some good ideas coming into today with their early rotation trap on a Twisted and to, back-to-back pretty good games for them. They're just keeping on. And if they get another win, they're probably going to find themselves right at the top of that leaderboard with or above Full Sense. Who knows? So you got to keep your eyes on the Falcons because, like they said, they tend to get one win a year. They haven't gotten one yet this year.
Yeah, they're saving it to the end. That's the whole reason they were getting 3rd place so many times, right? They were letting Twisted get all the victories and do all that other stuff so that way they could get into PGC.
That was it, yeah. That was the game plan all along.
Also, Twisted, give me a stick so that way I can hit you guys. Do a thing.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Twisted. I mean, they're doing some funky stuff. They tried to bamboozle Asla in that last game.
But that is a modification from Twisted that we're seeing, okay, we need points.
Yeah.
They knew what they wanted to go for, but then it ended up all weird, really fast. And shout out to Asla, they managed to hold up against them very well.
Yeah, even though they probably could have come out of that a little bit better if they don't fall for Batulin's trap, but Batulin's is Batulin's. He has the biggest brain.
Well, that's the whole thing is, right? Twisted was going for points. They send 3 people into the circle. Batulin stays behind just to make sure that they stay safe, I'm assuming. Then he gets a multi-knock. Then everybody from Twisted has to surrender the area that they've got inside the circle to come back out. The firefight just gets really awkward and weird then, and it all just kind of tails into a very peculiar fight for Asla as well as Twisted, but both showing their mettle. But the issue is then you got to go into the circle and immediately just get peppered from bullets from high ground. That never feels good. Tego, though, known for sometimes having some flatter areas. Maybe they can avoid it. Rotations, we'll have to see. Plane path, easy peasy for everybody. It's just straight through the middle.
Yeah, this one not too bad at all. Some of the southern stuff going to be a little bit far, but that's not the end of the world. We've seen some pretty terrible plane paths at times, and this one is not going to be that to start. Is just looking to see if anything out of the ordinary begins in the early part of the game. Every once in a while, we see people who have the same vehicle in mind. And will that be the case here with this central plane path? Maybe a few positional battles in that regard. Looks like Bagel Pa just going to go out towards Buksansa, Asla out, everybody out of the plane, and I'm not seeing anything too crazy yet. Maybe Type and Star-Lord pretty close to each other there, though. That one might be a little dicey.
Around Buksansa, we often see a couple of people jockey for a vehicle or two. So Songjung as well as Namiga. See if they're going for the same spot. I think Songjung's just going to go ahead and relent it early, say, nah, not really worth it. Instead, we'll just go to Buksansa itself. Everybody else pretty comfy, cozy. Long stretch coming up in the north for F and Pochon. Star-Lord's going to be on the other side. In the circle goes the island in the north.
All right, so Freak-centered circle early. Are they going to be able to replicate game number 2 and go back-to-back here in game number 3? Hard to say for sure, as a lot of this part of the northern island is very much in play, so not too much other than kind of the army base is about the only part of this island that the circle doesn't really like to go to.
Yeah.
So everything else pretty fair.
But the hillside south of it, boy, that gets a lot of love.
We've
seen a lot of very crazy games there. It's very fun, so I probably don't have to break that area down too much for you guys, but just know there's a lot of trenches, a lot of verticality that's up to the north. Wolsong, we have been seeing get some attention internationally.
Yeah,
here.
Finally.
So, couple of interesting fights that could happen on the opposing side of the hill to the east of it. Then, of course, there's the valley in between the two mountains going right into Godok itself and just the kind of flatlands that lead all the way down to the south. And a lot of players right now hoping that this goes north just because it can support so many more teams.
Yeah, Heaven continuing to be a bright spot for the Freaks these last couple of days in the grand final. Salute got knocked out early, but the Freaks still able to hang on and get the win. So that will be man of the match there for Heaven. Just nailing it at the end of the game. Had a good position on the crates inside of the warehouse to shut Full Sense basically out of the equation. And just continues to be a rock-steady player for the Freaks.
Evan Pochon goes for Army Base, so they should be able to get some pretty decent loot over there. A lot of squads not inside the circle. Spindle's making an early movement to try to get themselves in zone, knowing the fact that they are in that drop-down position in 6th place, about 16 points back behind Na'Vi right now. BP, though, feeling a lot better inside the circle. They have early track for Godok if they want it, but nobody really wants to go Godok too early because getting out of it can be a pain.
Yeah, it's weird. Godok's such a finical, just a tricky spot to play from because circles kind of like to go around it, but you're not. Oh, what? Okay, of course. What?
PO.
Of course.
Just PO things.
He's just back at it. He had 1 day of prep. That's all he needed.
I mean, look, he loves the Bolty. Just stick to what you know, right? That got him really.
Get him another AWM, please. God.
I loved that. That follow-up shot, just near on 2 in a row.
Yeah, just nasty stuff. But to talk about Godok a little bit, like, it is tricky. It's in Korean it means like the lonely city or the lonely so it is kind of lonely because the circles around it are tricky to play outside in. You know what I mean? Like it's really tough.
If it goes north, you've got those hillsides that are problems, and if it goes south, it's so open because they've got the fields that are around it. So you're kind of forced to go Godok or just die, and that means that whenever the circle moves away from it, everybody just gets like pinched on top of each other. Big fire.
Casual.
Eyes on that. VP has decided southeast just
Thank
to
you
be
for
safe.
your prime,
Good
eyeball.
Good safety play. Looks like they might be pulling in back behind them. The Freaks are running a very wide 2-2 split, playing both sides of Godok, so they're never wrong.
I kind of curious that Bagelpaw doesn't pull the trigger initially, maybe just trying to set PO up, and yeah, there he goes. Taps the head, he has one, can he find another?
That's enough already at the start. 2 for PO. Namiga in some trouble. Hell, my bad, at least getting some damage back. Got to go around the rock, though. Be careful. I think caught a bit of airtime. Now just running for the hills and not a lot of options. Remember, this isn't even inside the circle, so this is a long trek ahead for Namiga.
Yep, and they're just another victim to PO and his ways of thinking about the early stages of the game. He is one of the best to do it in that regard, in terms of just finding those early picks, finding those moments. He's so good at that early game prep, and he just makes it just awful for anybody around him. Oh boy, what's going on over here?
Yeah, 17 kind of caught up against Na'Vi. Na'Vi had a closer range person that was holding the bridge, but this is just.
Und schon wieder einer raus bei Navi.
Hunker down as they were trying to get 7-7 back alive. T1's also pretty close to this, but doesn't have vision. So said, up on top, and they're trying to use the elevation the best they can. And are they going to send somebody down low as well? So it looks like Ferris might be trying to get very close range, and there's T1 on the other side, to be expected.
Yeah, T1, very opportunistic in these grand finals. They are looking for fights anywhere they can take them. Just got to hit one more shot here as Zosidin maybe could be a difference maker, but nobody on 17 really giving him the opportunities he's looking for. Xiaowu going to hide behind the crate. Ferris looking for the angle with this Dragunov. Not a ton of bullets left. Back behind it. Is there going to be anything that he can do?
You know, Na'Vi just wants to get 17 either dead and out of this position or just out of the position in general. Because this is Hakatori that's gone down early, and we know that Hakatori can pop off. So losing him is a massive detriment to the squad. We know they can still play, though. Sosed has had some really big moments through PGC so far. So don't count them out just because Hakatori's down, but you know they want him back.
Day one best player, hands down. He was just ridiculous, but today is a very different day for Na'Vi. Only 60 points right now. They have not been able to get much going, as Full Sense has been getting a lot going, up to 77.
Here's the problem, though. They're approaching the other side of the bridge, and this is going to be Thanadol we're going to get some information from.
และตอนนี้นะคะก็อยู่กับชนดลนะคะจากฟูเซนนะคะสุดยอดมากคือแมตช์หนึ่งนี่คือแบบไม่มีใครหยุดยั้งเจ้าได้จริงๆมันเกิดอะไรขึ้น
ก็เรียกว่าอะไรก็ค่อยๆเล่นมาตามเกมเรื่อยๆแล้วก็นั่งดูแมตช์ล็อกอะไรว่าจำนวนคนเหลือเท่าไหร่บ้างแล้วก็ความน้ำหนักดีๆก็เกมครับ
ก็คือวางแผนมาดีซึ่งเขาบอกว่าสามารถทำไปได้ถึง15คิวแล้วก็ในเกมนั้นเราคือทำคะแนนไปได้ถึง25คะแนนแล้วคือตอนนี้เราก็ยังอยู่ในท็อปวันด้วยการคุมเกมของเรานะตอนนั้นหรือว่าในทีมของเราการ manage ตรงนั้นคือมันเป็นยังไงบ้าง
ก็ค่อยๆเล่นแล้วก็คุยกันดีๆว่าเราจะทำอะไรกันตอนนั้นครับผม
Okay, so I just asked him that at match 1 is such an unstoppable game with 15 kills and chicken for 25 points that put them right now top 1, the first top right now. So what clicked for the team in that game and how did they manage to take the full control from the start to finish? So they just really done such a preparation well, and they just count how many of their teams left and how many of the other teams left too. So that's why the game is really under their control and have done such a really good result. So here with Tanadon, so let's cheer for Fusen's!
Yeah, I mean, keeping it simple for Full Sense, it seems like. I'm kind of curious about Bagopot right now. They are camping near Ohyang, where Namiga is looking to, I think, get their revives.
Yeah, so just give you a quick breakdown. It looks like Leosh went down there so that way he could go for a revive. Bagopot is going to be very close to that. Az is called for an emergency pickup. Full Sense, while we were doing the interview, got the other side and vision what was going on with 17, so they're kind of stuck there, which means that Na'Vi can't go for their blue chip. Namiga is very far into the east, also inside the blue, and Azla getting ready to get yoinked.
Okay. Into the air they go. Tons of space out on the northwest and kind of northeast sides of these circles for Azla. Looks like they're going to have it timed so they'll see the circle 2 pop and can kind of make a determination of what to do. Falcons are now wrapping all the way through Army Base where FN is left and set up a camp at the crossroads up on the very northern side of the island. Kind of curious if anything's going to come out of that. FN, you know, sometimes with these wide splits on the edge they like to do early can be a little bit dangerous for them in terms of if they aren't really fully prepared for a team to show up on their flanks. I have noticed that kind of causes them some grief. Speaking of grief, Bagopot wants to grief the heck out of Namiga.
But Leosh is just not in a rush. Not in the slightest. Oh, they even know. Look, they keep pinging. They know where he's moving from. He's just kind of stuck here, man. This is very bad, feels bad. But at the same time, Bagopot, you got to get in the circle yourself. The new circle does pop and stays pretty much where everybody was expecting to. Falcons do need to regroup. They're coming out of Army Base, but there's plenty of trenches, areas to play. They should be fine. Just Na'Vi going to have to regroup. It's Namiga, Bagopot. That's about it. That's the guys that need to get in the zone.
Yeah, it's just a matter of, did Leosh get any idea that Bagopot's out there? I suspect that he did because he's not really moving too much. T1 trying to group up out of a 2-2 split. Going to be crossing paths with our top team in the lobby right now. Not much to be said about that other than Tanadol took about half damage. In the air is Azla, Nixie, and a lot of other players shooting at him, though.
They're sitting it right on top of T5, landing danger close early. Hammer just seeing if he can get a little bit of a different angle than the rest of the squad. Red zone on top of this as well. T5 doesn't like it. They've got to retreat. Other side of T5, though, has to be cautious. FN Pochan was very, very close. So Azla does make landfall. They're at least going to be safe for now. The other members for FN Pochan, though, are retreating from T5 because they saw Falcons in rotate.
Yeah, so just kind of everybody trying to claim as much space as they can. The Expendables is a team that does not mind going into this side of Godok, especially with the circle that's going to be shifted in that direction. Leash, oh boy, he is trying to bandy his way or something out of this, but he's just gone.
There's nothing that can be done for him. A lot of our squads right now are going full Godok because what else you got to do? I think we can see the Expendables that you were talking about a second ago with 17, a couple of shifts away. Songjong finishes that out. There you go. BB also has committed into Godok as well. Other members from Amiga very far away over next to Airport.
Yeah, those are the revives, I believe, for Namiga, so they're at least able to get those players back in, but to what effect? Hard to think that they're going to be able to do much in this one. Doozy doing the aerial patrol for his team along their flanks, just watching for anybody coming in late to this. The good news for BB, nobody is.
So this is where you get to decide. Are you a good person or a chaotic person?
Well,
because if you want to be good, you want the circle to go to the hillsides around Army base, right?
Yeah.
That way the players don't have to move. If you're a chaotic person, you want it to go south, where there's nothing to be really had over there, and most of the squads have already abandoned it, right?
I think you know my answer to that question. But actually, I wouldn't mind seeing I'll be the good guy this time. You can be the bad cop if you want. I'm gonna play good cop and say, let's go into the hills. Let's go north.
Or we could just go full on evil mode and say, let's go Godok, because it could still go that direction.
Also,
then everybody has to leave the hills, run down into Godok itself. There is also the western hill that's a little bit in play. Nobody's playing it because it's pretty barren. It's very hard to play.
Yeah, if we're going into Godok, like that's on the levels of evil of people who don't put their shopping carts back after they're done with them at the grocery store. You know what I mean? Like just leaving them out in the parking lot. Come on.
See, I was thinking more like the level of people that talk like on a bus or on the train on their phone or watching videos really loud while they're in a group of people. Like, I think, is that worse than people that don't put their carts back?
I don't think so. I think at least that is like, you've got, some other people in there potentially making noise.
Falcons have called an emergency pickup just in case this does go south, and I don't blame them because having to go through ASLA, Twisted, BP, Full Sense, all that would suck. Issue is, where's the circle going to pop? It's timed perfectly, and it goes just a bit south. Keep some of the hills, keep some of the fields.
I don't know if they're going to take this or not. Okay, they are. I was kind of curious. It just depended on the vehicle situation, I suppose, as well, and what they thought that, the rotation paths might look like. They could have swung wide east. We can see that. They don't know that.
This is good research, though, because most people do go into these hills. They know the fact that using the trenches to get around is going to mean that there is just a plethora of teams. Instead, leapfrog over them, and you are jumping in blind, but you can at least come in with a little bit more safety. So if you read it right, you jump in late. You're also going to maybe be jumping right on top of a duo split from the Freaks. E-Arena, though, kind of watching the Freaks regroup. The timing for this could be terrible for the Falcons. Right as the Freaks are running into this, everybody's going to be trying to get involved. They do manage to make landfall with at least 2 of their players, but 2 casualties already down.
Yeah, they just gambled here a little bit. Thought, oh my God, kickstart though. And Tingleton, they've got 2 players down. Salute able to respond, but it's a flush on the DL.
Can't go for the flushes yet on to take. It means it kicks last one up. Is he going to opt for the res? Is he going to opt for defense? Blue zone's being doubled up. That's going to be problems for Tig. Going to be a lot of damage, and I don't think, he does manage to crawl away from it, and Kickstart manages to get away too. Externally from this, we have BB that's taking long-range shots onto the Freaks in Falcons boat.
It's got to be so annoying for the Freaks. You were just trying to group up as 4, and you get landed on by one of the best teams in the lobby right now. Kick hanging on by a thread, chewed through all of his blue zone bag with those blue zone nades that were there, throws a prayer, doesn't really connect. Meanwhile, FN is just destroying T5, finds a couple of their players trailing.
Good split. Kickstart still up on top. Shotguns coming out from the Freaks in low ground. Falcons a second earlier, and they might not have had to deal with this the way that they're having to deal with it. Heaven just doesn't even care, man. He's using the smokes. He's just pushing through. He's seeing if he can hear anything around him. Flashes now coming out for Kickstart right on top of him. Does he even know where the approach is coming from? He's gone as high up as you can get, and the Freak's a bit scared to go up that stairwell.
The timing, if they could find another stun to land up there, they could probably just get Heaven up here. He's going to do it himself. Not
BB.
Yeah, BB's keeping him pinned.
They're actually roaming around the outside. Doozy's going to get punishment from Na'Vi as well as E-Arena. That might open up more, but everybody from BB, they're going for the crash. Bill first a bit sideways, going to slow down. He has to be careful. Kickstart being the catalyst for BB coming after this.
Yeah, Doozy there took a bunch of damage coming into the the house on the other side. Guman trying to track him down a little bit, and Baduzzi's going to throw a grenade out, try to catch him, trying to go around the corner. So far, hasn't been able to do much with it. Guman keeping himself safe, but Maladoc knows that they're out there and they're trying to get to him.
This is so well read for BB with the wrap around into the northern section on the approach for the compound. Freaks in so much trouble. They really can't regroup. They were all on the hunt. They wanted to take down Kickstart so fast. Instead, he's still clinging to life on top of all of this.
Yeah, stuns are coming through. The Freaks are getting collapsed on, though. Xiaowu is going to claim Duck Juice out by Godok. Meanwhile, a stall to try to keep them outside, and so far so good. Amali as well to block this corner.
Salute and Human, the last one's up as BB is coming with authority, and they know exactly where another member for the Freaks is at. He's just got to run. BB, I love this from them. This early push was just so beautifully executed. So much information, and the Freaks just were not expecting it.
No. This is, you know, again, kind of the chaos of a lobby like this, where if you're just a hair late to rotate, as the Freaks were, then the Falcons capitalize. They jump in. They feel like, okay, we know they're probably 2-2 with, we can see those cars driving in. Let's try to punish it. Didn't go great for the Falcons. Didn't go great for the Freaks. And BB's just opportunistic as hell. They're like, yeah, let's do it, man.
Up to the north, Namiga's got their 2 members still up. They've got to get in the circle, but Azla's going to be gatekeeping them out. Twisted going to be to the east of them. Eyes on the circle. Red Zone's the only member for Azla that's gotten inside the circle yet. T1 to the south of that. Of course, we've got our southern compound where it's got Kickstart as well as BB and the Freaks. The Expendables have to get out of their position, so they're getting closer by the moment. Oh, a con! Good timing on that.
That is so nice. The fact that he has the presence of mind to get out of the BRDM before the Panzer shot's gonna hit. He sensed it coming. That's some great reflexes there for the old man.
A bit nervous on that one, I would say. Probably a bit shaky afterwards. Being like, oh, did it work? I can't believe that happened. Inside Godok, it's going to get pretty bad. We've got T5 remnants over there, 17, as well as Delawin still trapped. The Expendables have managed to get most of their players away. To the north, though, that's where I still keep drawing my eyes. Evan Pochon's been finding a ton of crates. And Begapa.
Levante with a VSS? They've showed up. They came out so late from the airport after that revive. There goes Salute. As the Freaks are starting to feel the pressure building.
Twisted has no idea that Levante's probably over there. Example could be in a lot of trouble. Back in on the Freaks. Just human up. Slowly Salute crawls over to him, but the other members for BB coming after this. Navi. Ferris looked like he was thinking about getting in, but instead he's going to stop. Human just doing a good job on staying alive, but he runs out of smokes, and that's going to be all she wrote. BB gets control of the compound, kind of.
Good enough. I mean, Kick should be, you would think, easier to deal with. We'll just have to wait and see. The crash here for Begapa. Glaz trying to hold the line against Twisted Minds. And there's a lot of fighting taking place across many different parts of the map. Begapa doesn't like this. That's the beauty of having a BRDM there. You can take a peek at a fight, see what's going on, and if you don't like it, you don't have to commit.
Yeah, but there was a pretty big commit from Begapa. They lost a lot for that. A little bit of scouting. Twisted Minds, they want this game, and Azla, again, going to be the squad that they're right next to. Kickstart on top, finally going to go down. Circle does go to the south, so full sense in the center. That is scary for everybody. Falcons down means it is a 9-point lead on third place for VP, while Full Sense has got it all.
Oh, Full Sense is, as long as they don't let anybody get too close, they can just kind of force everybody to fight on the edges. That might just happen anyway. Explosions galore. Star-Lord finds a Panzer into Fluky. That is going to take T5 out. As Example almost has the knock, and he knows it, but Phase 5 Blue chunking mightily there for him. Howell on the outside, but Batulins and VP now getting involved.
VP were chasing this. Hell am I bad to the north. Got 2 players up on both sides. Well, I say that Example now goes down. That means Batulin's the last one alive. There's a red zone going to be creeping right into VP's sight lines, and it is just the dominoes falling everywhere. Red zone, though, doesn't go down quietly. Down to 2 HP. At least takes somebody with him.
Yeah, just a horrible fight there for both Twisted and Azla. They were trading back and forth for so long, so now Batulin's into sneaky man mode to try to survive.
I mean, Twisted and Azla are just each other's kryptonite right now. There is just nothing that they can get without bumping into each other, and then they just in this entangled mess. The Expendables right along Godok. They've got F and Pochon right on top of them. They got to fight their ways out. Glorious is going to go down. Tanvu's still alive now. At least knows where Rex is, but this is phase 5 and peeking into, what is it, 3 people still up for FN. That is scary hard work.
Yeah, all Tanvu can really do here is just try to wait this out and catch FN by surprise, which he might do. Grenade is out. Breakers only takes a little bit of damage, though. That grenade almost gets Rex. He goes down to 1 HP, so the blue is going to find the knock onto him. So the timing, therefore, Tanvu does work out.
Oh. Tanvu on this flank position could be big as VP is coming up. Other side of FN Pochon. Tries to, stabs, but does go down. So Tanvu eliminated. FN Pochon in some trouble as VP on the hunt. The polar bears are running wild over here.
Absolutely. They are all over the map, and this is VP at their best when they're on the move, when they're on the hunt. Breakers able to slip the net as VP has cast their net in a different direction. EA fanning out over on this western edge. Just going to cut the middle of the circle right through. Nurens sees Beamy. Breakers wants a little bit of revenge here, but can't get the spray to go, and he's going to pay the price.
Yeah, Beamy just spins that back around and punishes it. FN Pochon is eliminated. VP's in a much better spot now. To the northeast, it's going to be T1. Full Sense has been drawing a lot of their attention right now. To the south, of course, it is BP. And all Full Sense. Beamy down. VP should be able to get that back. Arena can't go for him.
We saw it yesterday with Tanadol. Give him the AWM, and he's good for it. And he is connecting again. Puts that boomstick to use. And here you go. And a very FS flavored circle. Has been for a couple. T1.
Oh,
they could hit the weak side of VP here, absolutely.
The timing is going to be hard, though, because that could unlock Arena also collapse. Arena doesn't have a lot of cover to play with right now. Nixie's just trying to shoo away T1. A couple of shots are at least going to discourage sideline on this one. It's going to be Thanadol again. Gets the headshot onto EN, and there is nowhere for T1 to go. They are pinched. Hello My Bad is still back behind them as well.
What in the world? Hello My Bad. It's still alive somehow, some way. Trying to get a vehicle back here, but this is a little bit dangerous. Smokes are down already, so the res could come through, but hello My Bad.
T1 running around up here has drawn the attention of everyone. BB and Navi are getting closer and closer to the circle by the second. T1, if they can get good vision on this, they spot out Corexi, goes for the shot, does get the knock. Nixie spins it back around, got the nade prepped, but I don't think they know exactly where T1 is.
Good response, though. VP has figured out which tree Raining is behind, the blue as well. Going to make matters much more difficult for him. The flush is there onto Corexi. T1 needs to get going.
VP just clustering up to 74 points in second place. Full Sense 79, middle of the circle. T1 68. Still got 4 players up and alive, and they want to pick off everybody on VP. Beamy in a lot of trouble, as now Full Sense has got Belmoth and Tigger both out of the circle, hunting down T1.
They've left Flash by himself dead center, figuring he could figure it out. A longtime veteran going to be called upon as we are starting to hemorrhage players for T1. Look at this. Look at all this gear they have, too. An MG3 as well for Tanadol.
But hello, My Bad. He sneak up back behind Full Sense. This is an opportunity for him. Arena's got control over the circle. T1 in tatters. Nowhere that they can really go. Arena one side and Full Sense on the other. Looks like they're going to make a commitment maybe onto the side that Full Sense is coming from because they're not giving him an option. Full Sense is like, you deal with us or you die.
They got to fight, and those are some decent grenades to at least give themselves some breathing room. And hello, My Bad, not interested in doing anything but surviving. Wants as many extra points as he can find. He's just chilling. Let these guys beat each other up. Arena, I'm a bit surprised they're not being a little more proactive here. They've been given a lot of space, and there's been so much noise being made, but they're just chill. Oh my God! No!
The timing on that is terrible. Full Sense knows exactly who they're fighting. The nade comes out. Full Sense getting it all. Navi though, they're actually gonna roll right over here next to Hello My Bad. Run right up in front of him, and it looks like they're trying to backstep Full Sense and not let them get circle control back.
They didn't see him. Here we go. Sosa all of a sudden pays the price. Hello My Bad doing it. The sneaky snake gets caught out by Extends, and he gets prone.
Navi goes for the hero play to take control over the circle, but hello, My Bad. The villains from the final stage coming up big. E-Arena's got it all. They've got the circle and eyes on everything that moves.
Yeah, Full Sense went for the kills. Might have conceded the win over to E-Arena, who knows, but you can deal with hello, My Bad cleanly here. It's going to be a fair and square 4-on-4. He's looking the wrong way. Should be dead. He did find a knock on the Belmoth. There he goes.
Hey, Full Sense with Belmont down. It's going to be E-Arena following in same path and using the exact same hillside. They've left Opons in the circle to keep control over it. It's just a matter of how fast can E-Arena get here.
They're getting there pretty quick. Yes, the res is there. First aid surely being put in as well for Belmont, but a little bit of time to kind of figure themselves out. But the problem is you've given E-Arena control of the edge of the circle, and they're going to fortify it with 3 players. Leave Opons to watch their flanks a bit. They just got to lock this down, but man, the way Full Sense has been playing, I'm not counting them out yet.
90 points, first place, 7 kills so far. E-Arena, 43 points and 1, but they've got the circle. To the north for Full Sense, it's going to be Tigger. To the south, it's going to be Flash. Flash spots up Lyrics, gets him down easy. That means that the full center defense is collapsing. Jacob now has to respond, shifts from that southern section, and now right up next to Nurens, but multiple players for Full Sense stacked up. Belmont and Tigger both starting to get some vision.
Yeah, you got 2 former teammates here, Nurens and Flash, squaring off against each other. So far, though, it's been a 1-for-1. E-Arena is going to lose a player, but Tigger does get knocked by a good grenade from Nurens. Jacob, just went a bit too far, had the read on the angle.
Belmont right on the other side of this. Waiting, trying to go for the res. Nades, does Jacob know how close they are? He has no idea. The other players for Full Sense, Flash, Thanadollar playing to the south, Opons holding them back on the angle, so they really can't go for too much more. The res has come out. Now it's just a matter of getting meds back situated. E-Arena disadvantaged with 3 players still alive, but it's just going to be the blue zone getting closer and closer by the second.
Yeah, and you still have all that level 3 gear from that drop that came in earlier. The supplies really in, Flash, but he's being watched by Opon, so this is not the end of the world at all for E-Arena just yet, but it makes the equation a little bit trickier in terms of those other 2 players because Flash could get an angle.
Full encroachment right on top of Jacob. He goes down. Full Sense starting to peak the top of the hill. Nurens very far to the north. This means that E-Arena is very separated. Full Sense knows it. Opons one side. They now know where Nurens is as well. Full Sense sending Flash even further to the south.
Yeah, this is really tough now. Nurens has to go absolutely crazy. Tough angle for that Panzer, though, to be honest. Yeah, he's not going to connect with it. A little bit of a hill there that's going to make it difficult. Belmont still looking to see if he can clean anything up. Opons throws the last grenade there. Does find the knock.
Everybody in this lobby right now hoping that E-Arena can do the nigh impossible. As Full Sense sends it in, Opons gets another. He's trying to hold it together, gets another knock, but finally Tigger gets one back. It is a 1v1 flushes coming out, but Tigger can't commit to too much more.
He's got to listen for these footsteps. Nurens knows he has to get a move on to prevent the reses. Here we go.
Peeks around the tree, both sides, of course. None other than Tigger at the end. Full Sense takes it all.
My, oh my, 2 wins here on day 2. This is crazy. Full Sense in Bangkok is making a statement today.
This is going to be crazy. This is going to give them a lead that is going to be really hard. This is our halfway point of the PGC Grand Finals. So these squads that have been slacking, not being able to find points, you can see it's starting to feel really desperate. E-Arena thought that they had that when they had so much circle control, but Full Sense, man, just nigh unstoppable.
That first knock where Lyrics didn't expect that angle, didn't understand the terrain and the positioning that were possible, that cost E-Arena dearly. They probably win that if they don't give that up.
See the mental toll starting to stack. Squads know it's getting harder and harder as Full Sense is just taking so much today.
They are in full force today. They are the best team in this lobby, and it's not even close, it feels like. They are just, their macro game is beautiful. Yes, a lot of circles going their way in this game, but it's way more than that.
Full Sense feels full PGC right now as this is getting everything ready for their next game.
Jo. Thailand ist ja am Rasieren, aber da. Wir sind ja crazy drauf.
Thailand is dominating because now Full Sense is in first place by a country
Ah.
mile. Thailand rocking it. Not only them, but also Arena finding themselves in a late game scenario against them as well. They're feeding off the crowd. The energy is palpable here in the arena.
For the second time today, the final two comes down to two tie teams, two crowd favorites, two in the end game, and for just a moment, that one comes down to a 1v1, and I thought E-Arena was gonna pull it out and do the flip from the last one, but Full Sense gets their third chicken dinner. That is crazy.
And we've played 9 games. It's 1/3 of all games they've won so far. Absolutely insane. I was so excited for Opons though. That when they did a pull up on him, they had 1 kill prior to this. They did a pull up. They were like, okay, Opons, he turned it around. He got 2 of them. It's huge. But this was a game of snakes, of course. There's a lot of solos that had huge impacts on teams that had 3 and 4 players alive. But in the end, when you're able to stay 4 guys strong with 6 kills up until this point here, Full Sense, man, looking absolutely unbeatable today.
Yeah.
Dieser Fight war absolut insane.
Opons in the very last moments as well. The crowd was going crazy at this moment.
Yes.
Crazy.
I mean, Opons even went up against double tier 3 stacks. Remember, Full Sense got an entire delivery directly to them in the middle of the circle, and he still almost pulled this out. But it's Full Sense. If they came here at Full Sense, they're 6 senses at this point because there's no stopping them. I was worried 2 games ago, James. I was like, oh man, I'm glad they didn't win that one because it would have been out of control.
You did say that.
Now here we stand with a 3rd chicken dinner, and not just that, a huge kill count behind it.
6 sense might be accurate. I mean, some of the circles, positions that they're finding themselves in towards some of the late games as well, they are finding the right spot at the right time, and they're leveraging correctly as well.
They are putting themselves in fantastic spot. But the thing is, like, when you have these circles, okay, you're realizing, okay, if we stay center here, we're going to get crushed. They're getting out, taking advantage of a great spot, making sure they're taking a angle of a circle where they can control that entire side. That's like absolutely perfectly executed from them.
I also think they are benefiting from an insane amount of edge play teams going into this day today. There was a ton of teams on the outside. They're getting a lot of space early with those moves and are able to sort of set up that balloon and hold their locations, and it's working really well.
They're the only team to get double digits from this one. 21 points for Full Sense. I wonder how many more times we're going to see this team in that position. This is wild, because again, like, them being able to attain number 1. All these other
21 Punkte. Das ist, glaube ich, die erste Lobby mit den meisten Punkten. Ich glaube, das letzte Mal waren es 19 total. Aber 21 top die Championships auf jeden Fall nochmal. Und
the rest is really close right now, but look at the gap as well. Also established it's 20 points now from 5 to 6.
Navi ist richtig am Abschmieren. Die haben heute nur 9 Punkte gemacht. In den 4 Games jetzt. Also richtig schwach gerade unterwegs. Leider. Gestern haben sie richtig abgesahnt. Und die Thailänder hier richtig am Liefern, am Rasieren mit Gillette. Aber hier, E-Arena hat jetzt 43 Punkte. Ja.
Let's take stock, because if Full Sense somehow drops the ball from here, with how good they've looked across 9 games.
I mean, if we're taking stock, I'm a day trader, I'm investing in Full Sense right now because these guys are making a massive rise. The fans are flooding the arena. It's like words getting out. The tie is doing, but like the seats are actually filling throughout the day as more fans are finding out. Oh my gosh, our team is stepping up. They're making moves. And I think that gas, they can hear them. They can hear the screams. That's going to fire you up.
For sure. I mean, honestly, the home turf advantage feels unsurmountable right now. And again, for me, this is a situation for them like, okay, they've had all the benefits of being at home, short travel to here, and they've been able to watch all the games and continue their grind. And you just come in like, this lobby is so easy, we're just going to be able to continue doing this. And the gap from 5th to 6th, like we're talking 6th place has only half the points that 1st place has right now. Like, and we're halfway through.
Yeah.
That is insane, and that's a huge lead. They're guaranteeing themselves 6-digit prize pool right now.
Being out here, watching the game as it's going on, I'm watching as Full Sense is getting these wins. All of them are standing up, cheering, getting hyped with the crowd as well. That's going to lean into an advantage for them, surely, here, live from Bangkok, Thailand, as we now get to Rondo, the 4th game of the day here, 10th overall as we
Rondo! Let's fucking go!
New map, new voices.
Hey.
Take over for the final 3 of the day here. Welcome everyone back to what has become a tie run at the top for championship here in Bangkok. Full Sense really showing up in numbers here, making late game practically every single game today.
Yeah, Full Sense is ridiculous. I mean, 46 placement points in 9 matches is obscene.
It's insane.
I haven't had a chance to go back and look through the numbers on this just yet, but I have a hard time believing that has been done ever before. Like the amount of, okay, let's call it what it is, circle luck a little bit to begin with, but also the fact that they're keeping 4 alive all the way to the late game and getting active very early on. What do you even do? I mean, they're rolling.
And I think that's the big the big factor that they've got going for them is that when you have a team that sits somewhat circle center for a long time, it can be difficult to maintain control of things all the way through. Whereas for these boys, they sure have done that. Pio took a bullet in the sky. Able to live with a wound, though, get into his vehicle, should be able to continue his journey south. They are as far south as can be in Full Sense. Well, we talked about them getting circles today, and this one is slap bang on top of them, too.
There it is. Look at that.
There's a narrative today, and we're following it.
They have, look, sometimes you're just the luckiest team in the lobby, but you got to do something with that fortune. And we'll see what Full Sense does with this one as they are playing out of Dancheng. You check in with Pio, who did take that bullet right in his behind on the way down. I believe that was one of the members from Virtus Pro that landed there. As we've seen Pio have some transportation issues so far.
It is not the first time we see vehicle shenanigans take place for Pio. He is rejoined with his teammates, though. Everyone in the car, I'm not sure he should be going driving, but you know what?
I was going to say, nobody asked him to move over, did they?
It's not a glider, Paul. We're going to be okay.
It's past the aux.
If this one takes off, it's not on purpose.
Whoever gets to ride past shotgun gets to DJ. That's the rule.
Fair.
All right, maybe that's all they wanted. They just wanted to play some tunes, man, some tunes. Well, I mean, all things considered, coming from the south side, now that they know exactly where VP is, obviously. Like, they could probably avoid that going forward. And the south side of the circle is pretty empty for the most part. So we'll see if they can make something of it as we check in with those stats from that last game. Goodness.
That's what's so scary about these boys, is that it used to be, I mean, back in the early day trade days, it was Thandal that was kind of doing the majority of the heavy lifting. But ever since Belmoth was put into a more aggressive role, he's stepping up, and in doing so has been helping enabling the players around him too. They're all delivering on all parameters. Flash has always been a great player. Taken now up there in the damage done as well. It's great to see that all these 4 boys contribute so hard on the damage factor here.
Yeah, 3 guys over 500 damage that last round.
Yep.
Only 1 that didn't, and we're not going to call them out because they still got the win, and they still all had significant amount of kills. Navi, they've... Well, you know, whatever the opposite of a blow-up is, that's kind of where we're at with them. And, you know, it doesn't help that we saw them just show out yesterday, had such a good day, and what was the narrative, right? After that was done, it was, can they keep it going? Can they do this? Because we've seen Navi do this before, where they just have a great performance, huge games, and then they just kind of fall away. And so far through 3, it's looking like the tradition is going to stay true, but they still got 3 games left to play.
History tends to repeat itself as we see the grand finals, top damage dealers, and it has 3 Full Sense players joined up there at the top. That is completely insane for a team that everyone was doubting coming in.
3 Leute von Full Sense, einfach MVP
what are they going to do? Everyone is going to be coming in warm. Well, I mean,
Jesus Christ.
points ahead of everyone else.
It's wild. It's wild.
I mean, look, yeah, you still got to perform, right? And boy, they have hit the ground running and ready to go. So we'll see what they do from center circle. FM Potion coming in as well. See Twisted Minds off to the north. We'll see what Twisted Minds Lou has to say about their performance so far.
Ну, в PUBG всегда бывают дни, в которых тебе везет, в которых нет. Плюс сегодня был тяжелый день для меня лично, потому что я накануне получил отравление. Завтра должно быть все лучше. Так что это все жизнь, тут бывает всякое. Еще 2 дня мы будем жить этими 2 днями, пытаться делать все возможное, чтобы победить. Не знаю, мы полны сил, особо их сегодня не потратили. Так что завтра, послезавтра посмотрим, что будет.
Getting to hear from Lou there, and of course, I mean, so many factors you filled in when you say, oh, land veterancy and whatnot. Can they handle things on stage? Well, can they handle things off stage? And oftentimes things that are way out of their control. Lou here talking about him having food poisoning yesterday. Factors that are just very hard to kind of filter in. What are we going to do if we have a player that is literally ill on stage?
Yeah, no, for sure. And there's been several teams that kind of run into issues with that so far this tournament, but everybody's having to fight through it. And yesterday it just happened to be Twisted Mind's turn. So we'll see if they can kind of find their footing. As definitely shocking to see them where they are currently sitting in the leaderboard.
Definitely. See some replays there. The previous match again, Full Sense in full control here. As they now spot T1, sat in 3rd place. If they can shut them down early or vice versa, could have big ramifications of that leaderboard, because I think everyone right now, I mean, is pretty sponged up. We don't have a lot of big gaps outside of the 5th down to 6th, but it's the one up on top. It's the one up on top that is the scary one right now. If they get to separate themselves even further coming into tomorrow, they're going to be playing with a lot of space to maneuver on that leaderboard.
For sure. That's why we're going to keep a very close eye on these final 3 games, guys. We want to make sure that we get that thing a little bit more tightened up there towards the top and give you as good a show as we can tomorrow, because right now Full Sense kind of running away with this thing, but a long way still left to go. As we see Namiga, after a nice game last game, trying to make their way a little bit closer towards center circle. They're going to see Navi on the high ground.
This is kind of interesting, though, because, okay, now they do get shutted. I was going to say we saw Hackatory earlier come up to this exact same position and just take a couple of shots into the air, see if there was any reaction. Amiga doing the same thing here, once again showing that Rondo, while there's a lot of places you can theoretically play from, there are also a select few that are just that much better to sit in than the others. So, Amiga this time around the 3rd team eyeing the compound that Navi's in control of.
Yeah, I got to make a decision here at some point.
Yeah.
It looks like. I think they realize that they're kind of in the middle of a sandwich and wanted to continue going down south. I guess there was a cross call. Yeah, they're just going to go ahead and make their way into the city itself, and looks like they're going to find a nice little spot here on the north side of Danching to play.
Yeah, we'll be able to sit tight for a bit. I say that, and then immediately thereafter,
there is no sitting tight.
Gets shot in the stomach. Fair enough. He's going to fall back into the building. I don't think they had a whole lot of loot going for them, so at least get a chance to get some more. I am seeing one of their players from Namiga out in the open, smoking himself off. Not sure if that's a follow-up from a vehicle getting flipped, or maybe stopping to scout and then trying to get back into his vehicle. But Amiga, for now, despite being somewhat safe, still under pressure.
We'll keep an eye on that. Freaks, meanwhile, big wide spread over in the northwest, but they might be having some company here soon. They're pulling up kind of behind Twisted Minds, but they've got 3rd on 5 Falcons also coming in from the north, and they're going to be looking for somewhere to play as Ferris now. Looks like the Expendables have managed to make their way into Navi's little split here on the south side. So how will the Navi boys react? You can see on the mini-map just off to the north, and it doesn't look like Duck Juice even knows that they're there.
No, I mean, I think they know that they're north of them, but I'm not sure if they're aware of Ferris' position. He's playing it very quiet right now, but I mean, let alone the fact that they sat with a 3X M249 tells me he's not planning on doing long-range tapping anytime soon. He is very much expecting someone at some point soon to come towards his compound, at which case, hopefully, they'll be ready, because he sure seems to be.
You see Delwyn starting to move around a little bit. He's got that bolty in hand, though, so that would suggest that he's still looking long range, not really looking to make a push up. And looks like Ferris might have got the call.
Yeah.
A little bit Froggy. So we'll see how close he gets. Freaks, meanwhile, are going to come into the western side of the city that is currently occupied by Namiga.
Yeah, Heaven, first one in. We'll get up on the roofs, as per his name, and see what he can see. And obviously, they wouldn't have heard the vehicles from Namiga come in here, but playing it very careful nonetheless. Smart on them. They have themselves a win already today, which booted them up the leaderboard. But yesterday, not exactly a day for them to write home about. So we'll see if they can get more going. Yes, we get an Eastern hardship. Fairest does get the reward for his patience here, finding duck juice as well.
3XM249. Who knew? That thing is a monster.
Oh, yeah.
And it will absolutely dispatch with duck juice. Now, Delwyn all by himself. You see Tanvu and the rest of the gang trying to get over here and see if they can pick him up or maybe provide him some support. And Navi shooting at him from range. 17 already had that E-pickup popped and ready to go, so they will be on the move. But where do you go, Toby? Do you even risk going over to the eastern side of the river at this point?
So there is a city, Aljadina, that we've never been to before. Today could be a cool day to go, but I think we're going to bounce back to Tuling. There's a lot more space over there, but you know what? If there is a time and a place for something big to happen, Grand Finals would be a good one at that. As 17 Gaming jumping in just over Full Sense, same time here. Twisted making their way towards Navi, so a lot of potential fights in the making.
Yeah, got to keep an eye on this one. Full Sense will defend their territory. Will get the first knock onto Xiaobei, but won't be able to get the flush, so good smokes already ready to go. Full Sense, though, we got to imagine, I don't know how split they are, but a lot of eyes on that compound there, but they're going to go ahead and go for the push. Belmoth will flush him out, and another knock will come in onto Xiaobei.
Yep, one down already. We're seeing more Thai teams pop off now as Hopons finds Beamy. That's down towards the southern side of the map. As again, I mean, just playing with absolutely no fear whatsoever. Aggressive plays coming up here, giving up on what is a pretty good compound on that southern side of Tuling.
Das Risiko des
play to
Fliegens.
try and take out 17.
Tell you what, man, it feels like they're not even, they're not overthinking it. They just absolutely are W-keying the 17. They're not worried about anybody pushing it from behind to take their compound. They want to get these kills, and that is the kind of confidence that these guys are rolling with. 7-7-0 will go down, and that's 17 eliminated in 16th place.
Absolutely no stopping Full Sense. We see teams usually on the final day with quote-unquote nothing to lose just go out, go aggressive, and see when they can make of it, and they tend to come out pretty well. Well, Full Sense playing the same mindset, but doing it way earlier and from the first place spot, incredibly aggressive and successful in doing so.
They're just farming right now, but you know, I think a lot of people or a lot of teams would look at that situation and say, oh, well, right now our compound is probably the best compound in the circle. We don't want to take the risk of going to push that because we know there's going to be another team. They just sent all four, and BB team, they're like, okay, you want to share Tulin with us, we'll turn our attention back over towards you here shortly.
It's a very Twisted Minds-esque play of just not wanting
Ja,
neighbors
die
to
suchen
be
sich aber auch
Twisted Minds
Spots
here. They go
aus.
flying on forward, quite literally. Blue might want to get out of that vehicle, it seems. Paul, the guys have taken control of it.
We got there eventually. And Hakatori will get the knock on Batulins from range, so Twisted Minds need to get in these compounds and get this fight going pretty quickly, but the Expendables are already pulled out. They're waiting to see the angles. Lou is going to go down as well, and now Twisted is down to just 2.
Yep, Hakatori not making things easy for Twisted Minds here. They're trying to take an aggressive fight to Expendables, but it's Navi that are racking up the knocks right now. Yep, Perfectix set forced to heal on up after that one. Finds Tanvu through the fire, through the window. We'll see how much more he's got in him.
Tanvu still alive for now. Clories and Delwyn just going on both sides, seeing if they can find the angles, but Perfectix, look at that nasty little flank he's got there. And Navi, they saw all this happening. They see it in the kill feed. They know they've got a couple of knocks, and they are going to make the push in. They'll get the knock onto Delwyn.
Navi, they know how that today has not been exactly what they wanted, so if you get a third-party opportunity like this, like you've seen,
gotta take it.
Gotta go for it. Gotta change up what has been a pretty forgetful day here.
Oh, Clories had to get on his horse there as Tanvu will go down. Clories plays the outside of the wall. Twisted Minds back up to 3 strong. Batulin's still bleeding out, but Lou is back on his feet. Perfectix playing around in this smoke. Clories just holding the line. Take that initial spray as Navi continues to just play from the hillside.
Not only is it a big fight between these three just to stay alive, but given the space that the victor of this fight will come out with on the northern side, the circle has swung back. It's actually going to be really big. First team is out of this 3-way fight. That's going to be Expendables falling in 15th.
And Navi now, they having a decision to make.
Yeah.
See if they stick around. It looks like they're going to hop into their vehicle and just dip on out, as they just don't want to stick around too long and probably not a bad call as FN Potion are starting to make their way in from the north side.
Yeah, I think they were starting to get shot, or at least they heard the vehicles coming from behind saying we cannot sit in this position with a team coming in from outside circle now as well.
Sure.
Simply too risky, so smart on Na'Vi to disengage, wrap around, and get inside the circle themselves.
They still had that same compound that they were playing from before, and they had already scouted out their next moves, so stick with that now, and you know what? Maybe, just maybe, FN Potion will push on to Twisted Minds, and we can go and do the same thing again. Well, on the south side, we still got Bagopon Falcons making their way in as T1's reigning. You see T1, they're holding the western coast, or western side of this circle, rather. Nobody pushing in from outside, but they've got freaks right in front of them.
And that's the issue right now, right? Because the southern side of the map looks so free, so available, but as you can see here, only really one place you can play from, and that's where Falcons have set up just now. They need to play it very careful, though. They know there's players inside the southern side of Tooling, but they also know they have a team on the backside. So if any one of those two pull up on them, you have to expect the third party is imminent.
Absolutely. Got to keep an eye on where Bagopod decides to go, and they might actually get drawn in to third party this. E-Arena and Virtus Pro battling amidst the cliffs on the riverside. Luca Rux, that anchor man, Beamy still has a few more grenades he can send over in that direction. But Bagopod start to get a little bit closer. They might start taking shots from range.
Exactly. It's E-Arena who's on the clock here right now, because VP know they're playing with their backs free, but with Bagopod creeping ever so much closer here. For a while, it was Jacob kind of holding the back, but right now no one on the E-Arena side is looking behind them.
They got to lay those smoke walls down, and they're going to actually start making pushes in here because they are getting shot at from behind. Nixie, with that high ground position, will keep forcing them to move from different angles. Meanwhile here, this is what we're waiting on. Bagopod sneaking up from the beach side. E-Arena's been sticking around here just a little bit too long. That smoke wall is going to go away pretty quick.
Bagopod might be taking too long in this, but I mean, for E-Arena, they're giving them a lot of time to work with. Norris trying to scare off VP. Beamy peeks underneath, finds the first one though. Nice little double peek come through there from Virtus Pro as he tries to run to safety and will be successful in doing so. But here comes Bagopod from behind.
Perfectly pinched, perfectly timed, and now E-Arena down to just 2 as they play in that valley. Virtus Pro, though, they've got to be careful as well. You see Corexi having a retreat back to the shelter of that hillside. And now it is on Bagopod. Pio, of course, is just going to push right in, but Opons is ready.
Yeah, missed timing on that one. No teammates nearby to try and help him out, so an easy flush, or knock at least, coming through the first round. Flush will be confirmed as well. Song Yang is going to get the knock in return, but as soon as he peeks over, so does Virtus Pro.
Oh, Lyrics down to next to nothing. Virtus Pro keeping E-Arena alive right now by the shots. There you go. Corexi will get the knock on a Songjang as Virtus Pro now in complete control.
I feel like this is Virtus Pro show. No, this is our points buffet. Get over here. Get out of here. These are
Get out of here.
Having said that, though, it seems like VP at the same time is also going to be backing off. They have a circle to play for, and I love the fact that Nixie is repositioning, going west here, trying to play on the inside circle to give VP a place to go from.
Yeah, Bagopod was doing all that without the presence of a Khan as well, and it looks like Bagopod's just going to back off. But now Virtus Pro, you see Nixie with that new position, they'll clean up, and E-Arena will go down. 3 kills now for Virtus Pro, and they have a clear path into the next zone.
And Bagopod, they lose one. Get a, I was going to say a couple of points, but actually only one, where they lose Pio in doing so as well. Now a tricky south side Tooling to crash into. We're too late in the game for them to really be able to execute a wide wrap here. It will only be coastal if it could be, and they know now that there's an entire VP set, so that's not an option. You have to fight your way into this one, and it ain't going to be easy.
Well, while we were watching Virtus Pro and Bagopod and E-Arena, Twisted Minds kind of ruining FN Potion's game. They're down to just Starlord and Breakers. Twisted back up to full strength as Corexi and the rest of the Virtus Pro boys, well, they have not forgotten what Bagopod just did to them, and they will continue that fight as Falcons.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be Tickleton if he didn't have at least one mortar play, right?
Exactly. He's lining up in 192, trying to go for BP team, it would seem. Actually, no. Looking further west here, so towards Bagopod, but there's no which dip there, and they can't really get proper lines of sight of exactly where these Bagopod and VP players are positioned.
Just aim for the smokes. Hope for the best. Bagopod just going to keep laying down some concealment. Hope for they keep trying to make their way through. Songjang somehow survives that spray, and he will just go ahead and take off in the Dacia. as Akan will provide him some Overwatch cover.
I mean, for Virtus.pro, even if they don't get the kills, their mission has been successful. They're forcing them to go further west. They're enabling themselves a potential third-party situation. Issue is, they left one unnoticed, and that's Akan once again. Always so good in finding that first knock on off-angle positions. As shots comes over, but nothing connecting.
Slowest Panzerfaust. Still terrifying.
Yeah.
Virtus.pro still laying the shots down, laying the fire down. Nixie has a lot of damage so far, as we see the north side is going to have to come to a head here too, as well as Bagopod. There you go, extends. Will take down Rosita Jr. Nixie will take down Songjang, and it's down to just Guyon and Akon, as the smokes will keep them alive a little bit longer.
Takes and continue to rain Molotov fire down on all of them as well. They too have a circle to go from, and if they can get a third-party opportunity on the east and continue wrapping that way around, that ain't a bad opportunity for Falcons, as there's that mortar as close to Guyon. There it is. Without finding it, second one finds him though.
Oh, he thought that they would maybe hit different places, but Tinkleton landing on a dime, and yeah, exactly. Falcons have to make moves at this point if Full Sense is going to keep doing what they're doing, so they have to go and try to third-party this. They'll find Guyon, and now they will take down Bagopod in the end. It's going to be Shrimzy that takes out Akan, as Nixie will get taken down by H-Win. So Virtus.pro, you see Corexi and Lurix still alive.
Clean for Falcons and coming over on this side. Great understanding with no other options. Smart of them to set up a play of their own, as Na'Vi still 4 alive on that northern side, trying to take out T1 on their entry to the circle, and they find the first.
And he's pushing him right into Example, but Example's going to go down. Twisted Minds, though, will turn their attention back towards T1. They will take him out, as now Falcons trying to make the push into Virtus.pro, finish them off, but Virtus.pro, Lucarux getting the double knock to start things off, and there you go, VP will get eliminated. Falcons will try to reset, but Full Sense is hunting.
Exactly, Full Sense seeing all this happening in the kill feed. They know that they need to strike while Falcons are wounded. They see the smokes, but they're only now getting over the hilltop. Got to figure out exactly where they're positioned. Throwing a nade on over. Not going to find anyone with the first, but Belmont opens up and finds Strimsy immediately thereafter.
Kickstart will get back on his feet. H-Win laying down the smokes, as Flash tries to take the spray through those smokes. Will flush out Tig, but he'll have to retreat. Belmoth has taken a knock, so Full Sense kind of taking their making their way back over their Flash, just looking for something here.
Trying to back off now, get back towards the circle. They got one player knocked on the back lines, and I think it's smart on them to disengage. You have already wounded Falcons. You know they're down to just the 2. So get the res up on Belmoth, fall back into the circle, because you know you have space to play from.
Looked like an Amiga might be coming down as well there.
Yeah.
At least they sent Hello My Bad, but they had to stop down because they took a knock of their own. So we'll go and keep an eye on that fight while DN Freaks try to push into BB Team off of the knock of a doozy. Nice grenades coming in return to try to slow them down. The double blue zone will not catch a doozy. Yes, it will catch a doozy. Okay. So that is not going to be a resable player there for BB Team, and they'll just have to retreat.
And here comes the sweep from Na'Vi. They want to make space for themselves. They know they have Twisted on the northern side. Yeah, we'll wait with fighting them for now. Even if they're down the leaderboard, we know how dangerous they are. Out on the edge of the circle, instead they take their eyes south. Negatory finds one. Soset there to fight the second.
All right, Na'Vi starting to pick things up here, as they have all 4 alive, and they have a little bit of high ground to work with. Third party down onto BB is DNF. Trying to push through. Phil first, though, gets spotted out. Bestalosh has to be up close. Layosh actually going to be the one that gets Phil first. So Bestalosh and Molodov doing their best to stay alive here. Will get that knock on a salute, but the res comes through.
Yep, that nade inside building. There is Sat behind it, and the other container. Here comes Heaven trying to hold off the angle. Will be able to get the first one down. No one there to trade. Molodov, second too late to swing the corner.
All right, we'll slow things down in the smokes a little bit.
Oh, he's dead.
Yeah, he's done so. Okay, good Molotov from Deal, and that will be it for BB Team. But Na'Vi, they sense a weak DNF team. Let's see if they push all the way in, or if they just hold on to this high spot. This is a good spot for Na'Vi to hold on. I doubt we'll see them full 4-man crash it, right?
I mean, and for teams that needed something going here for various reasons, Na'Vi's still up on the top of the leaderboard, but doing nothing. So they Twisted, rock bottomed, also finding their footing here in the 4th game of the day. For Falcons as well, 5 kills thus far, only 2 up alive, but have a little bit of space to make their way on in.
Oh, Flash. Lay down the smokes. Try to get to the rest of the team. Full Sense. Already inside the zone, he's just kind of the trailing man. He was the one that was left behind to harass Falcons, but it looks like they're going to get pushed right into red zone. We'll get the knock onto H-Win as Hakatori now looking at Full Sense.
See here, Hagatory finds Flash. Not a whole lot of ammo left for them, so something to be considering as well. We waited for Hagatory. Will he be able to step up on a day 2? And while the first half of the day wasn't exactly impressive, bursting up towards that 700 damage marker now. And with Na'Vi still all 4 left alive, this could be a big game for them.
Kickstart. He's going to have to stop down. We'll see if he can stay alive here, but he's got Namiga in the low side, and I think they know he's there. Somebody spotted him, and yeah, you see the utility getting thrown over in this direction. We'll see how long he can survive as Na'Vi continues to hold court on the west. Twisted Minds wrapping around from the north. That might be Asla Pentagram's problem here very shortly.
Definitely. Twisted Minds, they know they have them set on this backside. They saw them in the backside of the smoke as well! What? But the deployable cover!
Was mit der Granat?
Sucking all the damage
Nee,
example. Flabbergasted, but they find him in the end.
They do get him eventually, and Red Zone will go down as well. So Twisted Minds starting to find their footing here in the second half of the day, but Full Sense is on the prowl once again, but nice spray from Perfectix will slow them.
And if there's a team you want to prevent from getting their thing going, that would be Twisted Minds, but just not enough space for Full Sense to try and make a play happen here. Belmoth down, I think that's the 3rd knock on him, so they gotta be quick if they want to have him back in it.
They do indeed, and Twisted Minds will actually just go ahead and let Full Sense go ahead and do that. They'll just keep on playing from the north now that the new circle has popped. Kickstart still alive. Namiga still playing from that low ground. Na'Vi took a knock, but they should be able to get him back while DNF still holding down those. Oh, there you go. Kickstart's done. The DN Freak still holding down the little office, temporary office buildings.
I think they found Kick. 2 teams were lobbing Nick
I believe so.
straight on that rock. As now Full Sense realizing there's nothing more to
Noch
come
5
from the
Teams
southern
sind
side. They'll go
in der
south.
Runde.
Twisted Minds will wrap up on the northern side. You can see the fans here hoping for a 3rd win of the day for Full Sense here, but this push might be too much for them to muster.
Wow.
I mean, Full Sense, they're still doing what they've been doing. 8 kills already.
Yep.
Let's see if they can get Flash back on his feet. As oh no, they're going to take another knock there. Perfectix now has an angle, so Twisted does have Overwatch over all of
Oh
this.
man,
Full
we are
Sense
unlucky.
should be able to at least get 2, probably get Flash back on his feet as well. But you see Namiga, they've got some small angle, and it looks like they might be. No, they can still get Flash up.
Oh, easier said than done. They're
There
going
it
to
is.
commit to it, but that's the headshot connected. Simply too many angles. And you know what? I mean, luckily for you, Thanadol gets to
Also
stay
die
alive.
ganze Lobby noch
Headshot
die
connected on him
schauen.
too. And luckily, wasn't hello my bad to
Okay.
find it. So able to get 2 inside
Full
circle.
Sense mit 2
But I
Losts.
think that's the important factor. Inside circle.
Also
And if it swings
2
anywhere east of Full Sense here,
Teammitglieder,
that's
sonst schauen wir
almost
weg.
top 3 guaranteed.
All right, Twisted Minds still have to make their way in, but they've got some room to play around with here on the north side. They've still got a couple of vehicles as well. The only problem I think they have to really worry about, aside from Full Sense, is Na'Vi. Na'Vi with that western side still has high ground, and you can see they're about the only ones that have that angle still. So we'll see what Twisted does.
I think what Twisted does is playing time here. Everyone's saying, can we just get 22 more seconds? We really want to see where that next circle goes, so if we can stay all 4 alive. Because at this point, everyone knows, if not exactly, then approximately with 10 meters off where everyone else is.
Like, just chill.
It's just
Please,
chill. Guys.
just
Truce,
chill.
truce. Hold your fire. We'll be fighting again in 5 seconds. Let's just see where the final circle takes us.
Be cool, be cool, be cool. All right, where is the circle? Will the circle be cool here?
Center.
As, oh, Tigger will drop down. And, yep, we do go dead center. So I think the only ones that really have to do much of anything is Full Sense. Na'Vi can still play on their high ground. Freaks will have to move from building to building. But we'll see if anybody's looking down at him, because right now Na'Vi and Twisted are just kind of taking long-range pot shots at each other.
Exactly. Freaks already with a win today, trying to see if they can get a second. Full Sense with 2 wins on the day, trying to make it a 3rd in 4 matches. Insane that we only have 2 victors come out here today, but especially at this caliber lobby.
It has been a day, to be sure. Well, Thanadol and Tigger looks like nobody is looking over in their direction, or at least none that have angles, and they're able to get inside the circle, and they've got a little ridge line to play, and they should be safe for the foreseeable. And it feels like this thing is just going to slow down for the time being, unless Freaks is... Okay, I thought Freaks might be trying to backfill Na'Vi, but Na'Vi left Sosed behind to make sure that that didn't happen. So I think Freaks will just go ahead and play it out in those buildings still.
We are a few seconds away from this becoming a big old utility brawl because everyone at this point is almost within utility range from one another. Issue is a lot of these teams inside Tooling has expended, if not all, then near all util they have available. So I can see now smokes being deployed, trying to get Na'Vi within nade range of Twisted Minds. With these circles closing in, there's only so much space they can spread out on. And first knock is going to be found. It's going to be Ferris finding Batulins.
Oh, that's a good follow-up grenade to get the flush as well. So Batu is taken down immediately.
Also manchmal die Granaten
DNF just trying to
bin immer wieder fasziniert davon, wie die
sitzen
und was für ein Granatnagel mal kommt. Absolut
Will continue with the happy feet, and this might be just Salute waiting for the best moment to strike.
I mean, all Freaks can do right now is try and keep Na'Vi up on that rock. They don't want them down, because if they get down here, Namiga can make plays. Four can creep closer. One nade could be the downfall of Na'Vi here. Can they somehow get out of this position? Hakatori down to blue already. They might just have to all four concede. They're trying to make it happen, but no! Deal with the triple comes through and gets a lot of points voted for DN Freaks.
War das eine Granate?
Fishing with dynamite works, and DNF will pick up 4.
Bro!
Over that one. Or 3 at least. Hakatori went down the blue, but Twisted Minds now in trouble as Tigger has found the angle, as Full Sense might be down to 2, but they are just as dangerous.
Full Sense top 4 in all matches here today. What a performance we've seen from the Thai first seed team. This one, though, far from one. 8 kills, a standard all trying to grab back towards that southern side. Has Tigger down there, but they're effectively fighting off entire teams on their own.
Twisted Minds, this high ground kind of working against him at this point as everybody's just looking up there. But good shots from Example will put him down. Nice shot from Heaven to take down Lou and deal. The rest of the boys still alive. Perfectix now the last one up for Twisted. Does he even risk going for that res? He does, as DNF will continue to around the grenade from Tigger, though, as Full Sense.
Also, ich finde aber manchmal, sorry, aber manchmal die Granaten machen gar keinen Sinn. Die war so weit weg von dem, der war hinter diesem Pillow.
It's a 1v1v1v1, and Full Sense will be the first one to take down as Twisted Minds down to 1. They're going to go down next as Heaven will he wants to try to stick this res, but he just can't do it yet. Looks like Levante might try to go for it. Salute as Namiga will win a nice spray from him. And that will be a huge win. Yeah, flex on him, son. You earned it.
Tough time for them yesterday, but they've been clawing back today now, making their way up towards the top half of the leaderboard. And for Twisted, for Na'Vi, we talked about so many teams needing to get things going here, able to do so.
Fantastic performance there, and what a crazy finish. One of the rare finishes that we see down there in that construction yard, it feels like, but so many different angles to play. The fact that Full Sense was able to keep those 2 guys alive and still collect so many points off of that just goes to show how in lockstep that team is right now. But in the end, you got to give a shout out to Namiga for getting a big win, get them right back in the conversation.
Coming in on that northern side of that position late on it as well. Tricky one for them to bring home. And then in the end game, when they're sat so close with so many top-notch teams all around them, being able to bring it home in the end is huge.
You see a lot of excited fans here for that Namiga win. Those guys got big smiles on their faces. It doesn't matter how bad the tournament has been so far. They are right back in it. Levante.
A brotherly love between friends.
Levante, I think that might have been headed over towards the Twisted Boys. But these guys know each other so well. But what a win for them, and what a win for Levante. And let's see what Erangel has to bring us here with only 2 games remaining.
So, die letzten 2 Games.
Will this bump up the confidence here for our team that was able to smash the last stage as they were able to get themselves that win over there? Now they find themselves a win here on Rondo. It was down to the wire once again. In fact, it was a 1v1v1v1.
It was. Legendary catchphrase from Toro himself. And coming down to tooling, I actually love the layout, how everything worked out. But the utility had such an impact again and again, because so many teams were crammed into these small ridges, small spaces where there's impossible tonight. There was a few clutches. We saw some foldable shields that saved.
That was insane.
If it wasn't for the
I lost my mind.
yeah, it was crazy. If it wasn't for the follow-up nade, I was like, well, that saved 2 lives.
Yeah.
I love this fight. This is a fun spot to see a fight.
Yes.
And while you talk about utility being so valuable, one of the reasons I love this area is it becomes way less effective when you're fighting on the side of a hill, right? So I like the teams were using that as a defensive tactic to make sure they could sort of take utility out of the fight. Ultimately, Bagopah charges in from behind. Pio, I think, a little too aggressive on that charge and tries to take it to BP, who gets away with a little bit extra, but not quite enough.
Obviously, having so much water in play, it's like, okay, if we can take one of the edges here, we will have our backfield and can find our way with that. I love how BP was trying to approach that, but I would say there's obviously, if it's a little 33 points starting, Twisted Minds here, but now this is a bit of a comeback. It's a bit of a resurgence for them. Is it too late, though? Deal. He handled that nade perfect.
He deals with them perfectly, right?
Yes.
I will say this, though. Somebody tell everyone that Full Sense is winning right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Every time. They're still alive.
Mate, when we had the circle shift go to the west, and then they were on the east side, got a little bit farther out, I'm like, okay, their only chance is to go south. They do take the option. They take shots a little bit preemptively and lose some people. If they hadn't have done that, I think they could have come in on the south side and won this game.
I mean, again, sure, they were in the center of the first circle. They had a good kind of home turf here, but still, the way that they set it up, the way that they got themselves into this top 4 here was massive. And it's a hard area to deal with if you're not kind of used to, okay, which is actually the best area of approach and kind of angle to get in, and where can we control the most? If there's still a team where Twisted Minds were that have that high ground control, it puts so much pressure on everyone else, but they eventually had to come down. So playing a little bit more safe and a little bit more approachable from that eastern side was obviously paying off.
You speak of Twisted Minds, of course. Take a look across all of these teams, and
They
that was a
popped
team
off,
that,
man. They did
yeah, exactly. I mean, the numbers didn't lie from group stage, right? 15.3 average. Then they got 11 points on the previous one from yesterday, and now even getting themselves almost double digits again, I think. But it seems that the crowd, aside from loving Thailand, they love Levante.
Those guys are supposed to be co-streaming right now. They got up. They're like, we're cheering for the boys.
They're just running out of the chairs and running in there.
19 points go the way of Amiga. And damn, actually, I didn't realize it was more than double digits.
19.
Really, for Twisted Minds. 17 alone. That is a much needed result for them, considering they were down towards the bottom.
33 points, as I said before. There's obviously a little jump up to 50. They're going to still be far away from that top 5, right? We were talking about a 20-point cutoff prior to this. And all the other teams are still getting points.
Oh,
Amiga,
my days.
with this win, obviously puts them closer to be within inside striking distance. But the lead that Full Sense has now, James, is insane.
It's a terrifying outlier here, Toffees.
Yes.
North of 30 points is stupid. They should not be this far ahead right now.
35 points to be exact.
Exactly.
Insane.
I didn't want to give an exact number because math no good, America. But
no,
the rest of these teams, I mean, so when you look at 77 down through 67, the chase pack in the 50s, all of that makes sense. That is what it should look like today.
It's 50 placement points,
It
which is the same as Twisted Minds
That's why I
total.
was gonna say, look at the totals. If Virtus Pro didn't just only frag out, they would actually be close. But let's just ignore Full Sense and celebrate how close. We have 4 teams within 5 points from second till 5th.
If you'd have removed Full Sense, you'd have been like, yeah, this looks like a normal scoreboard.
Here's the other problem. If they only had kills, they would be 6th. If they only had placement, they would be 8th, right? That is still wild to me that independently both of those stats are still dominating the bottom half of the board.
It's a terrifying prospect with only 2 games remaining today, 6 tomorrow as well. Full Sense is in full control. We're going to a break. When we return, 2 more games for today.
That was crazy.
Fueled by the same passion as esports athletes, Zowie continuously develops tailored products, empowering gamers to bring their best out. Today, we are launching the all-new XL2566X Plus, which uses the newly developed Fast TN panel and upgraded Diac2 technology. The new monitor series continue to evolve, refining details to ensure players can perform their best consistently in games.
Match. Match out.
and PUBG Mobile fans. Thanks to your passionate, unwavering support, we've been able to grow tremendously on the battlegrounds of PUBG and PUBG Mobile. To give back to our fans, even in a small way, and to present you with a brand new experience of the #1 Battle Royale, we are bringing together PUBG and PUBG Mobile and uniting them under one stage, PUBG United, launching in 2025. PUBG United's journey begins in Siam District, Bangkok, where the tournament will be held this November. Around Siam Paragon and across the city, you'll discover PUBG experiences that you can't take your eyes off. You can also experience the PUBG United Fan Zone, where you will find booths dedicated to PUBG and PGC, as well as PUBG Mobile and PMGC. There will also be special collaboration pop-ups with global brands. A variety of PUBG-themed events and hands-on activities are waiting for fans to enjoy to the fullest, so be ready. For online fans, a special website will open, bringing together every moment of PGC and PMGC so you can enjoy PUBG United anytime, anywhere. For the first time in esports history, PUBG Global Championship and PUBG Mobile Global Championship will unite on a single stage. Starting with a grand opening ceremony on a massive scale, each day brings new and exciting moments. With that energy building up, the intense grand finals of PGC and PMGC will come together for the first time in history on one united stage. On this one-of-a-kind stage, the world's top players will battle in back-to-back grand finals, offering an experience like never before. One world, two champions, coming together in a truly historic moment. November 24th to December 14th in Bangkok, Thailand. Come and experience PUBG United to the fullest. we will continue striving to be a PUBG and PUBG Mobile that never stops working hard for our fans. Thank you.
Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh.
Two matches left of the day here, but we have officially made it past the halfway point, and so far Full Sense seem to be uncatchable. Everyone is getting into the final end games, trying to take them down, but they still come away with a buckload of points. I don't know who has it in them right now. They're literally firing on all cylinders.
Look, they're farming. Like, it's absolutely obscene. And what they did in that last lobby, like we said, we talked about it in the game. Like, they were dead center circle. They had a compound that they could have just defended, and that's what we've seen multiple teams do. We saw Namiga do it in that game, where they just kind of stayed in one spot and wait for the game to play. But they took the initiative. They went out. They third-party fights. They started cleaning everything up. They didn't win, but they got 8 kills, 9 kills off of it. They got more placement points once again, but that's what you can do. That's the kind of pressure you can apply when you're confident, you're comfortable in your position overall on the leaderboard.
And you're saying the most dangerous thing here, they are as comfortable as can be. Everyone had their doubts on them coming in because of the whole direct invite to finals thing, and the fact that they're then coming in on home turf, having to impress the entire crowd, because they know what's going to happen if they don't. The Thai fans, as much as they cheer, they are ruthless as well at the same time, right? But they come in here and they act like there was never a shred of doubt that they were going to be up then first.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the question marks that were placed on Full Sense coming into this were warranted, right?
Oh,
like,
for sure.
All of these teams have been here playing through group stages. They played through, some of them through final stage, and then you wonder, okay, well, these guys are coming in, and now they're coming into these other teams that have been playing. They're warmed up. They're ready to go. They know the lobby. They know all these other teams. They know who's hot right now. They know who's not. And then Full Sense just comes in, and it's like they were here from the get-go. It's absolutely insane.
Able to find a lot of success through the halfway point of the tournament. But of course, what one team can do in one half, well, theoretically, everyone else can do in the other. And while Full Sense have found a lot of success, we did see Twisted finally get into the late game, get points with it. We saw Na'Vi, while having a great start to yesterday, not doing a whole lot at the beginning of the day today, they too got into the end game. Freaks as well, with a win today, found top 3, won themselves one here again. They too are finding success. As Namiga also, I mean, the victors of this very final game, teams that needed things going, got things going in the previous one. Let's see if they can do it here on a Wrangle as well.
There you go. There's too many good teams in this lobby to call this one done just yet.
Oh, yeah.
Full Sense. They've got a lot of work still left to do here today and even tomorrow. As you see, everybody's excited. They're getting to see some of their favorite players on the screen.
Also, I mean, with how Full Sense is kind of separating themselves right now, we've seen a lobby play from behind with the current leader being ahead. I don't think we've seen a global stage where a team was this far up, so we might actually be reaching a point real soon where a team's going, okay, guys, so who's going to take one? Who's going to take one for the other 15 and just hunt him down? Because we need to do something to deal with these guys, or else we might as well not play tomorrow.
Tell you what, right now, BB Team and T1 getting a little bit close to each other. That is a very populous military island right now, honestly. That's 5 teams right on top of each other, and it looks like T1.
I think it's 6.
Is it
T1?
T1?
I can't count.
Yeah, I'm not sure who was the one taking shots at the other right there, but T1, they're going to get it. It looks like BB should be able to escape, and no harm, no
It's
foul. So we'll see where the circle decides to take us. As we also see third on 5 Namiga also up there towards South Georgia. And wouldn't you know it, 5 teams on Military Island. They might have known something that we didn't, Toby. Because that is where we are headed.
There is something.
Und die haben auch noch Zone auf Military Island. Alter, Alter.
Raw stats.
Raw
and
stats.
As of late, I mean, man, this patch has been the milli patch of milli patches that we've
Feels like
seen in competitive PUBG. So you know what? These guys, they put their money on both black and red and got rewarded.
Yeah, I do like my nummies. I like my numbers, and there's you get to see a little that winner chicken dinner percentage over there, sponsored, put together by Craft and AI and AWS, letting us know just how much of a shot everybody has based off of just a laundry list of stats and data, and it's one of my favorite things. And I've been having a lot of fun keeping track of it as we check in with Namiga after that big win. 9-kill win for them, Toby. That is, we were wondering about Namiga after last stage, right? Like, well, first of all, they ended up in last stage barely. I should remind everybody, it was only by a point or two, and then they just looked absolutely dominant inside that last stage. And through day one, it wasn't looking great, but now maybe start things going in the right direction.
Honestly, I feel like what we saw was them pulling opposite of Esla Pentagram. They looked so dominant through all of that. And where Pentagram struggled, they got confident over time. I feel like Namiga, they lost confidence over time. But with this win now, while it wasn't a big double-digit kill type game, still a chicken dinner, still, Levante getting to get up there and flex in front of his friends.
Not bad.
And, they did get 9 kills. True, you're not wrong. I take that back.
It's not double digits, but
exactly.
It's
Not even
very
double
close.
digits.
Not even double digits. What do we think?
No, but still, I mean, for them
Phone it in.
to get to jump out of their seats with the music playing and get happy with it. Let's see if they can get some repeat success here.
T1, you see, they are fully committed to a bridge camp, and oh no. Well, Falcons will be the first one across the bridge. Hasn't been a great day for them so far, but they've been doing enough to stay in the top 5 as they make their way through. And I don't know if Kickstart spotted something or if maybe T1 just playing it real close to the vest right here. And oh no, that is a stop down. Can they pull away? They do have expendables on the other side as well. Okay, the first shots, and now Falcons know what's going on.
I was going to say, Type is playing with a bolt from up here. I think that's why he was so hesitant to start shooting. His teammates weren't in a position to help him out probably either. But here they come running on forward. They still have expendables on the bridge as well behind them. Nice underneath angle there from Ian to come assist though.
Gets about 50 damage in, and as you said, it's a question of when those expendables start to get a little bit more active. As H-Win, they're shooting the toesies there of Type, but Raining will win the 1v1 on the scaffolding. So Tickleton putting Type back on the makes him retreat once again as H-Win will get flushed out. Kickstart having to come back and return. And the expendables, they're still over here. Yeah, there you go. Delwyn starting to run out there. They know what's up. They know something's going on. Nice spray from Tig will take down Type in the end.
Exactly. Tig able to maintain a bit of space here, finding one on one side, but with expendables creeping in from the other. Gotta be swift about dealing with the first pressure now. Shots being fired from expendables, and Falcons realizing, oh wait, we're sandwiched.
Oh, through the stairs, not gonna be enough. Shrimsy trying to keep his happy feet going. Tickleton will be able to heal up a little bit and provide some support as Shrimsy gets the knock onto EN. Raining still playing on the low side, looking for that angle. He might spot him.
I was gonna say, I mean, I wish you could give more constructive feedback, but Kick's gotta do something. He's the only one with an off angle that can actually spot people at a side, but he too is being dealt with. Heather, nice awareness of him spotting one coming underneath, and Jake's just gotta call it. I gotta try and send a Hail Mary here. Gotta see if I can somehow get through this chaos, and well, for the time being, there is still one Falcon alive.
Just escaping. Fled the coop. Well, the expendables don't
Brückenchaos,
still up here. Tanvu looks like he might be on the way, but now this has been going on so long that 17 Gaming has arrived right behind the expendables. So I think T1, after losing 2 there, will just go ahead and retreat and try to survive as a duo.
It's a traffic jam of death on the Western Bridge. In the meantime,
when's the last time we've seen the bridge get that much?
And the irony
so
of it,
early
too,
on.
I think I've only seen a half team rotate from the Eastern Bridge thus far.
Oh, yeah.
But for anyone wondering, for anyone maybe not understanding the intricacies of what a situation like this, look at the plane path. Look at how many teams had a chance to loot east and also quickly rotate down towards the military island. That's the reason. The plane path and the plane path alone is the reason why we're seeing such a congested set of teams here on the west. And no one, because the teams that jumped east had to land, get vehicles, drive east, get loot, and took them long enough so they could avoid all that commotion. But for now, let's stay on Thailand here as we get an interview with Jacob.
Yay! And now we're with Jacob from E-Arena ตอนนี้เราก็อยู่กับ Jacob นั่นเองนะคะ วันนี้ต้องบอกว่าตอน Final Circle ตอนวงสุดท้ายอ่ะคือเราได้เจอกับ Full Sense ถึง 2 ครั้งเลยในวันนี้ แต่ว่าเราไม่สามารถปิดจบได้เนาะ ก็เลยอยากจะถามว่ามันเกิดข้อผิดพลาดอะไรตรงไหน แล้วมันมีอะไรที่เราเอากลับไปปรับปรุงบ้าง
ก็คิดว่าเป็นการสื่อสารครับผมจุดที่เราต้องเคลียร์มันจริงๆครับ
โอเคมีอะไรเพิ่มเติมอีกไหมเหมือนจะพูดไม่จบเมื่อกี้
อย่างเช่นแบบว่าขอบวงอะไรอย่างนี้ครับว่าแบบใครที่ดูก็ต้องดูให้เคลียร์ครับ
โอเคได้เลยนะคะ I just asked him that today he went up against Full Sense twice today in the final circle. So, but he couldn't close it. What went wrong for those final moments, and what can he take away from the fight? So he just saying like it's about the communications and it's about the position and the responsible about each members in the team. All right, so let's cheer for E-Arena. I think there are a lot of chances. ยังมีโอกาสเยอะสู้ต่อค่ะ Yay!
ขอบคุณครับ
Yay. Yep, E-Arena still have a shot, good a shot as anybody, really. 44 points sitting down there in 13th place, but one good turn will put them right back in it. Meanwhile, while that was going on, the Expendables have retreated over to the ferry pier, trying to get that revive station in action. But Theraton 5, look at that fluky from the skies. He's going to let the boys know that there is somebody trying to stick a res there.
Also, I love the fact that, I mean, with that Namiga win in the previous game, we're fixing potholes in the leaderboard right now. I mean, there was a big old jump from 5th down to 7th, or 5th, well, what was down to 6th place. But now Namiga's squeezing their way on in and mitigating that gap by a bit. It's only still at first down to 2nd. Yeah. Guys, all 15 teams of you gotta do something about Full Sense.
They do indeed. Well, T1 contributing to try to make that gap a little bit smaller, although they'd probably prefer not to, as they are down to a duo. We'll see how they make their way through this one. Meanwhile, 17 did come across that western bridge, and now Namiga there, third on 5 there. Whatever's left of the Expendables are still all crowding on the north side of that bridge as well. So we'll see how that plays out as we check in with Theraton 5 making their way in those hills.
It's still baffling to me. This is the 7th team coming towards that western bridge. And now finally we are starting to see some of those slow looting teams that opted to go east going towards the bridge as well. But this one is full on occupied, boys. Xiao Wu, though, able to find Rosa. Can he get down behind the ridge line in time? No. Xiao Bei takes him out.
And meanwhile, while that's happening, Namiga has taken the fight with the Expendables. They find one knock to start things off. Tambu gets brought very, very low. You see Clory's still off in the distance. I think that Duckjuice was one of the returning members. You see Delwyn still in the skies. He's going over to the military island all by himself as Tambu will defend the push as best he can.
Trying to throw some smokes over towards the entrance to the roof. Trying to make some space for himself. You see Delwyn's actually flying back now, so while not being a direct impact in the fight, is going to be able to give in for a cross, and I was going to say it before, but I held it back. Full Sense sat on the western side in prime position. If this one swings west, they are going to be blessed with it, and indeed, they have been once more.
That's a nasty little spray by Tambu, but he goes down in the end to the shots from Hello My Bad, followed by the Blue Zone grenade. Miga should be able to get Drox back up, but Clory's is still playing around over there. They do have to be careful. Delwyn has made landfall, and he will secure a weapon. But can he get a helmet to go along with that weapon? Right now he's sitting on a level 1 vest, and don't forget, third on 5 is still just kind of poking around on the outskirts here, just off to the north.
Uzi, Goldie in hand, trying to see what he can make of it. So we now have back to Clory, stood here. Only 2 shots available. Well, that's 2 knocks potentially, but he's going to need a bit more, as far as I can count it, Amiga has 3 players on their feet.
They still haven't gone for that res on the Gedrock, so that lets me know that Namiga does not have any idea where this last guy could be. And they are...
Well, they know he's in this building, but they are taking it very slow and trying to figure out which room he's in.
They are indeed, as...
That's going to help them a bit.
Oh, never mind. There we go. Okay. Oh, the double. A little bit short. As Delwyn has arrived, and he almost took him by surprise, but Levante with the quick turn will take him out, and now Delwyn will finish them off as Navi apparently is fighting Full Sense.
Yep, we're going over on the other side of the map. There's a Full Sense now, trying to fend off here against Navi. Navi rocking up on the hill up high. Successful in finding Belmoth here on entry. That'll Flash and Tigger trying to hold off against them.
Full Sense with that high ground. They've been saying there for a while, but Hackatory now has moved over to the shot. He's still got one shot left in it. Extends will provide the support, though, and that will be Navi. Although they are down to 2, they have knocked Full Sense down to just Tigger, and E-Arena has arrived.
Everybody hearing what's going on up here, and they want to try and take out both these teams. It's first and second place. If they can take out them both, a lot to fight for on the top of that leaderboard.
Big shots there from Lyric to finally take down Tigger, although he put Lauren so close. And Navi now, they're playing a little tower defense. E-Arena, they have to stop down and get this res, as the Pentagram have seen this.
Yep.
They're starting to look up in this direction. Yeah, Glaz already on his high horse. He's making his way up here.
Looking at the leaderboard right now, everyone realizing, wait, Full Sense out early? And then you go, this is our, wait, Navi, we're down to 2. Falcons down to 1 as well as Hackatory. You know what, I said they're down to 2, doesn't really matter. Hackatory counts for 3 when he has a good game going. Issue is there's an entire team of E-Arena now pulling up over this hillside.
They are indeed, and Extends has gone down, so Hackatory is all by himself, and he got down there just in time. Nice utility from E-Arena, and they will take down the Fragger in the end.
First place out, second place
3 Punkte
out,
gemacht für
third
Navi.
place down to 1, and T5 and 5th in trouble as well. The mid-pack of the leaderboard, they are out for blood now.
And Asla Pentagram, while they were pushing up, E-Arena doing a good job of holding
Full
the line. They
Sense
get
auch
double
raus.
knocks, and that will
Sicher
slow
jetzt
them
erst.
down. We'll check back in with them later as
So.
Twisted Minds now is pushing into FN Potion, and okay, we're back to Asla versus E-Arena.
Let's see here, big E pickup coming in as well for VP. One of the teams in the top 5 still with all players left alive. Where are they going to jump in this? If they opt to collapse in this fight, that might end up being really, really fruitful. Are they actually going to go for it? I think they are. I think they are.
What a grenade from Opons. Puts it right on top of the red zone. And yep,
Huge.
there's the push from Virtus Pro from the skies. The Bear Force will land on top of the building, and they are ready to scrap.
Here they come up close immediately. Corexi finds the first one. Will be traded right thereafter, but Lugarux there to get the flush on one side. Lugarux finds the second as well. Just like that, E-Arena
Was für ein
down
Lack,
to
Junge.
a single player.
Kommst grad an mit dem Fallschirm und direkt 2 Leute genockt. Muss aber auch mega Lack haben, dass du nicht da vor der ganzen Lobby schon noch in der Luft geschossen wirst.
That grenade getting sent into pretty much nowhere. Nurin's just looking for anybody to take a shot there, and I think, yeah, they know exactly where he is now. They'll follow it up with a nice grenade, and that will be it for E-Arena. As Nick
Schon wieder einfach so eine kranke Granate, Mann.
Like this in between 2 teams
Au.
mid-fight and only lose 1, and with that also claim what could end up being a really, really good position should this next circle swing west. And then you look at the leaderboard, they're the only ones in top 5 with more than 2 alive. This might be the only chance they're gonna get to properly catch up to the teams ahead of them.
Well, don't look now, but Namiga, after getting that big win last game, they've already got 5 kills.
Yeah.
And they are full strength trying to make that push up into Virtus Pro as we cut back to FN Potion as, nice spray from Rex will take down Example.
Able to find one, but Tulins and Lou, not a whole lot they can do and try and fortify this position. Gotta call it quits and try and maneuver their way around Issue is. I mean, as great as Twisted Minds are wrapping around Issue's circle, where in the world do you go when you're coming in the northeast here? Are you falling into military base? I mean, they're waiting for the next circle, obviously. No reason to commit military base if it's not going there, but even just for like a break spot going, where can we actually breathe to try and make that next play happen? You can see as soon as they get out of the cars, once again, Pochon there to shoot at him.
Yeah, the problem is they got Potion up to the north, and now Bagopa is also hovering around. They're cruising like sharks on these hills, looking to see if they can spot out the angle as Gedrock will spot out Nixie. There he goes. It took him the whole magazine, but he got him in the end.
Got him in the end, but might not have been fast enough. Lugarux beaming out, both running down to try and get Nixie back on his feet. Not going to happen, though. He is going to bleed out. Doesn't change the fact that VP have both their players outside of the building.
And Beamy, though, he's going to sneak from behind. Gets Hallow My Bad, almost gets Gedrox as well, as he will continue sending those flashes over. It's a two-man push, wrapping around Amiga in a little bit of trouble here.
Circle does swing east, so good on Twisted for waiting. You can see their brain icons on the very outskirts of the map, able to get themselves a beneficial position inside the military base, probably if they opt to go for it. Meanwhile, VP, of course, seeing this as well, they are going to send it down this hillside and probably try and get into the craters as well.
Don't blame him for dipping on that. It has been a proper hullabaloo up on the top of this hillside, as VP will just have to send it in, and all eyes will see. Oh no, that's not where you want to hit the slide. That's not where you want to hit the fence. And okay, well, GG.
I like the idea that they got extra cover from the slide, but they were a bit too slow in getting back up on four wheels again.
Lost a little bit of the old momentum there, as Levante will get taken down by 7700. So 17 starting to make their way down from the north here. And oh, look at that, an Amiga just like that. Asla Pentagram coming in at the right time. And Twisted Minds, well, they tried to go somewhere, but X-Grozit was all on top of it.
I'm telling you, the mid-pack and the bottom of the leaderboard, this is your chance. Top 3 out early. Top 5, only 3 players up in total. So for Freaks, I mean, who were rock bottom of the leaderboard, they now have a chance to really make something happen here. Almost got themselves 2 wins, so they have one, second place in the other, and now the chance to make it yet another big one.
Well, you talked about Full Sense.
Yeah.
They were getting great position, great circle fortune, but they made something of it. They collected a ton of kills and shot up the leaderboard. Well, now these teams in that same boat. They've got great position. They've managed to make it to the late game, 29 alive. What can you do to put your footprint on this leaderboard and start climbing? As we see 17 still playing from outside the zone. FN Pochon still on the northern side, on the other side, the eastern side of the road, rather. So 17 have a lot of room to kind of maneuver around here. But where do you go, Toby?
That's it, right? That's
the new zone is
it's cut off so perfectly to make this decision. Like, you can't go anywhere in circle and scout forward. Well, technically you can, because the south side of the crossroad compound is free. They don't know that yet. If they actually scout and commit to know, they're going to send it.
Yeah,
are they going forward?
They were driving past it.
What a read!
Yeah, I mean,
what a clutch read.
I feel like they've been scouting it. They drove past it a couple of times there just to see if they got shot at, and nobody shot at them. So full send. Let's do it.
Also, if you have vehicles in that compound, they're gonna be on the western side of the building, and since they weren't on, all doors closed. Great read by 17 to, again, I mean, they're not planning on staying here, of course, unless if the circles go there, but a great spot to stop and scout from.
Asla Pentagram brought back Glaz, and we'll see where he decides to go, because there's just not a whole lot of real estate for him to try to play. And yeah, he's already been spotted by Heaven, I imagine. Third on 5, third on 5 looking over there, as well as Glaz doing some parachute tricks right now, seeing if they...
He got the circle.
He got the circle.
And according to the observers from before, you can go up to the billboard and you can see stuff, but nope, never mind, that's not gonna matter. Glass taken out midair by Cumin. We'll see now if they can make more of it. Freaks, they have south side control, but not an easy spot to play out of when this circle starts closing on in.
Ooh, at least they
need to make space, and they're doing so really effectively right now.
Yeah, I mean, at least they got Heather in there, and look at this now, FN Pochon and 17 going for the same kind of pathing. FN Pochon will stop down at least and let 17 be the first ones to go, and that might be something that 17 ends up regretting here, because FN still has that high ground.
You can see they're smoking off the inside here and then looking up towards the hill. They know that there's a team behind them. That's what I was wondering. Are they aware that they've just driven past FN Pochon, but with how they're smoking, getting out of the backside of the car, they're looking uphill immediately, I would expect that they do know issue is. They're putting themselves in a very awkward position here.
I think Heather,
he's in trouble.
Heather got the knock on a 7700, and he's like, oh wait, there's a lot more guys over there than I thought there were. I'm in danger. Zenith still, I mean, they're still looking down there. They're looking over at Freaks though. FN Pochon haven't even really kind of looked down towards 17. I think 17, they realize they've got to make a move now, and Heather has that grenade prepped and ready to go. Will he drop it in time? He will, but they will move out of the way just in time.
Able to find him. Seeing it, still with 2 shots left. The links find 7-7 over, but immediately shot it in return. That's Bagopal. Haven't had a whole lot of action this game thus far. 0 kills for Bagopal, but with the circles, they've been creeping further and further inside, and now, and actually a very, very good split up on that northeastern side.
Yeah, I think Bagopal dropped and looted in Millie, if I'm not mistaken, and they've just kind of been playing around here since. They did explore up on the northern side on the hills a little earlier, but have since moved back in, and they've kind of taken over everything over by C Block and everything west. As Pio get that knock on the Xiao Wu, so 17 just kind of keeping their heads down for the time being.
Akan realizing we're not got plenty of space in this circle. Is going to whip out a mortar as well as Tick, who's been quiet for the last, what should we give him, 18 minutes?
Yeah, it's been a while.
He now starts peeking with his boldy out of this wizard tower.
Those shanties, those little guard towers, coming huge when you're a solo player. As push comes through, BB team, though, they will defend their territory. Star-Lord, the last player left alive for FM Pocheon.
That's a double bolt action defense line there as well. I mean, that is not easy to make happen. But Phil first and best of luck. Make do with what they've got. And able to find success with it too. They know exactly, I mean, they should at least know that there's one player inside this smoke still. So flash it on the backside, wrap around, Bullet Duck whipping a VSS out as well. Oh, no. No. They're in the same car! They saw it! Doozy jump scare there. We need a webcam reaction on a Doozy realizing he's sharing a vehicle with his opponent.
Oh, man.
That's amazing.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Let's try to survive as 17 will get eliminated in the end by Bagel-Pa. That'll be their first kill that they've managed to pick up, though. So Bagel-Pa, they have a lot of real estate up there to the north to play around. You still have Red Zone out in the blue zone. You still got Tiggleton playing from that western side. And BB team, they still got to find a place to go now.
Redstone has done absolutely nothing to make himself noticed. So BB can't fault them at all for not looking north at this point in the game as DN Freaks taking some shots at BB team, saying, guys, you can come into the circle, but please go over to Bagel-Pa because we like the space that we have here and we need to maintain it, and they're successful in doing so.
That was a nice defense there by Freaks, but it's going to put BB in a really tough position as a doozy will go down. Guyon will get Molodog, and now BB team, they are in a world of trouble. Bestalosh will have to stop down to heal up. A PO as the grenade. Is it going to be on time? It is, and Bestaloch will get flushed out.
Completely and utterly shut down on entry. Great job by Bagel-Pa, knowing exactly where the kind of threat points were in their lineup and saying, great, we need this type of positioning in order to take out these guys because they can only come in from exactly there. So good setup from Bagel-Pa as they love a mortar on over. Can they get Phil first with it? Nah, it's going to go way far.
Wow. A little misread on the distance there. Phil first, though.
Shoot this short, though. Okay.
Yeah,
like within 100 meters.
Yeah, that's really, really tight. We'll see.
Oh. I was going to say, I think you saw him. And indeed, Ranger exited.
Good night, sweet prince. They're on 5. Have complete control over the plains and everything down south. BB team, meanwhile, Phil first, the last one up. And this might just be a denial as Bagel-Pa will collect, I think, maybe 2 off of this.
First dates, and he can heal through phase 3, so stick around here for a bit. Hope that maybe Freaks and Bagel-Pa starts fighting.
I mean, Bagel-Pa, they've got no reason to do anything but sit here. It's phase 6, and we're down to our top 4. It's
we didn't have 8 teams rotate across the Western Bridge, and then we had a battalion of paratroopers flying up on the mountain. So you know what? I mean, this game has been. This game has been an Erangel.
It's been an Erangel military game.
It has.
What else can you say about it?
It has indeed.
Well, Pio getting a little antsy.
They really want to clear him out, but you gotta be patient. They've been patient the entire game. You cannot let that go now.
Yeah, got one more first aid, and then we'll see Phil first probably pop up, look around to see if there's anything he can shoot.
None of them are looking north right now.
Nobody's looking that
Are they expecting him to have crawled inside circle further towards the west? I think they were. Good on them that Phil first opens up, and he ran out of first aids, of course, so not a whole lot he can do will deny, and we're down to our top 3.
All right, Dunzo, it's 4v4v4 for the win. The circle does hug back down to the south, which is good news for pretty much everybody. 3rd on 5, obviously the best. They're sitting in the plains, but Bagel-Pa still has a route to make their way in. Now, Rossida Jr. has been sent up here, but he is all by himself. He needs to be careful about how he approaches this. Freaks, meanwhile, they could probably play over there around the oil platform. Yeah, the oil wells.
I mean, the game gave Bagel-Pa a 60% chance of winning, and T5 about 5% chance. Currently, T5 has 90% of the circle under their control. Having said that, though, I guess AI calculations are smarter than me, because Rostedt just ate a nade and then lobbed one at his own feet right after.
That is the one thing that Third on 5 did not want to have happen. And unfortunately, Rostedt will get spotted down, and Freak's actually going to take that opportunity to push in. They realize they're in a 4v3, but Exgrows it. Nice grenade to take down Heaven. Guman down to 8 HP. He's got to stop down. Everybody's damaged here. Deal going to go down as well. Guman, the last player left alive. No, Salute still up there off to the north. He hasn't been part of this push.
You could tell that Ranger X wanted to wrap into the blue and try and see if he can push them around the outside. I think that he's actually doing it right now, going into the smoke that they just threw to try and make space for themselves, but he's taking all of it, trying to make it around, but greedy forward and pays the prize.
Great awareness on the part of Guman. It was a heady play by Ranger X, but he doesn't get away with it, and now a Khan will spot out Exgrows it, and this is Begopa collapsing down. They've got everybody in a terrible position, but look at that, 7 kills for Freaks now, and they're back up to 3 strong.
Exactly, creeping ever so much further forward as Begopa finds yet another one. They had 1 kill when there were 14 players left alive in this match, and they've been finding almost everything ever since then. Salute now tries to keep them at bay. Gurion trying to reposition, reversing out into this one. What is he thinking?
4v3 to try to go for the win. PO has made that long wrap, and he has a grenade left in his pocket. Songjang playing the high side. Deal will find him, but PO will spot out Salute. So an instant trade coming through. But Begopa has 3 up, while DNF down to 2. Akan making the push will find Deal, but nice spray from Ewan will turn the tables.
1v2. Let's see if he can bring this one home. It's Korea versus Korea. Freaks already with a win today. Would love to make it one more, but Begopa sat here with the numbers advantage. The circle on their side as well. Not gonna make it easy for him. PO finds yet another flush. They're up to 9.
PO and Guyon, they have Guman pinned up against the blue.
Yeah.
He's going to try to drop some.
This is not a bad idea.
That is 3 of those. Okay, that's a lot of Doritos, my boy. He'll try to spot somebody out, but that blue is going to be moving pretty shortly, as they'll give him at least some cover to try to make his way in, but there's only so much he can do. I mean, they know exactly where he is.
I like the fact that Pierre is trying to get off angle here, but he's also running out in the open. Hey, fresh little freak here. Don't mind if I do.
Don't mind.
Let's see if he'll find himself an MK, because why not? Here in the end of things, do they know exactly which of these Doritos they have him sat behind? Seems like Pio does not. As I say that, he instantly just scopes into the soul of Guman, who is currently in the middle of fixing his helmet.
Yeah. Hey, man, respect the Guman.
Yeah.
This would be an easy scenario to just deny to blue, but he is going to fight this one out. 1v2. We'll see if he can pull off the miracle. Guyon. Again, I mean, Guyon and Pio, they're separated, right? They're going for multiple angles of fire. So if Guman catches one by surprise, turns it into a 1v1, he's still got a shot at this.
The thing is, if he peeks that left side of this Dorito, there's no way for Pio to counter peek. So this 1v1 between Guyon and him is going to be absolutely pivotal. Having said that, there's no good reason. They know exactly where he is. There's no good reason for either of them to be peeking right now. Just wait this one out. Pio is set on the dot. If he had util, he would have thrown it by now.
Yeah, nothing.
So you have the dot. Just don't peek him.
Yeah, nothing left in the bag really for either team in terms of offensive utility. They got a couple of flashbangs. That one Molotov, as Guman will just continue to hold down.
There you go.
Yeah, Begopa getting a little bit antsy. Guman will come around. That is a very, very dangerous play on the part of Guyon. Fortunately for him, Guman not going to be able to hit the shots, but now he's got something to free fire at.
I thought they were going to set up together, but no, they're going to split it a bit thinner. I said they had the dot. Now they have, well, the arrow through the other arrow and the dot. And this has just become a 1v2 peak battle against an MK with a level 2 helmet, and that's a headshot.
That is a headshot. And, that
and the circle.
Definitely slows your roll just a little bit. That is a tough peak battle to take on as Guman. Yeah, Pio going to get him low.
Yeah, deny.
Guyon try to heal up. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it off in time before that blue zone arrives. Yep, it's right on his heels. And Guman continues to play. Oh, there it is.
Oh my God.
That's all you need. And now it's Guman versus Guyon. He's going to have to pull out in the open. Guyon still has the US to hide behind, but Guman will run away. And there you go. Bagel will clutch it out in the end.
Was hat er jetzt noch gemacht? 1 gegen 2. Oh my God. Crazy.
That plays with confidence. confidence despite having his back not up against the wall, but deep in the blue. What an effort from Guman to try and make that play happen.
And man, Bagopop playing with fire there a little bit. That was very... that could have very easily been thrown in. And to be honest, the fact that they even sent the whole squad down there to the south in the plains to try to third party and get some more points off of that was a super aggressive play. But when you're sitting so low on the leaderboard, you need to get as many points as you can. And I think that's what a veteran like Pio knows.
Oh, you know what? I don't have to add anything because you said it right there. Veterancy showing you only have so many windows of opportunity, and they knew exactly what to do, when to do it, and they brought themselves home a great win here on Millie.
On Millie. So, ich muss mich schnell umziehen.
Annyeonghaseyo, Korea, as we get ourselves two teams in towards the very end of everything, and we have Bagopop feed them more because they need the points. They're hungry. They're gonna rock it up. They love the points.
This ambush was brutal. Okay, Falcons goes out to the Expendables in the very first moment of the game. They tried to do an early rotation. Expendables planned it out, hit the trap, and Tiggleton still did manage to salvage an impressive amount of points out of that game.
They got 4 kills total and 2 points from placement, so it's a 6-point salvage from Falcons in a situation where you only have one guy left alive, right? Huge salvage points here for Tig, and that's the reason why they're amongst the top teams.
Yeah, let's talk about Hill House, because Hill House got wild up here, right? We had Na'Vi versus Full Send with an attack from E-Arena as the third party. Then Asla starts to sneak up. And then, as Poro astutely called them, the Bear Force, VP from the sky shows up and claims it as themselves. That was a wild fight, but that was a symptom of there's just nowhere to go in this section.
And the sad thing was, it ended up being not very even close to where that all fight was. So all that fight for priority, Circle, it ended up being nowhere close.
No, absolutely not. No, we ended up in a far more brutal Circle location, middle of Sosnovka, runway, and it is so unbelievably flat.
This grenade is what changed the game forever, though. They had such a good spot. T5, I thought, was going to wrap this one up. That kill was perfect.
And imagine if this was the old runway where we didn't have all the dips and all the craters and everything. That would have been crazy. But DNF tried to make the best of it here, but Bagopop, and they locked this down. PO getting the Mark 14, and that crate cover in the center was huge.
I completely understand why Bagopop was slow rolling it. However, I need to talk to you guys about what Gumin could have done differently maybe here. What do you think, Toff, is regarding this?
All right, let's go together. What's the thing he could have done in that moment? He could have
blown up the car.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, I mean, what else are you going to do?
He had 25 seconds, right? You blow up the cover. It forces him to make a move. Throw a few flashbangs, potentially. Get a few. Could have been a knock. But Pio was ego peeking. He was
so out.
He was just out of there, just like, and then he absolutely put him down to his knees. It was beautiful. And at that point, you always cheer for the underdog. And my king, Gumin, I was cheering for him. I was hoping for DN Freaks to jump up in there and say, all right, we could actually potentially get close to the top there.
What's more PO than in the middle of a fight that happens to be perfectly mid-range, a box falls from heaven, he walks over, gets full T3s and MK14. Like, that was as PO as it gets.
All right, everybody else, cover me. I've got this. And then, as you say, the ego peak, I'm like, Gumin's pretty good at the game. I don't know about that. So, but yes, anyway, Bagopop does walk away with the win. You can see the happiness on their faces as well. They need a little bit of a bounce back here for the points to try and keep up with some of these teams, of course, towards the top.
Yeah, they're bottom 4 going into this one, obviously, so it's a huge price pool change when you start jumping up because our bottom pack is very, very tight, and 20 points for them is going to be massive.
35 just between the two Korean teams at the very top, because DM Freaks walks away with the 15 and Asla Pentagram with the cheeky 6. So you know what? They took quite a lot of points.
The majority of the points went to South Korea for this one here, James. I'm happy to see Asla Pentagram kind of get back to it after what we saw from Red Zone in the group stage, obviously.
Yeah.
We're hoping for them to come in a little bit harder than this, right?
I mean, Korea has 5 of the 16 teams in the lobby. Every game, majority of the points should be going to them, or at least a lion's share. They have started slow.
Spoil.
All right, well, because things are about to get a lot better. Check this out. Vegapop bobs up to 8. They're actually back in the race right now. T1 has been strong all day today, finding ways to find points. And DN Freaks, we talk about day 2 salute. They're actually putting numbers together and becoming that.
A blessing for the rest of the lobby that Full Sense dies early in this game. I thought they were going to survive for quite a while when that Circle 2 shift happened, because they were already from Primorsk, way on the west side of the island, and then we suddenly shift there.
And we talked about we were to be passing some judgment if we saw some of the Korean teams stay in the bottom 3, right?
Sure.
It's only as a Pentagram, and they actually didn't have that bad of a day. They actually stepped up a little bit. They had some decent games here, but Freaks, Vegapop stepped up, FN Pochon, they're all still in this kind of huge middle pack, right? Even Freaks now actually pretty decent with inside that striking distance. You want to get into that top 5 toughies.
I think
that's where the 6 digits hit.
100%. I think a big part of why we see that right side of the leaderboard climbing in this one is Full Sense went out. And the reason they went out is people saw them on top of that hill. And we saw E-Arena say, we've got to do this. We saw VP say, we got to do this. The problem is, all of those top teams died. So as it was literally of the top 5, it was just Tiggleton crawling through the grass, hoping to make something out of it. And I want to say this before we're done. Twisted Minds, this was their chance. Everyone's dead. They're rotating from the north. They got shot, I think it was by Asla Pentagram, and then turned into just driving around. I don't know what was going on. This is not my Twisted Minds.
No, I agree. Honestly, when it's kind of always us sitting there and we're like watching the games, like we don't want the leader to run away with it. And our 2nd to 5th place is actually extremely close. It's extremely exciting. We don't really want that leader to be winning by the end of today, right? If they win another game today, it's like, okay, they won it, just give them the trophy already.
Also, with Tiggleton getting those kills, an unusual phenomenon right now. All of our top 5 are 19 kills, 19 kills, 19 kills, 18 kills, 18 kills. So close is that kill leaderboard. With, I think it's Tigger at number 1. Tiggleton is on 19 as well alongside him. So it is unbelievably close on individual skill. And I guess it kind of goes back to they all want that Cayenne. If that team wins, you know that the kill leader is likely to be the MVP.
You know who didn't get too many kills today? Type, and I have it on my fantasy team. So it's a little bit sad for me. I'm cheering for T1. They've been crazy good today.
Type's just catching strays because he hit the team.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're doing all right. Anyway, it's the final game of the day. Erengel's on the way. Let's head over to Toby.
Letzte Runde für Tag 2.
Thank you, boys. Great breakdowns on the desk as always, and I too, Martin, have Type on my fantasy team. Maybe that's where you made your mistake of picking a player that Toby had. We all got to make those mistakes every now and again. And here we are, into a wrangle one more time. This time around, a not-so-Millie-esque plane. Not that that means we can't necessarily go there, because history would have written it differently, but one that is most definitely going to send more players towards the north this time around than what we saw in the previous game.
Spread the map out a little bit, although the west, west will be a little bit sparse, but nobody really goes over there past Gaka anyway to do any looting.
Yeah.
So, all things considered, not too terrible, but, man, I think it's helpful for the rest of the lobby and for us who are looking for a very entertaining tournament that Full Sense went down early last game. Maybe they could do us a solid and run that back because man, they have looked so good.
Expendables.
I know. Sorry, Full Sense fans. I don't.
We don't hate you. We just wanted to stay close.
I want to be entertained, man.
Exactly. And Expendables, well, they might be the ones to bring just that. They're set our current world champions, reigning world champions, seeing Full Sense fly just north of them. VP inside circle here as well. As this one's going to be, no doubt, an interesting one with 3 top teams, at least in terms of legacy, starting off this game right next to one another.
And the other part about this is this, we see circles go up here all the time, right? But a lot of the times they're a little bit more far south. And right off the bat, these teams are going to have to make that decision to cross the river, get up there. So it's already kind of compacting everything. And we're running into that right off the bat as the Expendables will send Delwyn, and Beamy is ready. And he'll take a few shots at Duck Shoes in the retreat.
Give me that red dot with my free extra bullet. See if I can get the guy out of the car. Not gonna happen, Beamy. Will suffice with just one, and a good warning that there was, in fact, an entire team pulling up in his position. And for full sense, of course, as well, they would have heard and seen both the knock and the flush. So they too know not just that there's two teams around, but two pretty dangerous ones at that in their nearby neighborhood.
Sure, and unfortunately for the Expendables, that is also most likely not going to be resable, because I don't see any reason why Virtus Pro would leave this position.
Yeah, no.
Dead center circle on this circle in particular. I think young Delwyn may be done for the day.
We're talking a very hard Western hard shift, plane crash-esque, in order for them to have any chance of going forward. Having said that, it was just Beamy. They are 3 with guns now. So there is a pull-up opportunity if they time it right to try and go back, take out Beamy, claim their teammate, and get the rest on up. Because obviously, I mean, when you're up against a team that has a player in that warehouse, you know that's a split team. One is going to be running around in Severny, probably not near his vehicle, and maybe, just maybe, Expendables looking to get a bit of revenge here.
They would have to be quick about it, and it looks like Tanvu has gone and joined at Duck Shoes.
Yeah.
And they're looking over in that area.
Have your map fever open, kids?
Yeah, have you?
We know, we know Akan is looting right now, but this could be big.
Yeah, make sure you have that open. Well, FN Pochon will take the E pickup. It's going to fly right over the heads of Beamy in that warehouse as well. So we'll see where FN decides to drop. I imagine Severny is probably looking fairly tasty, although Virtus Pro is already over there. And Full Sense still playing around Stallber, going for the high ground. No reason to really make their way any further west as of right now. And the Expendables don't look like they, I think they have pulled away from any thoughts of crashing back and retrieving their fallen teammate.
Yeah. Full Sense as well. You saw Belmoth there. Despite having the most damage done thus far in the Grand Finals, doesn't have a vest, helmet, any meds or anything. So that's what Stallber gives you sometimes. You gotta spend a bit more time getting properly looted on up. As we take a look at T1 and what they're expecting. I don't think they heard the shots early, but now they definitely do, of Expendables and VP up here.
Deal, the scouting man for DN Freaks, getting a little close to the Expendables. I also think he took some shots from Virtus Pro as well, so I think this is more scouting by feel than anything. And his other teammates taking shots on the south side from T1. Heather actually going to get the knock onto Guman, so that'll start things off here. Let's see if T1 actually decides to act on it. No, the rest of Freaks are just collapsing on that compound.
I don't mind a pull-up on Junkyard, but a phase 1 pull-up on Junkyard, with this many teams already active around you, I don't think you commit to that, especially not when you have no lean under control, which is, for those newcomers to the scene that might not know, the compound where T1 is currently positioned. Because way back in the day, way back in the
why do they call it no lean?
You couldn't lean there, huh? Just how it is.
There you go.
Dugger.
Well, 17. Little Ghost, unfortunately for him, will get a little close there. Shawu trying to escape. Rossida Jr. with the support of Rossida Jr. in the audience. Take those shots as T1 going to run right into the Expendables. They may not have wanted to pull up on Junkyard, but apparently they wanted to pull up on this, and they already got the knock on a Tanvu. Clory's now half health. Duck Shoes will get knocked. Is going to be the last player left alive here for the Expendables, and he's going to get spotted, and that's going to be it. 16th place for TE, our defending champions, down in 14th place.
I was gonna say, I feel like everyone is hunting Expendables, but they forget that it doesn't matter who the reigning world champion is. It's about who's potentially going to be the new one. And Expendables today, I mean, they're sat down in 14th place. They just have not been able to catch a break.
Nice little pull-up by T1 as well. They do lose one in the process, as looks like Freak's still trying to find somewhere to play from. No. Star-Lord had eyes on it. As a pentagram, meanwhile, they're going to pull on to this revive station. That's a duo from FN Pochon. The other two still off in the distance. Star-Lord and Rex not here. So Zenith defending by himself against the full push. Hammer. Red zone. He's going to play the wall. He's going to get spotted by Breakers as Glaz will take down Zenith.
All of the action happening here in the early game between the Korean teams trying to make space for themselves up in the north. How he spots Breakers, but due to the window position, can't quite get a good angle.
Also noch vor der Mauer explodiert.
Is coming back. He picked up his team. Are they coming back on a bike?
They sure are. And Breakers somehow, I mean, these are not great grenades here from Asla.
I mean,
they know exactly where he is, but they are just falling everywhere except for where they need to be. And now Rex has that high ground. Oh, spots Glass just in time.
And what they can't do with util, they might be able to do with nades. And
you've got a backboard.
With how poor those nades were thrown, because there were 3 of them, you have to imagine they think maybe he slipped back inside the shack without them seeing.
Maybe.
Because if they did know that he was there, there's like a dude perfect first try type throw.
Well, he doesn't look like he's looking inside the shed right now. I think they know where he is. But that's Breakers will have the opportunity to creepy crawl out of that corner before the final grenade comes in.
Hey,
that would have been perfect.
5 nades too late.
Yep. Well, what can you do?
Not a whole lot. In this case, Breakers gets to stay alive and go, oh, good thing I'm not there anymore. Roll on forward. And for Rex, throw Blue Zone over. Force them to reposition and try and see if you can still play with the upper hand here.
Okay. Keep an eye. Ooh.
He's crossing this.
Here we go. Nice throw. Oh, Rex, how do you get away with that? That is absolutely irresponsible. But now he is right in Pentagram's midst. As keeping eyes on the map, it looks like BB Team and Falcons are all starting to come over in this direction as well.
Yep.
Full Sense has eyes down on this too. So we got to be really careful and try to get this done as quickly as possible for both of these teams.
And big thing for both these teams too, having both taken casualties already. Not only are they fighting for this compound, but there is a rest station in the compound proper as well.
Exactly.
Whoever comes out victorious could potentially get their fallen players back up alive, but we are now starting to see the tracer fire from BB Team on that eastern side. These team realizing they're on the clock.
Well, that Panzerfaust Glass just waiting for somebody to show themselves how, though. I think Breakers realizes they got one guy pinned out.
Yeah.
And he's going to try to make a run, but now he hears the shots, he hears the engines of BB Team starting to make their way in as things have kind of slowed down here a little bit. But the only thing for BB Team, they may end up getting a fight in with Falcons instead over here just off to the east.
Falcons crept down the hillside, wanting to take shots at BB Team. Now they open up, spotting the last guy on the rotation, but not able to connect anything. So
Two-man
BB
push.
Staying alive here is Breakers. They got a cleared room by room. Howlers up above, finds the first one. It's going to be Rex. Actually, Rex from outside, able to get him.
Rex had the angle
What?
somehow. So he's going to get another one. Rex is on fire. He spots Hammer, and Pentagram will go down. Rex, what a play.
You have one set upstairs, spading all the attention as soon as they're on the staircase proper. Rex peeks from outside the window, takes them both down. What a great setup and execution there from Evan Pochon.
Heady play from FN Pochon.
Oh.
Now Full Sense trying to make their way down the hill. They're going to pull into BB Team and get that initial knock onto a doozy. The dip is now theirs, but Bestalosh still has an angle. We'll take the spray. We'll try to get some damage, but it's not going to do it.
You're not going to catch a first-place team like this on a rich line like this, out in the open this early too often. So make something of it here, BB Team. On behalf of the rest of the lobby, Flash first one to fall.
The smoke wall is going to go down. As the grenades keep falling, BB Team have to be quick about this, as there are a number of teams making rotation. You could see them on your minimap. Team 1, Navi, all looking over in this direction. As Full Sense, Tigger now down to half HP, has to pull back to heal up just a little bit. But now Raining is in range. Can that grenade be true? It's going to go under the car.
Taking one comes through as well, though it's going to bounce far as well. Had a triple kill written all over it. Not going to happen. Guyon, though, with no can. His life is going to blindly pull up on this, not find one. Chica able to find one. Belmoth there to help out as well. And Bagopa, what are they doing?
Pio just pulls right in, gets Flash, gets Tigger. Belmoth is the only one alive, and he's right next to him. Actually, Thanadol's still alive as well, just off to the side. So Pio will go down. Bagopa just decided that they were done with this game.
The only way we win is if we take down the Titan, set half the server at the same time. Everyone realizing where Full Sense was. Everyone wanting to claim the title of their own. Never have I seen a circle in this area of the map play out like this.
And
now full-time pull up here from Freaks as well as they hunt down Ian.
Type has the high ground. Type's taking the spray down, but he's not going to get the knock. We'll find Ian, and Type will go down as well. Heaven gets knocked, but that should be an easy res for the Freaks.
Breathe. Breathe, everyone. What in the world? We doubted coming into these last couple of games if everyone was going to be willing to potentially risk a downfall in taking out Fultons, knowing what's needed in order for anyone to catch up. And my oh my, did we just see a whole lot of teams willing to take that risk in order to take him out. The issue is, though,
Full Sense is still alive with 3 up.
They're still alive, despite everyone throwing everything they had at him. They are still actually kind of decent off.
They're not terrible.
No.
BB team has retreated back to the gas station. Full Sense still has the dip. Freaks have the compound now. Na'Vi, they are completely content with where they're playing. Third on 5 coming in from the south. They might get a little close to Twisted Minds. We'll keep an eye on that. But Toby, 46 alive, and it's only phase 2.
This is the Global Championship Grand Final, by the way. The Millie game earlier, it was a plain path into a tricky one, but this one, wow, did everyone just feel the need to go aggressive there at the exact same time? And again, in this area of the map too. Never seen it before, never.
All right, let's see what everybody else got, as Virtus Pro will try to bring everybody back together over towards the warehouse, and the circle will go east once again. So Full Sense, they are alive. They're in a dip, though. It's not exactly the greatest spot, obviously, but they've managed to hold it pretty well.
I was gonna say, but they know how to play that dip because they just survived 3 teams pulling up on them at the same time. So it might not be a good dip, but for them, it is the best dip.
I mean, look, I don't know what you do. You're in a 2-way fight and a 3-way fight, and all of a sudden Bagopod just comes in and dumps an entire Tallahassee margarita right down on top of the whole thing, and it just turned into an absolute show. But Full Sense still alive, 3 up.
The greatest thing is, in the end of it, they just kind of prone down. They were just like, I guess
they're just like,
they were all shadowboxing so hard. They're like, we could also just prone and let them take out one another. And that's actually kind of what happened in the end of it. My oh my.
Indeed.
Full Sense, not just to stay alive, but also now, yet again, get a circle thrown, not straight on top of them, but 100 meters off.
Okay. Let's see where 17 decides to go. As 770 looking off in that distance is...
Saw the barrel.
Yeah, he saw something from Example. Took a few shots in, and they got him down to half HP, but that's not enough to open up a door, as Theraton 5 still has to find somewhere to play, and they're coming in from the south side of shooting range.
I've heard of a dip.
Yeah,
heard of a dip.
Maybe you've heard of this particular dip. Well, Theraton 5 is going to have to breeze through as Twisted Minds taking shots, 17 taking shots. And nice shot from Perfectix will take down Exgrosit.
Headshot through the air there as well. Great rotation actually coming through from them, but everyone is just landing shot after shot. And only 2 players from T5 will make it to the end of that rotation.
Shocking that they managed to get 2 in. And
true.
Hey, look, they got their vehicle. It
came after.
It came with. That's nice of them. Well, Namiga managing to pick off a couple of those, playing from Severny, and they know exactly where Theraton 5 is now, so all hands on deck. 17, meanwhile, they were on that western side trying to find a way in. They're going to wrap all the way down to the south. Falcons have a little bit of an angle here, as actually I don't think they have any angle. They're just shooting at Xiaowu, who's in the skies.
And good info to be able to feed across from Xiaowu, despite taking a bit of damage and his vehicle not exactly in the best shape no more. At least well aware that Junkyard ain't up for grabs, and I think with that, because that's really the only play you can aggress from here. I mean, without all the action and them coming in the hard west, as you were saying, Poro, they're going in blind saying, you know what, there might actually be a world where something like Junkyard is free right now, but they get that info, and now I think they're just going to stay up on the hillside and wait for this next circle to pop.
Yeah, I mean, everybody just has so much room to work with since
there's so...
Yeah, I mean, look, 20 players went out almost immediately. So let's see. Come on. Okay. Right on the center. So Namiga will probably turn their attention over towards Theraton 5. Twisted Minds have to find a way in, and 17 already back in vehicles once again.
Yeah.
Try to find a different angle to play. The problem for them is Falcons. They're 4 deep in that junkyard, and they just have so many angles onto them.
Well, Falcons, yes, but also they wrap past Twisted Minds, and they hurt them in crossroads as well. So not only are you trying to figure out where to go, but you also know the time is working against you, because Twisted are going to be playing in from the exact same direction that you're going to be going in just a moment.
Yeah, this is about the only play I thought 17 might have. Just play on that... that shack that's just on Virtus Pro's doorstep.
Oh, Nate's already been primed here. Double blue zone would be a quad kill for sure as well.
Well, we'll see. Virtus Pro just being very patient with this. Just wait till you get them where you want them. Falcons is going to kind of herd them into bad position, but we'll see. Namiga, meanwhile, going to lay down the smokes, start trying to make their way over. Theraton 5 has to be expecting those grenades to come, but Gatrox puts it right in Ranger X's pocket. And now Rossiter Jr., the last one left alive.
I love the idea of an aggressive counterplay there from Ranger X, but he ran straight into his own downfall, and now a 1 HP Rossiter. T5 not having the day that they were hoping for. They are being helped a little bit by Twisted, but even in a 3v1 here, Rossiter, do you have it in you to rack up some much-needed points in the final game of the day?
Well, he's managing to stay alive right now. Twisted Minds doing a lot of work for him. Looks like Levante, they should be able to get him back on his feet as Rossiter, nice spray, will take down Hello My Bad, but the Molotov will be enough to finish him off. Actually, no, it stands, actually.
Yeah. Na'Vi finding 2 all for that, despite not being the ones to get the knock, so they're going to try and continue their push forward, now in a 3-way tie for second. That is how insane this is. First place might be out of reach for now, but the fact that we have 3 teams sat tied in second, that is insane.
And Namiga could be joining them shortly if they can find a way to get in here. It's a tough spot to play for sure. And Navi not making it easy. What a shot from Hakatori. Spots out Leosh. That will be the point secured. 3 now in the bag for Navi. They could definitely use a decent day here.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to catch up to full sense a little bit.
A Navi that wakes up again on day 2. It's been a while since we've seen that. Who knows what they're then going to be able to bring on day 3. We're all asking is Getrox again. I mean, there's only really so many places you can play in this area of the map.
Yeah.
And he's just going to drive. You know what? Enjoy the sunset, my man. You might be done for here. There is a tree. And a second one. And a shack with an entire team in it.
Whoa!
And he's going to drive off and probably real quickly learn that, yeah, you might as well just fall in.
He had the idea. Like, he's like, maybe that shack is empty. There's literally no way I can scout this beforehand.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. There's 4 people there. Let me get out of here.
If you're Expendables watching this right now, you are kicking yourself. You're a reigning world champion. You land here, you loot here, and you end up being taken out. In their defense, it was very chaotic through that early game, but end up losing out against VP as well, a team that's been on the hunt for you for the longest of time, and now you see a circle, potentially a game ending right in your home ground.
That is definitely tough. Definitely tough. Well, 17 now. Still alive. They've taken a couple of knocks, but Twisted Minds starting to work down in that direction. Falcons, they've already got kickstart inside the zone. They're going to send Shrimzy and H-Win over towards that crate, give them a little bit of cover, while Tiggleton provides some support from range, but they do not know about Twisted, and Twisted is starting to collect themselves.
They've been playing out on foot from here. Good thing is VP is actually shooting down towards them. You saw that VP were up on the boxes inside the warehouse, so they have an angle from where they can shoot Twisted, and you have to imagine that soon they're going to go, VP is shooting at something. Where's that info coming across from? So maybe actually Falcon's going to be alerted by this, by VP.
Okay, then the unkillable full sense now have to defend their territory once again as Belmoth has already been knocked. Tigger will spot out 1. Nice spray, gets full. Filfirst down to half as he spots him just running through the smokes, but Molotov Filfirst coming up here, but FN Pocheon now third partying, so BB team in a little bit of trouble.
Oh yeah, Navi hearing the vehicles as well, realizing if there's a third party chance for us on the edge of the circle, we will try and capitalize off of it.
They get their man back on his feet, but Thanadol now is going to take a knock as a number of teams, everybody up here on the north, all looking for this dip. Thanadol will get flushed out, so it's down to Tigger and Belmoth, alive via the grace of the smokes, but Breakers now will get spotted out by Gilman, stolen away by Best of Luck.
And Navi doesn't want to overcommit to this either because they don't know exactly where Twisted Minds are playing from. They could have wrapped north and just waiting to do to them what Navi is trying to do down the hill as Hakatori is able to find Tigger. Still 2 left alive on the other side, and Evan Pochon, they've seen all they needed to see. They're pulling up.
Just send it right in, but it's not working out. One's going to go down. Belmoth still alive in the smoke. Zenith playing around the outside. Belmoth ready for it. He will find the knock. He will get the flush, and that's another point picked up by Full Sense.
4-point game in what should no doubtedly have been a 0-pointer. Rex trying to crawl on forward. Not going to get more with it here either. Down to 10 teams as Nate's rub on in. That one will find him, and in the end, Full Sense, despite outliving almost the entire server, will be taken out.
They are so hard to get rid of.
Oh, yeah.
Now they are down. Na'Vi can start making plays here. They've still got BB pinned up against the wall. Arena, meanwhile, they're going to get taken down by H-Win and the Falcons on the south side.
I draw your attention to the leaderboard. Look at this second, third, and fourth close on the leaderboard, and all still with all 4 players up and running. To make matters even worse, this circle favoring the teams with compound control, but Falcons too have a decent rich line down there they can play from. So if you're Full Sense, you saw immediately Belmoth's face because he knew, oh, they're in good positions. This lead we had, it might not be, or it won't be as big now coming into tomorrow.
Somebody could make some big moves here.
Oh, yeah.
Na'Vi still looking over there, but don't want to take the risk to finish off Molotov. He's still got one snake off in the blue in Levante.
Yeah.
Virtus Pro, they're starting to stretch out a little bit. You see Beamy getting a little bit close on the west side to Twisted Minds.
I think they might see Beamy up on the ridge. No, never mind. He's on the backside of the rock, so they can't get him from that angle. I thought for a second maybe they'll be helping out Twisted.
30 rounds?
This push on forward. 30 bullet. I mean, he's been in the warehouse the entire game, so you can't really fault him for running out of ammo here.
That is fair.
But they have pushed him out here. We'll see what he can make happen. As now, prone and ready to wait this one out.
Okay.
Not even a backpack to work with either.
No. I mean, poor guy has just been stuck there. You'd think his teammates would give him at least a magazine. Well, look, with all he's gotten from the warehouse, he's done 510 damage, the most in the lobby.
Yep.
But 1v4 with 30 rounds might be asking too much. He will get one, and he will flush him out as well. He's got to flush him out to try to get some bullets as he's got the SKS. He spots out Lou, but will try to retreat. No, Batu will get that knock.
Not going to happen, but the fight is immediate to follow right thereafter. At the same time, Falcons pushing up this hillside, taking the fight on to 17 Gaming. 2 down, 3 down, 4 down as they clean house, making their way further forward.
Massive game for Falcons so far with 7 kills as Virtus Pro still trying to hold off the push from Twisted Minds. Hakatori going to kick out Nixie, so that's not going to help Na'Vi coming into third party at the worst time for both of these teams.
Yep, Na'Vi, great execution on their push. Keep in mind, though, Levante is still creeping in from the blue. Could end up playing a big factor in who comes out victorious here.
Ein Player im Game.
Knocks everywhere in these smokes, and they want all the points they can possibly get off of it.
Oh, they've got Twisted.
Sehr wahrscheinlich sie gerettet werden können.
Perfectix.
Die
The last player
Genockten.
left alive, and it looks like he might just be running into the blue. Yeah, he knows it's Na'Vi, and they know what the leaderboard looks like. So
Boah, wie Na'Vi da aber auch alle 4 da liegen.
Perfectix.
Oh, that's
Crazy.
Oh, yeah. He's got to try to gonna get it with even that tap. He can.
Yep. Hoping that maybe Falcons come on over, say hi, and bait the attention from Na'Vi for him to maybe get back inside the circle. But we're 15 seconds out of phase 7.
Levante made
Ain't
it.
looking easy. Levante is in. Perfectix will be found in the end of it.
Na'Vi hat noch einen
And
Punkt
for BB
geholt.
team, they push in Molotov, but they've left Bestluck in the blue as well. So one solo still out there, but it's phase 7 now. Bestluck, you better be having 10 plus first aid, so you're out in 10 seconds.
Oh, that's a big shift there for Na'Vi coming down to the southwest. Actually good for Falcons as well, because all of this means that Freaks have to leave their compound and start working their way in. As Luca Rux, you can see where he is, solo for Virtus Pro. Levante still in as well. Let's see if Falcons, they could probably stick around here, wait,
MVP hat
and see
einen
if
krassen
maybe Na'Vi and Freaks will start fighting each other.
Red Spot.
And then maybe
Ich
they
glaube,
can
so
third party
auf
on it.
diesen Jäger,
Successful
diese
in doing so is
Jägershütte,
Evan. They can get an opening
auf dem
here.
Podest.
Any chance to
Das
get out of
ist
the
nicht
compound. The
täuscht.
circle has just exactly gone outside that compound. They can wrap north, and with Bestluck down and out now, there is a chance for them to make that play happen. They'll be catching Levante, but then that push into the circle from the northwest, you have nothing to hide behind, and you got to make that play on foot as well.
That's what you worry about for Na'Vi, right? Is will one of these little snakes in the grass be the one that throws everything into turmoil? As we wait and see, Guman looks like he might be retreating off in the distance, maybe getting a few more loot boxes. get a little bit more utility in the bag before they have to make their push.
Oh yeah, for Falcons as well here. They finished off yesterday with a 16-kill win, making up for what was a pretty decent day, but definitely helped out by that last game there as well. And now with a chance to make it a big one here to finish off day 2 as well, would put them up into first. And that's, I think, also a big part of the reason why everyone is playing it so careful. It's top 7 in. And we still have 5 teams left, like all of them on the hunt.
Der sitzt da in einer kleinen Hütte on the high ground. My bad.
Going to try to make the run, but Ferris, he's going to pick him out. Extends will make sure
Tja,
he is flushed.
rotieren ist einfach.
Just keeping eyes on Falcons.
Kann tödlich sein.
Falcons just really kind of slowing Freaks down. Guman will send it for the smoke cloud, and that is at least a foothold inside the zone. That's big. That's something to play with as Levante does get spotted out. So that's one snake gone.
Snake dealt with. And, I mean, everyone else now going great. So where's Luka Rooks? Is he the one inside the shack? Is there even one inside the shack at this point? DN Freaks one at a time on their rotations. I thought they were going to wrap at the same time here, but
Auto muss fahren,
losing 2 forward.
damit die treffen.
At least they got 2 down behind the vehicle. Instantly they get the double cover up as well. Throw some smokes. Try and see how long you can stay alive here.
Yeah, these single 1-by-1 pushes end up costing them a lot here. I mean, obviously their idea was to play for the Levante shack, and it still is. They're going to hop back into the vehicle as they make the push in through the smoke. Sosid will spot out Deal.
Wie die aber auch versuchen, da in die Mitte zu kommen. Was ist denn mit denen? Als ob Zonenrand auch nicht okay wäre.
Underhand Nate's going to come in, and if he throws this, I was going to say there's no way Luka Rook stays alive. There's no smoke on the outside. Has to make the play around the side, swings the corner, not getting shot with Guman. Able to stay alive through it.
Had to do something. Again, it's Guman. 7 kills for Freaks, but at what cost, man? There's only one of them left alive as Na'Vi now turn their attention towards him. They know where he is. They know the Falcons are below them. Falcons just continue to keep that smoke wall blooming.
DN Freaks, a win today, 2 second place. There's a second place in the previous one as well here on Millie, and now with a chance to make it a top 2 again, unless if Na'Vi, who know full well exactly where Guman is, and the fact that he's a solo, unless if they have something to say about it.
I mean, they know where everybody is, obviously, right? Like, they know that they have this whole north side completely free to wrap around. As Guman, he's just going to put down that deployable shield right behind him and just play a little close to the vest. That Molotov should be enough to get him down. If it's got to land,
The thing is, for Na'Vi, they're playing, as you can see in the top left, they're playing with no smokes. They know as soon as they crest this hill, Falcons will light them up like a Christmas tree. So have to be very cautious on this one. Falcons too, though, will have to move momentarily. They're trying to spread out, trying to get some more intel on exactly where these Na'Vi players are split from. How they've opted to position themselves in the north.
Die
And they're looking for
spotten.
nades too. They're worried that one nade, I mean, of course, they have to be.
Yeah, the high ground still held by Na'Vi. Hakatori can still be on that roof. And that is a big, big problem for Na'Vi. But if they are Falcons, rather, but if they are able to take him down, Guman, if he can find somebody here, a little sneaky towards the end. Nice shots from Hakatori. Will force Shrimsy back into the smoke cloud. We'll see how much utility left Falcons has. There you go, up in the top of the screen. You see 4 smokes. It's about all they've got left. That's a good grenade. Gonna force him to run away from the tree, and Guman will spot out Sosid.
He almost made the impossible happen in the previous game. Now up to almost 800 damage as he will finally be taken out. But
Das
at
ist 3
the
gegen
fall of a
3.
Na'Vi player, can Falcons make
Außer sie
something
können
happen
nochmal
off the help they
retzen.
just got there?
Gotta try to do something. They've been
Sieht
able
aber
to
eigentlich
spread
ganz
out a
gut
little
aus,
bit
wenn
more,
die
which is
retzen.
good. As Tickleton will spot them
Aber
running to his right.
die
Shrimsy and
gehen auf
H-Wing
den
continue to
Fight.
push in. And nice knock from Shrimsy onto Ferris. Good grenade. And now it's down to 2 for Na'Vi. They're playing the shack.
They're fighting over the dot. This nade could be huge. Hakatori spots one, finds the double with the nade as well. And just like that, it's a 1v1.
Crazy
Extends
grenade.
against Tickleton. He knows exactly where he has
1
it.
gegen 1.
Tickleton trying to flush those kills out. See if he can at least make sure he gets the points. He's going to spot out. Oh, he's going to swap guns. And Na'Vi again. We're down to 1
Bros.
player. Clutch out the
Also,
victory.
crazy Runden. Na'Vi hat sich wieder zurückgehangelt. Aber wie zurückgehangelt? Die sind jetzt wieder auf Platz 2 auf der Total List. Morgen geht's weiter, die letzten 6 Runden. Und hier haben wir unsere 3 Top-Favorites. Einfach Full Sense, Navi und Falcon. Richtig krass dabei. Einer von den 3 Teams wird es morgen machen, das Finale nach Hause holen. Deswegen, liebe Leute, schaut sie rein. Morgen nochmal gerne. Ich verabschiede mich hiermit und wir sehen uns morgen wieder. Ciao. Oder später vielleicht im PoE 2, wenn ihr Bock habt.